How's it going, everyone? Welcome. Happy week 12 of the NFL. It's been a wild 24 hours of NFL news. Craziest 24 hours of NFL news this close to a Sunday that I can remember. Caden, how's it going, man? Josh, good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, Grayson. Good morning, Keegan. How's it going? We got the next 4 hours to talk some football. Kenyon or Drake or Clyde? Yeah, Raheem is going to play. I would probably go Kenyon Drake over Clyde. How you doing? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing great. Yeah, I just saw the Mark Andrews news. That's sad. I'm nervous for him. Obviously, he's a slightly more at-risk player with type 1 diabetes. Fitz or Daniel Jones. I really like Larry Fitzgerald today. Not Larry Fitzgerald, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Hey, guys. How's it going? Good morning. Zim, I'm doing well, man. Yeah, Mark Andrews has tested positive. FIFA Pickle 11. Mark Andrews is out for the foreseeable future. Can I trust Julio if he plays? Yeah, if he plays, you can. I'm not so sure he's playing though. Yeah, just reported like a minute or two ago, but from Adam Schefter, Mark Andrews for the Baltimore Ravens has also tested positive. And a defensive starter. Apparently the game is still on, and if it happens, Mark Andrews will not be playing. Allen or Wilson? I really like Josh Allen this week. I think we have Josh Allen as a top 5 quarterback. He's in a solid matchup this week. I don't think you can go wrong with Josh Allen. You obviously can never go wrong with Russell Wilson either. You need a streamer because Lamar. So do I go with Fitz or Cam or Big Ben? I would rank those guys probably in that order. I really do think Ryan Fitzmagic is going to be a top 15 quarterback option this week. I love him in DFS as well. Antonio Brown thoughts. Yeah, we know. We've been saying all along, Antonio Brown has top 10 upside in fantasy football with how many targets he's seeing in this offense. And we saw last week again, he leads the team in targets. It's a very good sign for Antonio Brown moving forward. Julio Jones is doubtful. Yep, I saw that too, Josh. I'm not expecting Julio Jones to play today. Though you never know with a guy like him. Do you have any running back waiver wire pickups? Yeah, you got Brian Hill, Jordan Wilkins this week. Both those guys are pickups. Benny Snell, if the Steelers games happens, he's a pickup. James White, if he's available, should see an increased workload today with Rex Burkhead out for the season. Ronald Jones or Michael Pittman, I'd probably go Pittman there. I mean, Antonio Brown saw 13 targets last game, led the team in air yards again. He has top 10 upside. We've been saying it from the beginning. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe on YouTube. Everyone watching live on YouTube right now, I appreciate you. Hit that like button early in the morning. We're here at 9 a.m. I'm going to be here leading up to 1 o'clock games. So we got 4 hours. Hit that like button really quick on YouTube. Helps us out a ton. Thoughts on starting Steelers players? Yeah, I mean, I think the game, they seem pretty adamant on having that game happen. I think you can operate assuming that game's happening. But obviously it's an ongoing situation. There is some added risk there. Antonio Brown, DJ Moore, Devontae Parker, Justin Jefferson, pick 3. I'm subscribed and given 5 stars. Alex, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate everyone who subscribed to our YouTube channel so far. We passed 1,000 YouTube subscribers in under 10 days. I'm trying to get past that 2,000 mark now. See if we can hit 1,500 by the end of the day. We're starting at 1,150 today. I do think that you can't be benching Justin Jefferson with Adam Thielen out. And I also think you need to be starting Antonio Brown. So I'd probably go Jefferson, Antonio Brown, and Devontae Parker there. How's your day going, Robbie? My day's going great, man. I'm pumped for week 12. It's been a crazy 24 hours of NFL news, but I'm still very excited to watch some football today. Is Taysom Hill a good start over Brady? I wouldn't do that. I think that he does have a higher floor than Brady, But to me, Brady has a far superior ceiling. Hey, Sam, just subbed on YouTube. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Kyle Rudolph or Mike Gesicki? I would go Gesicki for sure. Guys, Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki are the clear top two options for the Miami Dolphins passing game. Both of them have top 10 upside. I love the Ryan Fitzpatrick, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki stack in DFS this week too at really cheap prices. You have some locks for the week. Yeah, there's a bunch of locks this week. I think that, obviously we have, what are your bold predictions? Brad, I posted a bunch of videos of bold predictions. There's a lot of locks this week. I think that one of my favorite locks of the week this week is Jamison Elite Crowder having one of his biggest bounce back games of the season. I see a bunch of Crowder questions in the comments right now, so I think this is a good segue. Jamison Elite Crowder now gets Sam Darnold back, and he has gone over 100 yards in every single game so far with Sam Darnold. The last time he played the Dolphins, he saw 13 targets. Jamison Crowder is a lock to bounce back this week. I really think he's going to go over 70 yards. I play in Yahoo, and my opponent picked up Kendall Hinton, who is the QB for the Broncos. And since I play in Yahoo, he can start him at wide receiver. I am so mad. Ravi, yeah, but I understand being upset about that. That being said, Kendall Hinton is by no means a lock to perform well. He played not even a full season of quarterback at Wake Forest. He doesn't know any of the quarterback playbook. He's been a wide receiver on the team, on the practice squad, the whole season. He's never played in the NFL really in an actual game. So I don't think he's a lock to do very well. And he's up against a historically good run defense for the New Orleans Saints. So I do think he has upside, obviously, at a wide receiver. But I do think, watch this man pop off. That would be pretty cool. But I do think he's worth a start at wide receiver / flex in Yahoo over some depending how deep the league is. Like, I'm starting him in Yahoo over guys like Brian Hill this week because, again, he's playing quarterback. He should have some rushing attempts and some passing yards. So Kendall Hinton, the week 12 is Kendall Hinton week. Well, it'll be very interesting to see how he does. I would probably be going Gesicki over Font. Guys, you can't be starting Noah Font. He can't be starting Jerry Jeudy. You can't be starting anyone in that passing attack. The only players you can be starting for the Denver Broncos is really Kendall Hinton or Melvin Gordon. Like, Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay have a realistic path to 20-plus carries today, but they're up against a historically good Saints defense. So it's really mostly just a fadeaway offense today on week 12. Keegan asks, what's the best streamer tight end that's not Gesicki? I think a very deep streamer is Eifert for the Jacksonville Jaguars. On your app, it says that AB's opponent defensive rank is NA. I feel like Antonio Brown's had some bug. Let me see if I can fix that for you. Thanks for the heads up. I find out a lot of the bugs in the app from these live streams, which is fantastic. And I can fix those right here. So we're going to go to Antonio Brown. Yeah, interesting. Got to update that. Asian Jaden, thanks for letting me know, man. I'm about to fix that. But I believe that the Chiefs had the fourth best pass defense. Though I do think one of my bold predictions of the week is that this Bucs offense is going to have one of its best days of the season and beat the Chiefs. I'm not saying it's more than likely to happen, but I think it's a chance. There's a chance this offense can beat any team. This Bucs team has the most impressive weapons among any team in the NFL. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski, Ronald Jones. The firepower in this offense is just so much that I believe they can take down the Chiefs. And I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but I am saying that I think there's a decent chance it happens. And when it happens, people will then be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as Super Bowl contenders, as I think they are. I do think they are Super Bowl contenders. All right, and I fixed that Antonio Brown issue. Thanks for notifying me of that. Weather report. Yeah, I haven't seen anything concerning about the NFL weather this week. I'll keep you updated on that if anything comes across. I'm seeing no concerning wind. Remember, the research that I have done in football, I did a statistical analysis on weather, and what I found was that there's a statistically significant impact on passing games when there's winds over 25 miles an hour. There is no winds over 25 miles an hour today, so I'm not too concerned. I would probably be going Jamison Crowder over Cooper Kupp today. Hey Sam, best week 14 defenses to stream. Which ones would you start over Colts D or Raiders D? Yeah, you're on to week 14 thinking ahead to the playoffs. I think you can hold on to the Colts. I think they're going to do just fine. Cooper Kupp or Nyheim Hines, I'd go Cooper Kupp. If I'm 8-3 with the best record and most points in my league, do I have an automatic playoff spot? Yes. Yeah, you're in, Ravi. Good job. You should start planning ahead for the playoff schedule now. Hey, Sam, Mostert or AB? I'd probably be going AB in the flex there. Eckler or A.J. Brown? Guys, Austin Eckler is back. He is back. I could not be more excited. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. Zachary Paglioni, how's it going, man? I am pumped to see Austin Eckler back. And to throw more wood onto the Austin Eckler fire, Kalen Ballage is out this week, which means that they could be forced to feed Austin Eckler more than they would have in his return. Yeah, they want him to be limited. He is supposed to be limited. That being said, with Kalen Ballage out, I still think Austin Eckler is going to see 10 to 15 touches of the football, and Austin Eckler is efficient enough to turn 10 to 15 touches of the football into 10-plus fantasy points. So I do think Austin Eckler is worth starting in some situations, though I would not be starting him over A.J. Brown. I love the app. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Rob. And with Burrow out, would Boyd or Bernard or Cole Sr. be a better pick for flex? I'd probably still go Boyd there, but because Cole Sr. doesn't have a great quarterback situation either. But I am pretty down on the entire Bengals offense. I think that you can be very concerned about T. Higgins, about Tyler Boyd, about A.J. Green, about Giovanni Bernard. All those guys have extremely low floors now. Should I start Hines over Hunt? Because your app says he's projected 10, but in ESPN Fantasy he's projected 16. I would not be starting Nyheim Hines over Kareem Hunt. And our app has been more accurate than ESPN over the last 2 years. Nyheim Hines, he does have upside, but I would argue Hunt has even more upside than him. Guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get absolutely steamrolled by the Cleveland Browns today. The Jaguars are without basically their top 7 cornerbacks, something crazy like that. Like every single defensive back on the Jacksonville Jaguars team is injured. And their offense is in shambles. DJ Chark is out. They've been rotating quarterbacks. I think Mike Glennon. Did I see Mike Glennon is starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Correct me if I'm wrong there. I think the Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's going to be good news for Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Both of them, to me, both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, they have the chance to be the top fantasy football running back this week. Both of them have that type of upside. And so I'm not benching either of them, man. Mark Andrews is out. Yeah, Jacob, my prayers to Mark Andrews, man. Is Jarvis Landry worth a start? Yeah, I think Landry is worth a start. Again, I think that the Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. Whatever that spread is, I disagree with it. It should probably be closer to like 14 points, but I don't believe that it is. Let me pull up the spread really quickly. Yeah, the Cleveland Browns are only -7.5. I think that should be closer to 10 at least. But I still think Jarvis Landry is an interesting start. Jarvis Landry, interestingly, his snap share has declined like each of the last 3 weeks, but he still is the number 1 receiver for the team, and he's up against a secondary that is probably bottom 3, if not worse, in the NFL. Hey, Sam, hope you're doing well. Alex, thanks, man. I hope you are too. Would love some help setting my lineup. Running backs are James Robinson, Hunt, Mostert, Eckler. Wide receivers are Tyreek, Kupp, and Deontay. Yeah, Alex, I don't think there's many wrong decisions you can make there. Follow the WalterPicks app. It will guide you to the championship. No Eckler helps Herbert value. Yeah, Eckler definitely only helps Herbert's value. And Herbert also only helps Eckler. The fact that Herbert has been that good, Herbert has been this good, is good news for Austin Eckler. I mean, the big concern for Austin Eckler going into the season was, is this Chargers offense with Tyrod Taylor going to be sustainable? Is it going to be efficient enough to give Austin Eckler running back 1 value? In comes Justin Herbert, top 10 quarterback in the NFL already, offensive rookie of the year. He's really been performing as a top 5 QB in the NFL over the last 2 months. and that is good news for Austin Eckler. Hey, Sam, how's your day been going? Yarshma, good to see you, man. It's been going great, man. I'm pumped for Week 12. Sunday is the best day of the week, and even though the last 24 hours has been one of the most insane 24-hour periods of news in the NFL that I've ever experienced, I'm still pumped to watch some football today. Start Godwin or Evans, non-PPR. I'm always going Godwin over Evans. To me, Godwin is the better wide receiver and just has a much safer floor. And guys, I'll be going till 1. I got to pace myself. Yeah, I love all the morning people because you join me. It's 9:20 a.m. right now. You come back or you stick around all the way through till the end of the show when it's like 12:55-ish. I'll be a whole different ball of energy. I kind of gain energy throughout the show as I start to wake up with all of you. Hey, Sam, should I start Deontay or Woods? Worried about COVID? Yeah, if you're worried about COVID, Josh, just go Woods. I mean, Woods is playing. But I do think that Steelers game is going to happen. I do think it's going to happen. The NFL seems adamant that if they feel the game is safe to be played, they don't care who is out. I mean, we're seeing it with the Denver Broncos, right? I mean, they clearly should be postponing the Denver Broncos game. That game is already won by the Saints because they're forcing the Broncos to play without a quarterback. That being said, the game's going to happen, and I think the same thing's going to happen with the Steelers game. I do feel like the game's still going to happen. But if you're concerned about it, Josh, just go Robert Woods. I mean, he's still a pretty good option. But in a normal setting, I would be going Deontay Johnson over Robert Woods. Please help me. Mark Andrews is out now, so should I start Gesicki or Goddard? I'd go to Gesicki. I love Gesicki this week. Goddard's also a great option, though. Should I start DK? Yeah, of course you should start DK, man. Who's a DFS weekly winner this week? Simps, I'm glad you asked this question because I got more money risked on DraftKings this week than I have any other week because I'm seeing a lot of exploitable things on DraftKings this week. My favorite sleeper of the week, the low-price guy, it's Andy Isabella. Andy Isabella sliding into the primary slot role for the Arizona Cardinals against the New England Patriots. With Larry Fitzgerald out this week, Andy Isabella has a chance to play 60% plus of the snaps for the Cardinals. He's priced at minimum pricing on DraftKings. I do think Andy Isabella, if he goes off today, guys, I'm gonna cash in on DraftKings. He's one of my favorite plays of the week. I also think you can't go wrong with Nick Chubb. Again, I think that the Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. I saw Ronald Jones over Pittman on the app. Do you agree? I think that's a really close one. Personally, I would argue that Pittman is the better option over Ronald Jones, but if the app says so, it's tough to go against the app. I think I'd be starting Michael Pittman over Ronald Jones. And again, I'm not always going to agree with the app. The app what the app does is it looks at millions of historical game logs and gives you the best, most accurate projection for each player based on what has happened in history. And based on what we've seen from Ronald Jones this season, is that we can project him for a decent performance today against a Chiefs defense that its weakness is stopping the run. But I do like Pittman this week a lot too. Gesicki or Hurst? Definitely Gesicki. It's not close. Gesicki and Devontae Parker are the clear top two options. Should I start Fulgham, A.J. Brown, or A.B., verified CXMP? I would probably be going with A.J. Brown, then Antonio Brown, then Fulgham. And guys, I know A.J. Brown was shut down by the Indianapolis Colts, but don't let that one game turn you off of one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Bro, if Steelers D doesn't play, I'm going to have to start Eagles D. Oh God, yeah, that's a big downgrade right there. Claypool or Deontay? I go Deontay. That's Deontay Johnson. He's at over a 25% target share every single week so far this season that he's played healthy. Do you think Rudolph is worth starting at DFS? Doesn't excite me very much. Although, with Adam Thielen out, he could see an increased target share, but I'm not very excited about Kyle Rudolph. I think I'm most excited about Justin Jefferson. Sam, can we talk about what to do with Hinton? Yes, Jack. Yes, it is Hinton week. It is Hinton week. And I got a lot of pushback on a couple TikTok videos about Hinton starting for the Denver Broncos. As expected, I'm fully prepared to take the heat on any bold takes that I make. But guys, Hinton, here's the thing with Kendall Hinton. Starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos today against a historically good run defense for the New Orleans Saints. They're going to have to throw the ball if they want any chance to win this game. It gives Hinton intriguing upside, but you gotta be aware of the floor for Hinton, right? He's got a really low floor. I'm talking under 5 points. that is the type of floor for Hinton. Who knows how many passing attempts he's going to have? There's a lot of variance involved in this game. And for that reason, I'm willing to start him at wide receiver or flex on Yahoo over guys like Brian Hill, who he simply has more upside than, but you got to be prepared for the floor. So I'm not starting Hinton over guys like A.J. Brown. I'm not starting him over a guy like Jacoby Myers, who to me, by the way, Jacoby Myers, top 20 wide receiver this week. Jacoby Myers is going to do very well. The Patriots offense to me is a very interesting option in fantasy this week and in DFS. They're up against the Arizona Cardinals, who lead the NFL in pace. They're playing the fastest amount of snaps each game. If you watch the Pats game today, the Arizona Cardinals are going to be playing very fast. And that means the Patriots are going to have to keep up on offense. And I think that's good news for Jacoby Myers. Brian Hill or Mostert, I'd probably go Mostert. Yeah, you should definitely pick up Jacoby Myers. Yeah, if he's available, go pick him up. Morning, Sam. Dawson Paris, good morning, man. How was your Thanksgiving? It was fantastic. Thanks for asking. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday of the year. You got football, you got food, you got family. It doesn't get better than that. I need a wide receiver for today or a Giants receiver. If you're looking for a wide receiver, go see if Jacoby Myers is available. According to some of the chat, Jacoby Myers is available in some leagues still. I don't know how. Yeah, definitely Myers over Keelan Cole. Also go see if Laviska Shenault is available. He should see an expanded role today. What's your Super Bowl pick right now? My Super Bowl pick right now is the Kansas City Chiefs winning it all. Yeah, drop a like on the stream, everyone. I really do appreciate that. Hit a quick like on the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, you got to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to pass 2,000 subscribers before you know it. We passed 1,000 under 10 days. But my Super Bowl pick, it is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers, I'm not nearly as confident in my NFC pick as the AFC pick. But I think if the Bucs win today, then my Super Bowl pick's looking pretty good. I do think the Chiefs, though, I don't see anyone beating the Chiefs. I think that their offense is simply too good. Rams defense or Steelers because they're playing against Ravens without their players. Yeah, if the Steelers game happens, the Steelers defense is going to absolutely dominate. Ryan, good to see you, man. Love the app. Rank for PPR, AB, Michael Thomas, and Devontae Parker. I'd rank them as Michael Thomas number 1, Devontae Parker number 2, and Antonio Brown number 3. I like all 3 of them today in fantasy, though. Is Julio going to play? Jacob, it's looking like no. It's looking like he is not going to play, but there still is a chance. Will Mark Andrews be back? No, he's not going to be back this week. Hopefully next week. I hope he's okay. I'm rooting for a speedy recovery for him. Had to bench Lamar for Taysom this week. Should I be worried? Matthew Brooks. Yeah, you should be a little worried. But Taysom Hill, he should see at least 10 rushing attempts, so he still is an intriguing option. Yeah, if you're out without Mark Andrews, go see if Mike Gesicki is available. Go see if my deep sleeper at tight end this week is Tyler Eifert. With DJ Chark out, Tyler Eifert could see an increased target share. Should I start Evans or AB? App says Evans. Oh, I say AB. I like it. I like AB more than Evans. What is Evans projected for in the app? Personally, I'm starting Antonio Brown over Mike Evans. James Robinson or Austin Eckler? I'd still go James Robinson this week, but moving forward, it's probably going to be Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is supposed to be eased into the lineup. Kalen Ballage is out, so I'm projecting Austin Eckler for between 10 and 15 touches of the football. I think he can score over 10 fantasy points with that few of touches, but he does have increased risk this week as they ease him in. So I'm okay starting James Robinson, who's probably going to see 20 touches of the football this week. Are you sure that it says Mike Evans over Antonio Brown? Because maybe in half PPR or non-PPR. Deontay Johnson or Mike Evans? In normal setting, I'm going Deontay Johnson. Cup or AB? I'd probably be leaning Antonio Brown. Is Julio playing? No. It's looking like Julio Jones is not going to play today. That is not confirmed. I'd say it's like an 80% chance he does not play. Here's the starting lineup for the Baltimore Ravens right now. Quarterback, Robert Griffin III. Running back, Gus Edwards. Wide receivers, Marquise Brown, Willie Snead. Tight end, Sean Copeland. My God. Should I start Wentz, Tannehill, or Daniel Jones? Wentz, Tannehill, or Daniel Jones? I wouldn't start any of those guys. I would probably start Daniel Jones first out of all 3 of those guys. But I would also just go see, is Ryan Fitzpatrick available? Because Ryan Fitzpatrick, guys, he's a top 15 quarterback option this week against the Jets. Ryan Fitzpatrick, to me, is going to go over 20 fantasy points. And Derek Carr, also a very good option. Go cheap at running backs to get value at wide receiver. Zach, I usually go the opposite approach. I usually go cheap at wide receiver because, to me, there's some cheap wide receivers with intriguing upside. Guys like Andy Isabella, guys like Denzel Mims, who could get over 100 air yards this week. Both those guys have very intriguing upside to me. So I like going cheap at wide receiver. And then the running backs, the expensive running backs in DFS, those are the guys that we kind of have locked in to touches. They have a locked-in floor and ceiling. Guys like Dalvin Cook, I'm happy to squeeze him into my lineup. The most expensive running back on the slate this week. Nick Chubb, I'm willing to pay up for Nick Chubb. Both those guys, good luck finding another running back at any price point with the same type of upside as Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook. So I'm okay paying up for those guys than paying down at wide receiver for just take some dart throws. The wide receivers can catch. They don't need the elite volume to have huge games. Like Denzel Mims or Andy Isabella, they could get one catch for a 60-yard touchdown, and boom, you just cashed in on DFS as Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb go off. Like that's kind of my philosophy on DFS, at least this week. It can change depending on the prices in the players each week, though, of course. Start Derek Carr or Taysom Hill or Matt Ryan at QB. I would rank those guys probably in that order. I think Derek Carr's for sure going over 20 points this week up against an Atlanta Falcons defense, allowing the most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks this season. Nobody has failed to dominate this Atlanta Falcons defense. Only one quarterback this entire season, which I believe was Teddy Bridgewater in like a rainy game, if I remember correctly, has got under 20 points against the Falcons. How many points Eckler putting up today? I think he's going to go between 10 and 15 points. I think he's going to have between 10 and 15 touches of the football. But I'm very excited to see him back on a football field looking healthy, and his role is going to increase each week as the weeks go on, and he's going to help you win a fantasy football championship. I cannot wait for Austin Eckler to hoist that trophy for me. What about Hill or Wilkins? Brian Hill or Jordan Wilkins? Yeah, I would lean Jordan Wilkins over Brian Hill. Fitz or Derek? I'd probably go Derek Carr, then Ryan Fitzmagic. But I like Ryan Fitzmagic a lot this week too. I think they're both top 15 options given their matchups. AB, Brian Hill or Bernard? I'd probably go AB. Guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button really quick. And if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, you're watching on TikTok, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to pass 1,500 subscribers before you know it. My goal today is to hit the 1,500 mark. We'll see if we can do it. I know it's a bold goal. I set that. I woke up at 4:30 this morning, finishing up my research for the week. I said, come on, we got to hit 1,500 YouTube subscribers today. So help us get there. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And if you're watching live on YouTube, you can help us reach that goal if you're already subscribed just by hitting that like button on this live. That helps us out a ton. It takes 2 seconds. Helps us out more than you probably realize. Gesicki or Hunter Henry? I'm going Mike Gesicki over Hunter Henry this week. Is Brady a strong start this week? Yes. He's in a game with the highest over-under of the week. And I do think Tom Brady has realistic chance to score 3+ touchdowns today. So he has risk. The Chiefs secondary has been good, but we just saw Derek Carr toss points against them. And I think Tom Brady could do the same thing. Yo, thanks, Sam. Just liked it. Thanks, Johnny. Should I drop Pittman for Jacoby? Yes, you should. And should I start him over Godwin? No, you should not start Jacoby Myers over Chris Godwin. I do like Jacoby Myers in DFS. Yeah, I don't know, Matt, if he's going to be lined up against Pat Peterson this entire game. I feel like they've done a pretty good job of moving Jacoby Myers around. And yes, I still like him. He's still dominating targets for the New England Patriots. Though, guys, Bird is also another interesting option in as a deep upside wide receiver in DFS this week. Demir Bird. Hey, Sam, I'm locked in playoffs, but don't know if I should sell on McCaffrey or hold until week 14. Liam, I'm only selling Christian McCaffrey from getting Derrick Henry. Only if you're getting Derrick Henry should you be starting you be trading Christian McCaffrey. Hey, Sam, can we trust MT? Yeah, you can trust MT, and let's go. 10 likes. Yeah, Yarshman, let's go, man. You can trust Michael Thomas because he saw over 50% of Taysom Hill's targets. 50% of Taysom Hill's targets last week. That is unheard of in the NFL. And it's a good strategy, by the way, for Taysom Hill. I'd be doing the same thing. If I was Taysom Hill, just throw the ball in the vicinity of your by far best wide receiver on the team. And it's good news. It's actually good news for Michael Thomas. I was going into last week, I was more of the mindset of losing Drew Brees is probably not a good thing for Michael Thomas, but it looks like with the approach that Taysom Hill is taking to passing the ball, you can trust Michael Thomas now, guys, as a top 15 wide receiver. Is New Orleans defense a must start in DFS? Yeah, Zach. I mean, they're going to be the highest owned defense, but I mean, they're playing against. What are they playing against? I mean, they're literally playing against a team without a real quarterback. And so, yeah, they're going to be the best defense this week. They're probably going to score, a pick six, or they're going to there's a chance the Denver Broncos score 0 points. There's a realistic chance that the Broncos score 0 points this week. And so, yeah, I like the Saints defense. I also like the Browns defense this week too. Do you think Steelers game is going to be played? Yeah, I do think the game's going to be played. I think it's going to be an ugly game. The starting lineup right now for the Baltimore Ravens is Robert Griffin III, Gus Edwards, Marquise Brown, Willie Snead, Sean Copeland. I mean, oh, God, it's just disgusting. Hey, Sam, who should I pick up for Andrews? Gesicki, Hooper, or Tony? I'd go Gesicki, man. I'd go Gesicki. I would go Chris Godwin over Antonio Brown every single week, guys. I ranked the Tampa Bay Buccaneer wide receivers, and obviously there's a lot of variance with them, but I ranked them as Chris Godwin number 1, Antonio Brown number 2, and Mike Evans number 3. And that's how I rank them the rest of the season as well. Should I bench Big Ben in case he doesn't play? It's up to you. You got to decide your risk level. I do think that game is going to happen, though, and I think you can operate like the game's going to happen. Robert Woods, A.J. Brown, or Michael Thomas? I would probably go Michael Thomas there. Should I start Eckler, Montgomery, or Rojo? I'm okay with starting Eckler, Johnny, in that situation. Again, I think Eckler is going to see 10 to 15 touches of the football, and with how good Austin Eckler is, I do think you can trust him in your lineups over those two guys. Will Calvin Ridley do better or worse with Julio Jones out? I think we can project him as kind of the same. You know, he has number 1 wide receiver overall upside every single week in that Atlanta Falcons offense. So you can trust Calvin Ridley with or without Julio Jones. You can trust him in your fantasy lineups. I think you got to lock in Calvin Ridley. And by the way, Calvin Ridley is a very interesting option in DFS this week with, you know, some of the most upside at the position in the league. And by the way, guys, I appreciate all 24 of you that hit that like button on the YouTube live stream. Appreciate you guys. If you're on TikTok and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube yet, you got to go to our TikTok account, hit that Instagram button, go to our YouTube, hit subscribe. My goal this morning I set for ourselves to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We were, 350 away, if my math is correct, which it is. So we got 350 people we need to subscribe to YouTube today. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, guys, take 2 seconds. Hit that like button. It's going to help us reach more people. Helps us more than you probably realize. What's DFS? Zach, good question. DFS stands for Daily Fantasy Sports. It is what FanDuel and DraftKings are. You see their ads everywhere. That is what DFS is. You basically get to pick the players you want each week based on a salary cap, and then you play against hundreds of thousands of other people for millions of dollars in prizes. That's basically what DFS is. And I have built a lineup optimizer for DFS that uses linear programming to give us the most optimal lineups of all the players that we're most interested in. And that is how we've been cashing in on DFS. And you can find that optimizer in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store if you haven't checked that out yet. Do you think it is fine to start Claypool over Hinton? Yeah, JM Gaming, I think that is fine. Who should I start for my flex, Sanders or Myers? I'd go Myers. Jimmy, Julio or AB? For this week, I'd go AB. Devontae Parker or Deontay Johnson? I'd probably just go with Devontae Parker there. Morning, Sam. Good morning, Dallas. Deontay Johnson, Moore, or Woods? I would probably be going with – oh, that's a close one. I'd probably be going with Deontay Johnson, though. A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Robbie Anderson. I would go out of all three of those guys, and those three guys that are tough to choose from. All three have been wide receiver ones for you in fantasy at some point this season, but haven't been overly consistent. I do think, though, this is the bounce back week for Robbie Anderson, guys. Teddy Bridgewater is back. Robbie Anderson has been dominant with Teddy Bridgewater in the lineup. I mean, I don't know. I think people are giving up on Robbie Anderson just a little bit too soon, and I'm okay tossing Robbie Anderson into my lineup over both those guys, and I'm okay tossing Robbie Anderson into some DFS lineups as well. Let me read you the splits. I'll pull these up in a second. Let me read you the splits of what Robbie Anderson has done with Teddy Bridgewater in the lineup. And guys, if you're watching live on TikTok, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers today. We've got 50 people watching live on YouTube. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy week 12. I'm going Allen Robinson over Hinton. Eckler or Mostert, just sub. Thanks, man. Yeah, I would probably be going. I think that Austin Eckler, he's going to be limited this week, though. With Kalen Ballage out, I'm projecting Austin Eckler for 10 to 15 touches of the football. I think that puts Austin Eckler between 10 and 15 fantasy points because he is very, very good. That being said, Mostert is back, and I think we can project Mostert for more touches than Eckler, so I'd probably be going with Raheem Mostert this week. But for the rest of the season, for sure, Austin Eckler. Jameson, Elite Crowder with Darnold back. Yes, Zach, you are thinking the right way. Jameson Elite Crowder is back, and so is Sam Darnold. And that is going to be great, great news for Jamison Elite Crowder. He's going to have a huge bounce back week. I'm excited to watch it, man. Austin Eckler or Miles Sanders. I think this week you got to lean with Miles Sanders, but for the rest of the season, it's going to be Austin Eckler. I just subbed. When will WalterPicks app come to Android? Zach, it's coming soon, man. I'm working hard on it. We are still focused on providing the best possible experience on our iOS app, but by latest, Zach, latest, I'm talking very latest, it'll be ready for next season. Mostert or Hunt? I'm going Hunt there. Again, I think Kareem Hunt, guys, and Nick Chubb both have number one running back overall upside this week in a game that I think they're going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are without a bunch of their best defenders, and their offense on the offensive side of the ball, Jaguars are looking pretty sketch. I'm okay tossing Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb into DFS lineups and starting lineups in season-long leagues this week. Ingram or Gronk at tight end? I'd probably go Evan Ingram. It's close, though. I do think Tom Brady's got intriguing upside. Just subscribe to the channel. Thanks, man. Would you start Crowder or Clyde? Definitely Crowder, guys. Jamison Elite Crowder. And I'm playing Jacoby Myers over Pittman as well. Darnold or Tannehill? That's a close one. I'd probably be going Darnold. What upset do you think is happening today? Yes, this was one of my bold predictions of the week. And I don't do this often. I really don't do this often because it's a losing proposition, what I'm about to say, picking against the Chiefs. But I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a chance to upset the Kansas City Chiefs today. And if that happens, I think we're going to hear some chatter of, was this a foreshadow of what we're going to see in the Super Bowl? I think there's a realistic chance we see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And that being said, I think people are going to start taking the Bucs more seriously as a Super Bowl contender once we see them perform this week. Oh, bless you. Thank you. I appreciate it. As a Giants fan, Everett Ingram cannot catch the ball. Yeah, I know it has been tough. But Rob Gronkowski, but he could get a TD, though. Yeah, exactly, Matt. Thoughts on Gesicki or Deontay Johnson? Yeah, I hate starting tight ends over wide receivers. I'd definitely go Deontay Johnson. Though I do like Gesicki as the top 8 tight end this week in fantasy. Thoughts on Devontae Parker? I do have lots of thoughts on him. I think he's going to be a top 15 wide receiver this week with Ryan Fitzmagic back in the lineup. Guys, the targets in the Dolphins' offense are very easy to predict. They're going to be dominated by Devontae Parker and by Mike Gesicki, and that is a very good thing for both those guys in fantasy. Will the Bills beat the Chargers this week? I say no. I don't think they are, but it's going to be a close game. You love Eckler. Thoughts on him today? Luke, yeah, you know I love Austin Eckler. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. I have a soft spot in my heart for Austin Eckler because he's been overlooked, underrated. Since he entered the NFL, Austin Eckler led the league in yards per touch last season, led the NFL in yards per touch of the football. I mean, that the marquee efficiency metric for running backs. How many yards are you getting every time you touch the football? Austin Eckler is getting over 6 yards last season every time he touched the ball. And I think Austin Eckler, he's going to be somewhat limited today in his first game back, but Kalen Ballage is out. So I think we can project him for 10 to 15 touches, and I think that puts him between 10 and 15 fantasy points this week. Deontay Johnson or Devontae Parker? And I think, again, last thing on Austin Eckler, I do think he has league-winning upside as he becomes more and more into the offense as the weeks go on. Who do you think will win the NFC East? Oh, God, that division is just such a joke. And I think the Washington football team, to me, their defense is good enough to do it. Would you ever throw Will Sully a follow on TikTok? Just curious. Haha. Love the content. Alex, yeah, I definitely should throw Will Sully a follow. He's one of the original OG followers. So, Alex, he deserves a follow. You're right. Matt Ryan or Ryan Fitzpatrick, and should I drop Giovanni Bernard? Yeah, you can drop Gio. I mean, the whole Bengals offense is in shambles now without Joe Burrow. You can't trust him. And I'd be starting, guys. I'd be starting Ryan Fitzmagic over Matt Ryan this week, and most people will probably disagree with that. Hey, Sam, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, man. This is the best day of the week. We don't get many of these throughout the year, Sunday football days. And the last 24 hours, guys, has been the most insane news cycle of 24 hours in the NFL this close to a Sunday that I've ever experienced. I don't know about all of you. We got the Denver Broncos playing without a quarterback. We got the Baltimore Ravens continuing to have players test positive. We have a lot of different damaging storylines going around the NFL, but there's also some good news. Austin Eckler is back. We got Raheem Mostert back this week. Jameson, Elite Crowder, going to be back to elite status now that Sam Darnold is back. A lot of intriguing, exciting storylines going on at the same time, and I'm personally very excited to watch some football today. Eckler or Carson? I'd probably go Carson. I think you can trust Chris Carson. He has no injury designation. App seems like Hooper and Waller, you playing them together, seems to like Hooper and Waller, you playing them together. No, Zach, I'm not playing them together. And in the DFS optimizer, Zach, I would test out that lock feature. If you're using the DFS optimizer, lock in one of those guys and then take one of them out of the optimizer so you're only having one tight end. I don't like playing multiple tight ends in my lineups. And so you got to tell the optimizer, just have one tight end to optimize on. I would recommend doing that. Hey, Sam, do you still trust Tyler Boyd without Burrow? No, I don't. I don't trust Tyler Boyd. I don't trust AJ Green. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard. I don't trust anyone in that offense now without Joe Burrow. I think we're going to see a bottom 3 offense in the NFL out of the Cincinnati Bengals. Hey, Sam, do you still David Johnson, a good RB2 for the playoffs? I'm nervous about David Johnson. Hopefully he can come back. But, yeah, he does have RB2 upside with the volume that he was seeing before he went down. Oh, I didn't know you could lock players. That's awesome. I got to try it. Yeah, Matt, that lock feature, that's something that we added into the optimizer. To me, that's one of the coolest features of the whole thing. Lock in the guys, especially like one of the biggest things you can do in DFS is stack players on the same team. Like you should be stacking quarterbacks and wide receivers together. You should be stacking your running back and defense together. Like, for example, I got a lot of Nick Chubb stacked with the Browns defense because there's a correlation between running back and defensive success. There's also a correlation between quarterback and wide receiver success. So when I'm playing Ryan Fitzpatrick this week, I'm also going to be playing Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki in DFS. And you can use the lock feature in the lineup optimizer to kind of construct lineups with stacks for you. So I recommend trying that out. Eckler or Christian Kirk or Crowder already starting B. Hill. Yeah, I would start Crowder for sure over I would start Crowder and Eckler probably over Brian Hill. Honestly, Christian Kirk too. I think all 3 of those guys are better than Brian Hill this week. Sam, happy Thanksgiving. QB issues thanks to COVID. Oh, yep, Daniel. We're all dealing with it, man. Matt Ryan, Newton, Derek Carr this week. I'd rank those guys probably in the reverse order. I'd go Derek Carr, then Cam Newton, then Matt Ryan. Guys, Cam Newton has pretty intriguing floor upside this week against the Arizona Cardinals offense that is playing the fastest pace in the NFL. And so Cam Newton's going to have to keep up with them if he wants a chance to win this game. And I think that's good news for him in a fantasy perspective. He is still leading all quarterbacks in red zone carries per game, gives him a pretty good floor. He has the highest probability of a rushing touchdown every single week at the quarterback position. Do you trust Watson for the future? Yes. He plays the Colts twice. Yeah, that is not good news, Johnny. Those 2 games, he does have a lower floor. But Deshaun Watson, as I was saying in our YouTube video we posted before the Thanksgiving games, we were all over the Deshaun Watson, Will Fuller breakout game. If you use our DFS optimizer or DFS advice on Thanksgiving, you probably cashed in because we had a lot of Will Fuller and Deshaun Watson stacks. And yeah, Deshaun Watson, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Even against the Colts, he has some intriguing upside, though his floor is lowered against a defense like the Colts. Hurst or Ingram? I'd go Ingram. Fulgham or Corey Davis and AB or Crowder? I'd go AB and Crowder over both Fulgham and Corey Davis. But if the Fulgham and Corey Davis, Matt, is about a different team, I'd probably be going Corey Davis over Fulgham. Kyler or Mahomes rest of season? I'd go Mahomes. Close, but I'd go Mahomes. I'm going Gesicki over Ingram. Guys, Mike Gesicki's a great option today. What about Wilkins today, or do I take the risk and start Deontay Johnson? I think you can take the risk and start Deontay Johnson. Would you start Brady or Carr? To me, Derek Carr is absolutely safer than Tom Brady today. Derek Carr is up against an Atlanta Falcons defense that has allowed over 20 fantasy points to every single quarterback they played this season, except for Teddy Bridgewater in one game where it was extremely windy and rainy. That's the only time they have not allowed over 20 fantasy points. So Derek Carr is almost definitely going over 20 fantasy points today, also coming off one of his best games of the season. So I do like Derek Carr. That being said, Tom Brady has more upside than him. Tom Brady's in the game with the highest over-under of the week against a Chiefs team that's going to put up points. So I do like Tom Brady's upside, but if you're looking for at least 20 points, I mean, I'd probably go Derek Carr. You're the man. I remember week 2 live on TikTok. You've grown like crazy since then. Yeah, Daniel, I remember it too, man. Keep up the hard work. I appreciate it, Daniel. Yeah, you're an OG. I appreciate that. And Daniel, I hope this is only the beginning, man. It's been a tremendous experience so far this season with the growth that we've seen. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody watching live right now. Seriously, I had a podcast on fantasy football for the last 3 years. I don't think we ever had more than 30 listeners on a single episode. So I appreciate every single person that I come into contact with and that interacts with my content. I really do. I have a strong appreciation for all of you. I'm looking forward to keep growing too, Daniel. I appreciate it, man. Will the Steelers play this week? I think they will. Yes. Talk about Austin Eckler. Yeah, you don't need to ask me twice, man, to talk about Austin Eckler. He's one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. He's been one of the most underrated players in the NFL since he entered the league. He led all running backs in yards per touch last season. He's been over 19 fantasy points per game dating back to the beginning of last year, including his 2 games that he played this season. Austin Eckler, though, he's going to be on somewhat of a snap count today, which I think is the smart thing to do for the Chargers. But Kalen Ballage is also out. So I do think Austin Eckler is going to see between 10 and 15 touches today. I think that puts him between 10 and 15 fantasy points. I could very easily see him scoring a touchdown and getting a bunch of catches. I think Justin Herbert raises his ceiling a lot too. I'm very excited for Austin Eckler. I think he's going to be a league-winning running back in fantasy. This week, though, he has some increased risk because it's his first week back. Can I drop Fournette? Johnny, depends on how deep the league is, but in a non-PPR league, he does have less value because the value Fournette is bringing is through the air. Thoughts on Kendall Hinton? Yeah, it is Kendall Hinton week, guys. Week 12 of the NFL. Last week was Taysom Hill week. Guys, in the Saints-Broncos game, we have a tight end starting at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. We have a wide receiver starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos. I mean, does anything encapsulate the 2020 NFL season more than this Saints-Denver Broncos game? We got Taysom Hill versus Kendall Hinton. I mean, just like we drew it up, just exactly as we predicted. Kendall Hinton, to me, he's got a lot of risk. Obviously, he has risk. You can play him at wide receiver, though, on Yahoo and CBS. I think every platform really except for ESPN. You can play Kendall Hinton at the wide receiver position. And so I'm willing to play him over some guys. I think he does have some upside, though. We know his floor, guys. His floor is under 5 points. I mean, there's a chance the Denver Broncos score 0 points this week. That is a very realistic possibility. And so he has risk, but I'm willing to toss him out for the upside at the wide receiver position because he's going to be taking snaps at quarterback. It's the same thing we were saying with Taysom Hill last week. He's probably going to see at least 5 rushing attempts. He's probably going to have at least 10 passing attempts. It gives him more upside than most wide receivers. I got a lot of pushback about telling people to go add Kendall Hinton. He does have risk. He has risk. Disclaimer, he has risk. Is David Johnson a good running back too for playoffs? Good is probably not the word I would use. I'd probably use the word decent. I would much prefer Austin Eckler or Derrick Henry. To me, there's a very clear line between league-winning players and just decent players. And David Johnson is in the decent category. Guys that are in the league-winning category, like I've been saying really for the past couple of months, Austin Eckler. We have guys like Derrick Henry, who's probably the most valuable asset in fantasy football. He is going to win so many championships. Who is your lock at QB for DFS? Zach. I am way too overweight this week, Zach, and you got to I have a huge tolerance for risk. As you know, if you've been following me from the beginning, I take massive risks. And that's why I invested pretty much every penny I had to start this business, because that was a risk with a lot of upside that I saw. So I went for it. And this week, the risk that I'm taking is on Ryan Fitzmagic, stacked with Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki in DFS. You can get them, all 3 of them, for such a cheap price that you then can fit in Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb into your lineups. Plus, then you can stack Jameson Crowder against the Miami Dolphins. It just comes together so well when you're stacking those guys. So I'm very into Fitzmagic this week. And another reason why I like Fitzmagic in DFS specifically is because we kind of have a very clear picture of what the target distribution is going to look like in that offense. You can't say that about every offense, but we know Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, both of them together probably going to have over 50% of the targets for the Miami Dolphins today. And that is a very, very intriguing concept for DFS, stacked with Ryan Fitzmagic and stacking Jameson and Lee Crowder against them. That's one of my favorite stacks of the week. Non-PPR, Mark Andrews is out. Who do I pick up? Go see my deep tight end sleeper of the week, guys. It's Tyler Eifert, who should see an increased target share with DJ Chark out. I could easily see Tyler Eifert falling into the end zone, which is really what you're hoping for when you're going to add a tight end, because the tight ends are just a complete dumpster fire. Thoughts on stashing Lazard? Yeah, Nate, as his snap share increases, Lazard will become more and more of a wide receiver too in fantasy. Hines or Gallman? I'd go Hines. DK lineup. Yeah, Ryan. I just ran through kind of the core of my DFS DraftKings strategy this week. It starts with Ryan Fitzmagic, Devontae Parker, and Mike Gesicki stack. That 3 together are a low enough price that I can then squeeze in Dalvin Cook and one of Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. Because, again, I think the Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jaguars today. And so I want the Nick Chubb / Kareem Hunt stack with the Cleveland Browns defense. I think everyone's going to be playing the Saints defense. I probably have more Browns defense than Saints defense this week. That could end up being a big mistake. But I do also think Dalvin Cook, even at his top price, is worth considering in tournaments and head-to-head contests. Hey, Sam, Mostert, Gallman, or Gaskin? I would rank those guys in that order. I would rank them in that order. And is Gaskin playing today? I thought he was officially out today. So that rolls him out. MT or Hines? I'd go Michael Thomas. Thoughts on stashing Lazard? Nate, yeah, stash him. I think he could be a wide receiver 2 in the fantasy playoffs. DK or Jefferson? I'd go Jefferson this week. Is Montgomery bad to roster? No. He's got an amazing playoff schedule. Hey, Sam, have to start Hunt because Connor is out. Yeah, I might have honestly recommended starting Hunt over Connor anyway, so I think it's okay. I'm hoping for a very speedy recovery, guys. I'll do just a quick prayer for James Conner and Mark Andrews, who were 2 of the most high-risk players in the NFL. James Conner, cancer survivor. Mark Andrews, type 1 diabetes. Both of them tested positive this week, so I'm really hoping for a speedy recovery from both of them. But both of them, absolute warriors for playing the season. Hill, Davis, or Montgomery, please. I would probably go with Mike Davis, then Montgomery, then Hill. Jefferson or Eckler? I'd go Jefferson for sure this week. AB or DJ Moore? I'd probably go Antonio Brown. And guys, you can also answer all your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. It uses machine learning and artificial intelligence, more accurate projections than ESPN and Yahoo over the last 2 years. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. It can answer every single one of your start-sit questions as well, so definitely check it out. I've spent over 3 years building this app. Over 300 hours of my time have gone into building this app on the iOS App Store. So definitely go check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. And you also got to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. I set a goal for myself this morning to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We needed 350 from where we started this morning. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, you are already helping us out. So I appreciate you. And if you haven't hit that like button on YouTube yet, that can also help us get some more subscribers today. So it takes 2 seconds. Hit that like button on YouTube. Appreciate everyone that has already done that. At Flex, do I start AB or Brian Hill or Higgins? I'd go AB. Guys, you can't trust T. Higgins. You cannot trust T. Higgins. Get him out of your starting lineups. Get AJ Green out of your starting lineups. Joe Burrow is not in the offense anymore. The offense is going to be abysmal. It's going to be tough to watch. Should I trade Evan Ingram? Yeah, for who? I mean, Mike, what do you want me to do with that, man? Yeah, trade Evan Ingram. I'd probably rather Mike Gesicki. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Jay Soul. Good to see you, man. Who you start? AB, Slayton, Fulgham. Pick 2. I start those first 2. I'd start AB and Fulgham. Guys, AB saw 13 targets last week. And if you remember from the original Adam Schefter tweets, my take on Antonio Brown was if he's playing over 70% of the snaps for any team in the NFL, I didn't know he was going to the Bucs at the time, then he is going to have top 10 weekly upside at the wide receiver position. And then what do we see? His first week with the Bucs, he plays 81% of the snaps, sees 5 targets, leads the team in air yards. And then he sees a decline in his snaps in the next week, but an increase in his targets. And then the next week, guys, he's seen increased target share every single week that he has played. That is Antonio Brown. He's led the team in air yards 2 out of the 3 weeks that he's played. Antonio Brown has immense upside. He doesn't have a single touchdown yet. That is going to change sooner rather than later. And again, my big, bold prediction of this week is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we're going to start taking the Bucs seriously as a Super Bowl contender. I think they have a lot to figure out, but their defense is good enough, and they have enough firepower on offense to keep up with any team. Antonio Brown is a big reason for that. And Antonio Brown, to me, is startable in most situations in fantasy. He saw 13 targets last week. Do I start Hines or Brian Hill? I'd start Hines. I think Hines is more upside. Could Nyheim Hines become starter this week if he plays good? Yeah, anything can happen in that Colts offense, in that Colts backfield for sure. Where's the Pats banner? Dustin, I've changed locations. I went from Boston to Florida this past week to spend some time with family for Thanksgiving. So I am in Florida for the next month or so. So you'll see me in a slightly different setting. You'll see some palm trees in the backgrounds of my videos over the next few weeks. Jacoby Myers or T. Higgins? I'd go Jacoby Myers over T. Higgins for sure. 100%, man. Jay Sam, what are your thoughts on Fulgham? Should I trade him for Crowder? Yes, Jordan. Trade him for Jameson Elite Crowder as soon as possible. Sick. Yeah, sick. I'm happy to be in the sun, man. Thoughts on Brian Hill? Yeah, Brian Hill, to me, he's a back-end RB2 along with Jordan Wilkins this week. But both of them, I would rather be starting Antonio Brown over both of them. I feel like I see a lot of Antonio Brown questions with both those guys. What's up, Sam? How you doing? Subscriber 138. Kevin, thank you, man. Yeah, look where we are now, Kevin. It's amazing what can happen with some hard work. And my goal today, Kevin, was to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. So appreciate you being the 138th, Kevin. We've come a long way. How do you feel about Murray? Is he good? I'm assuming you're talking about Kyler Murray. And yeah, he's good. Obviously, he's good. Is Eckler playing? Yes. Austin Eckler is playing. Austin Eckler is back. One of my favorite players in the NFL. He's been one of the most underrated running backs in the NFL since he entered the league, led all running backs in yards per touch last season, over 6 yards per touch, the only running back to average over 6 yards per touch. I do think Austin Eckler's, I'm pumped to have him back. I think he's going to be a league winner in fantasy, though this week he's probably going to be on a limited touch count. I think he's going to have between 10 and 15 touches. Yo, Beast, premium sub, man. Thanks. Yeah, premium subscribers in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. Those are the people that really do keep us going, so I appreciate you, man. Pick 2, AB, Deontay, or Tyler Boyd. I would probably be going with those first 2 guys, Antonio Brown and Deontay Johnson. Again, I do not trust the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Just subscribe, Neil. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. What will Davis do this week? Yeah, Mike Davis is a running back 2 this week. Thank you, Neil. I got you. Got any questions, Neil? I got you, man. Thoughts on Gio? Yeah, I don't love him. Again, he's starting running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I do not love him. I don't love anyone in this Bengals offense. The Bengals offense has a chance to be bottom 3, if not worst, in the NFL. That being said, it's tough to outproduce the Denver Broncos for the worst offense in the NFL this week. The Denver Broncos are being forced to play without a quarterback. Kendall Hinton, who is a practice squad wide receiver, is starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos today. We are going to see a slaughter on our televisions today. The New Orleans Saints versus the Denver Broncos. The Saints are now 15.5-point favorites over the Broncos. Hey, Sam, Eckler or Montgomery? It's close. I'd probably be leading Austin Eckler. Eckler is risky. Yeah, Jeffrey, I'm glad you said that because disclaimer, Austin Eckler, he is risky this week. Again, I don't think he's going to be very risky for the rest of the season after this week. It's going to be very intriguing to see how much he plays. But Kalen Ballage is also out, which decreases some of that risk. I think we can expect Austin Eckler to see at least 10 touches. I think he's going to see between 10 and 15, and that makes him a better start than David Montgomery because he's just way more efficient than him. Robinson, Sanders, or AB? I'm assuming that's Allen Robinson, and if it is, I'd go Allen Robinson. Just subbed. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I like the YouTube. Thanks, man. Can you choose 2 out of 3, Ridley, Moore, or D-Hop? Definitely DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley. I mean, it's not even close. Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins both have number 1 wide receiver overall upside this week. I don't care that DeAndre Hopkins is up against Stephon Gilmore. It's still DeAndre Hopkins. I think that you got to have him in your starting lineup no matter who he is playing. Good morning, Sam. Good morning. Good to see you, Eric. Is Brian Hill or James White better at flex and PPR? I'd go with James White personally in a PPR league. Thanks for giving me that extra info. Because in a non-PPR league, I'd probably go Brian Hill. But in a PPR league, I'm going with James White. Any bad weather games? No, Tyler. And I love that everyone's asking about the weather because 2 weeks ago, I was basically auditioning as a weather reporter. I haven't got any calls yet from any news stations, which is surprising because I was auditioning as a weather reporter. We had a lot of crazy weather going on, and I was telling everyone, listen, I've done a lot of statistical research on the NFL, and one of the things that I have found is there's a statistically significant impact on passing games when there's winds over 25 miles an hour, and that's not that surprising of a finding. But the more surprising thing is nothing else from a weather perspective impacts offenses as much as people think. Really, there's no statistical impact other than over 25-mile-an-hour winds. And we're seeing no games with over 25-mile-an-hour winds this week, so I do not need to be a weather reporter this week. Hey, Sam, sub to YouTube. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Pick 3, Parker, Jefferson, Claypool, Evans. I'd go with those first 3 guys. Hey, Sam, sub to YouTube. Thanks, man. Ridley or Aaron Jones? I would go Calvin Ridley over Aaron Jones. Calvin Ridley's upside is just too much for me to ignore. If I trade Crowder, do I start him over Landry this week? Yes. Start Jamison Crowder this week, guys. Jamison Elite Crowder is an elite option this week. He's going to have a huge bounce back week. Sam Darnold's back. Sam Darnold and Jamison Crowder have played in 2 games together this season. In both those games, Jamison Crowder went over 100 receiving yards. The last time Jamison Crowder played against the Miami Dolphins, he saw 13 targets. You got to have Jamison Crowder in your lineups, especially in PPR leagues. And guys, I set a goal for myself at 4:30 this morning when I woke up that we were going to hit 1,500 YouTube subscribers. This is where we started. I'm not sure what we're at now, but we need to get 350 today. you can be part of that 350. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, I appreciate you guys so much. Hit that like button. Really quick, it takes 2 seconds, helps us out a ton. Appreciate that. Naheem Hines or Kareem Hunt? I'd go Kareem Hunt for sure. What's the player prop pick of the week? Yes, they're back, guys. And it's not surprising. It's not surprising we see people coming back for the player prop pick of the week because, guys, we are 9 for 11 giving away free player prop picks. Think about how insane that is. 9 out of 11, over 80% accuracy with our free player prop picks. We dominated with Jerry Jeudy. We dominated with Justin Jefferson. And this week, guys, we got another lock. We have another lock this week. I'm pumped to give it to you. It's going to be coming out at around 11 o'clock today. So you got to come back and tune in then for the free player prop pick of the week. I'll be saying a lot from 11 leading up to 1 o'clock. Good morning, Sam. Matt, good morning, man. Mostert, Hill, Mike Williams, and James White. I'd probably be going with Mostert and James White there. Emergency. I love flight. Thanks for sharing the live video, man. Hinton, Mike Williams, Aguilar, Boyd, or Pittman. I'd probably go Mike Williams and Aguilar there. Though if you want to have some fun with Hinton this week, I mean, I'm okay with it. He has upside, but the floor is probably lower than any player you listed. There's a chance the Denver Broncos score 0 points this week. Eckler or Jefferson? I'd first Jeffrey. For sure this week, Jefferson. Yo, Sam, subbed last week. Thanks, man. Don't want to risk playing Tucker if no game. Play Suckup or Carlson. I'd play Suckup. That game has the highest over-under of the week. Sanders or CEH? What you think? I'd personally go Miles Sanders over Clyde. Clyde has such a low floor now, especially against this Bucs team with a very good run defense. I'd go Miles Sanders. Is Ebron a good fill-in for Andrews? Yep, he is. Emergency, Eckler or Mike Davis? It's an emergency. I would probably go Mike Davis this week over Austin Eckler, but moving forward, it's going to be for sure Austin Eckler. Should I start Fitz over Big Ben considering the game risk? Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think Ryan Fitzmagic has a similar outlook as Big Ben this week anyway. An NFL spokesman has said the league has not considered postponing the Steelers and Ravens game. We got to operate like that game is happening, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you got to go do that. You can find it linked in our TikTok account. You got to come watch live on YouTube. You got to go hit that subscribe button. My goal this morning was to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We're getting pretty close, so I hear. Someone in the YouTube chat can give me an update what our subscriber count is at, see if I'm getting anywhere close or if I set my goal maybe a little bit too high. We'll see. Hey, Sam, should I go for Devontae Parker Fitzmagic stack or start Taysom Hill because I have Kamara and Godwin? That's a close one. I like the Fitzmagic and Devontae Parker stack, to be honest. 1.18 right now, which means we have gained, 30 subscribers? 1.19, 40 subscribers since this morning. Starting off slow, but we still got 3 hours to hit our goal, so I'm feeling okay. Thanks for the update, Jordan, and Meet the Mets and Dark Gaming. Appreciate the updates from you guys on YouTube. And if you're watching live on TikTok, guys, you can help me reach the goal I set this morning to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. This is where we started. We're almost at 1.2, so we're like 300 subscribers away. You can be part of that 300. I would appreciate you very much. We started this YouTube channel less than 2 weeks ago. Eckler or Gallman? For sure, Eckler. I'm liking Eckler. Hines or White in DFS flex? Zach, I'd probably go Hines. I think Hines is more upside. Should I pick up Ingram or Jonnu Smith? I'd probably go Ingram. Hey, Sam, liked and subscribe. Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate everyone watching live on YouTube. Hit that like button if you haven't hit that like button yet. That helps us out way more than you realize. Have the premium pack on WalterPicks and love it. Mayor, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you a ton. Brian Hill, Eckler, Jameson, Elite Crowder, Christian Kirk, Kenyon Drake. Pick 2, please. Yeah, let's look at this together, Mayor. I would go Jameson, Elite Crowder for sure. And I think I would argue for Christian Kirk as number 2 here. Both those guys, to me, one of them has, I would argue at least one of Jameson Crowder or Christian Kirk is going to go over 100 yards today. I like them both as giving you the most upside to win your week and score the most points in your league. Carson or Beasley? Yeah, finally, a Cole Beasley question. I've been waiting for a Cole Beasley question because Cole Beasley is one of the best sleepers of the week with John Brown on IR. Cole Beasley has been producing. Without John Brown, he's probably going to go over 70 receiving yards. I do think I would probably still be going Chris Carson over him, though. I've been here since 8:15. Johnny, 8:15. I don't know how that's possible. I started at 9 a.m., Johnny. I'm sensing some lies there, but I'm going to answer your question anyway. Hinton, Jefferson, Davis, Raheem. I would probably go with Justin Jefferson and Mike Davis out of all those guys. Do you think Hinton is safe this week, Jack? No, he's not safe. He's absolutely not safe. By no means, do not take what I've been saying on TikTok as Hinton being safe, though he does have intriguing upside because he's playing quarterback and you can start him at wide receiver. And we know quarterbacks score the most fantasy points. 8:15 Houston time. Johnny, I don't know why I was out overlooking the chance that you were in a different time zone. Johnny, good morning to you. I didn't realize it's earlier in Houston. Sorry for falsely calling you a liar, Johnny, but I did answer your question, so hopefully that helped. I do think that Hinton is a risk, but he has upside because he's playing quarterback, and we can project him for 10-plus passing attempts. It gives him upside, though his floor is under 5 points. There's a chance the Denver Broncos score 0 points today. That is a very realistic thing that could happen. Brian Hill or Allen Robinson? Alexander will be on Robinson. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm still starting Allen Robinson. Cats H-Town gang. I've been to Houston. I actually went to the Houston Texans New England Patriots game last season. Very cool place. You guys beat us in that game too. Derek Carr is a great option this week. I'm playing him over Taysom Hill. Derek Carr for the dude asking. Who's saying, your boy, we're not going to bring that up, man. The best place to bet on player props is DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM Sportsbook. You're putting too many pieces together there. I do think that Derek Carr is going to go over 20 fantasy points today. There's been one quarterback who has failed to go over 20 fantasy points against the Atlanta Falcons, and that was Teddy Bridgewater. And in that game, there was extreme winds and rain. So you can give him a pass. And so, I mean, Derek Carr is almost definitely going over 20 fantasy points. He's a solid start in DFS and season-long leagues. Mike Evans or Mike Williams? I would lean towards Mike Williams. Brian Hill or Benny Snell? I'd go Brian Hill. I'm liking the Chris Hogan jersey, my man Tyler. It's actually not a Chris Hogan jersey. It is an N'Keal Harry jersey because I was so confident in the N'Keal Harry pick as a Pats fan. Clearly, that backfired pretty quickly, but he is back. Thank God. And after N'Keal Harry, he had his first game playing 100% of the snaps for the Pats, and then he got injured and was out for another 2 weeks. He's really struggled with injuries in his career so far. I do think he still has a chance to be a good option for the Patriots. He did see 8 targets last week, so he is becoming more involved in the offense. Steelers or Cardinals defense? I would go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, guys, the Steelers are playing against a Ravens offense that, listen to their starting players. Their starting quarterback, the Ravens, is Robert Griffin III. They have Willie Snead and Marquise Brown. They have no Mark Andrews or their second tight end. I mean, their offense is abysmal. They got Gus Edwards starting at running back, who's actually pretty good. But the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to eat this week. I think they're top 2 defense. The Saints are clearly number 1, playing against a Broncos team literally without a quarterback. Tonyan or Gesicki? For sure, Gesicki. Guys, Gesicki is a great option. Thoughts on Wayne Gallman, PPR league? Yeah, he has a pretty good chance for a touchdown again this week against a not very good defense. Hey, Sam, premium sub. Mike, thanks, man. Who do I flex? Fournette, Corey Davis, or Aguilar? I'd probably lean towards Aguilar in that situation against the Falcons secondary that has not stopped anyone this season. Does Kamara make you nervous today? Josh, a little bit. Kamara had his first game in like 3 years without a reception in Taysom Hill's first start. That just lowers the ceiling for Kamara, but he's still going to be very involved in the offense. So I'm not overly concerned, but he might not have that same elite upside that we're used to. Rodgers or Allen this week at QB? I'd definitely go Josh Allen. Premium sub here. Is Kamara worth it? Adam, he's not worth it to me in DFS. Though, again, that team could absolutely destroy the Denver Broncos today. And so that could end up being good news for Kamara. AB or Beasley? I'd go AB. I'd go Calvin Ridley, though, over Antonio Brown for sure. Carson, Calvin Ridley has number 1 wide receiver overall upside. Do not let Calvin Ridley be the top scoring wide receiver of the week and be on your bench. I mean, that's not going to be a good feeling. Rough question, but start 2. Beasley, Edmonds, or Drake? I would be going with Cole Beasley and Kenyon Drake over Edmonds. Guys, Kenyon Drake, just like we've really been saying all season, I've been pretty on the money with Kenyon Drake, and I have not been on the money with everyone this entire season. I'm more than happy to admit to when I am wrong. I'm not going to be right 100% of the time. That is an unrealistic expectation, but I have been on the money with Kenyon Drake this season, guys. Kenyon Drake, despite being very clearly more inefficient than Chase Edmonds, has played over 50% of the snaps in every single game except for the one where he was injured. And that is going to continue. He's going to continue to see at least half the snaps, and that's why I like him more than Chase Edmonds, because he's just a safer option. But Chase Edmonds does have arguably more upside than Kenyon Drake as a much, much better receiver than Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake finally was more involved in the passing game last week, though, which is an encouraging development. His first game over 2 targets. He had 5 targets last week. Hey, Sam, I just want to say you've helped me a lot, and I love your TikTok and YouTube. Josh, thanks, man. I'm glad I've been able to help, and I appreciate you following along. We started this brand literally from zero at the beginning of the season, and now we are where we are. So it's been very exciting, and I hope we continue to grow at the pace we're growing at, man. And guys, if you're watching on TikTok, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube. My goal was to hit 1,500 YouTube subscribers today. We're right now at 1,200. This is where we started this morning. So we'll see if we can get there. You can help us get there. Just go hit that YouTube button in our TikTok account and hit subscribe. Metcalf, Lockett, Eckler, Mostert, James Robinson, Glisley. What about them? No, I'm just kidding. I'd probably go with – I'd just toss out Metcalf and Lockett. If you have both of them, one of them is scoring a touchdown every single week, and one of them is probably going over 100 yards as well. Hunt or Eckler, I'd go Hunt this week, but moving forward, it could be Austin Eckler. Glisley, man, it's good to see you again. Start 1, AB, Deontay Woods. I would probably be going with AB out of all of those guys. Should I play Montgomery or Wayne Gallman? I would lean towards Wayne Gallman. Best value running back in DFS is probably Jordan Wilkins or Nyheim Hines. One of those guys is going to return very good value in DFS against a Packers team that's big weakness has been stopping the run this season. What do you think of Sanders this week? Yeah, Sanders has been a pretty big disappointment, but he is still the primary ball carrier for the Philadelphia Eagles. He still is one of the more talented running backs in the NFL. To me, top 10 talented running back in the NFL. We've seen him produce as a receiver too. He's got at least 5 targets in back-to-back games now, and he played still 68% of the snaps last week, 16 carries, 5 targets. That's a top 12 workload at the running back position. So I'm still interested in Miles Sanders this week, though we know he has increased risk. He went under 10 points this past week, though I do think we'll see him go over 10 this week. He's probably going to score a touchdown. Thoughts on Hines? Yeah, Nyheim Hines, guys, has a very intriguing upside this week against a Packers defense that has not stopped running backs. Just WalterPicks, remember to sub on YouTube. Have Saints defense over 7.5 points. Let's see if we've updated the Saints defense in the WalterPicks app, because we got to do that. Guys, the New Orleans Saints defense, I mean, like every DFS lineup's going to have them. They're up against a Denver Broncos team that has no quarterback. They're starting a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback. I mean, we have never seen anything like this. They're starting a practice. This is like, can you imagine being Kendall Hinton, who literally last week was just a practice squad wide receiver, probably was never going to get called up to the active squad. He's just enjoying his short, brief moment in the NFL, and now he's literally going to be a starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. I mean, wow, life comes at you fast, Hinton. And what a good story would be if he actually played well. Who's the Denver quarterback? Yeah, it's Kendall Hinton. It's Kendall Hinton. Because their value is pretty low right now, which I wouldn't expect. Matt, whose value is low? Yeah, you're right. I just updated it in the app. So if you close the app and open it again, Matt, the Saints defense is updated now. Game picks today. Eric, let's go through some game picks. Let's run through these really quickly. Let me pull up the spreads here. And my favorite upset of the week, by the way, is the Buccaneers beating the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not a winning proposition to be picking against the Chiefs, but I think that we're going to realize that the Bucs are legit Super Bowl contenders today. Here's my picks of the week. I think that the Raiders are going to take down the Falcons. I think that the Arizona Cardinals are going to handle the New England Patriots. That game's a pick 'em. I don't really understand that one. I think the Arizona Cardinals are a lot better than the Patriots. The Patriots should have lost to the Jets. They've had a couple really bad losses. The only teams that the Houston Texans have beaten this season, they've beaten the Jaguars twice. They've beaten a bad Detroit Lions team, and then they beat the Pats. I think that the Pats, I don't know how this game is a pick 'em. It's pretty surprising to me that I think that the Cardinals are going to beat the Pats. And again, I feel like I've been wrong about the Pats like every single week, though. So take that with a grain of salt. Again, also, quick intermission here. I do not bet on spreads. The only time I bet on spreads is on Thanksgiving because I have a tradition with my brother to bet on every single spread. I just answered that. Stop asking, Dean. I only bet on player prop picks because I have found a system that I've used over the last 2 years. Over 200 player props have been identified by my artificially intelligent algorithm, and they have had 68.5% accuracy. I have cashed in on the player props. And so I funnel my money that I have for gambling towards the player prop picks, not towards spreads, but I am happy to discuss the spreads. And to me, my favorite spread of the week, it's the Arizona Cardinals as a pick 'em versus Patriots. I also think that the Vikings will beat the Carolina Panthers. I think that the Browns guys are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. That spread's minus 7.5. I think that it should be much more than 7.5. I think it should be closer to 10. Hey, Sam, thanks for the great fantasy help. Dean, no problem, man. MT or Miles Sanders? I'd go MT. Is Christian Kirk a good wide receiver 3 going forward? Yes, he is. He's got upside, man. Walter, I need you here, my man. Nyheim Hines or Chubb? PPR. Yeah, you clearly need some help because this isn't even close. This one's not even close. And Emmett, it's got to be Nick Chubb. And my name is Sam. It's not Walter. Classic mistake. I built an artificially intelligent algorithm that projects fantasy football points more accurately than any projections out there in the world. And that I named him Walter. So classic mistake. And I put him in the WalterPicks app to give us all the most accurate possible projections. That's on the iOS App Store if you haven't checked it out yet. But my name is Sam. I built an algorithm named Walter. It's a classic mistake. I named the brand after the algorithm. So I understand the mix-up. So many injuries for me this week. Do I go Gus Edwards, Myers, Crowder, AB at flex? Yeah, you got a lot of injuries, but luckily, 5'11" Ash, you've got great backups because Jamison Elite Crowder to me is a great option. Matt's hairy legs. Sam, how's it going, man? The usernames on TikTok, they always make me laugh, man. I've been asking for 30 minutes, Sam. Oh, thanks for sticking around, man. Kyler or Josh Allen? Personally, I'd go Kyler. I'd definitely go Kyler. Crowder or Pittman? I'd go Crowder. Brian Hill, Austin Eckler, or Raheem Mostert this week? I would rank those guys as Mostert number 1, Eckler number 2, Brian Hill number 3. Antonio Brown is not a model citizen. Marcus, no. He's pretty much as far from a model citizen as you can find, but he is a very good football player. Hey, quick question, bro. Aguilar, which is why he's still in the NFL. Quick question, bro. Aguilar versus Falcons or AB versus Kansas City? Crowder versus Miami or Judy versus New Orleans? I'd go Crowder out of all those guys. All of them are intriguing options, though. Guys, you got to get Judy and Noah Fant out of your lineups. With the situation in the Denver offense, you cannot be starting Judy or Noah Fant. Do you think Brian Hill is a fade? Yeah. I think Brian Hill, Jordan Wilkins are probably both fades, but they're also back-end running back twos with a pretty good chance at a touchdown. So in season-long leagues, I'm okay starting them in a bunch of situations, but in DFS, I don't have much of them. Crowder or Hinton? For sure, Crowder, RT. Crowder for sure. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, I appreciate you so much. Hit that like button really quickly. It takes 2 seconds. Helps us out a ton. Hit that like button. If you're watching, I'm going to get to all of your questions on YouTube, all of your questions on TikTok as fast as I can. The Colts play the Titans, not the Packers. Our home baller. Thanks for correcting me there. That was a mistake on my end. I think they might have played the Packers last week. Yeah, I think that's the case. But yeah, I still think Nyheim Hines has more upside than Jordan Wilkins. The Packers are playing the Bears on Sunday Night Football. That is correct, which gives David Montgomery against a bad run defense of the Green Bay Packers. Sam, does MT scare you? I'm very hesitant to start him over Miles Sanders because Taysom is not the best thrower. Yeah, Dean, he does scare me a little bit. But that being said, when Taysom Hill is throwing the ball, it's going to Michael Thomas. Over 50% of Taysom Hill's passes went to Michael Thomas, and that is a very good sign for Michael Thomas, and that's why I'm willing to trust him over Miles Sanders. Help and Tony, but that being said, we also saw that game against the Falcons. They're not going to get to play the Falcons secondary every week. So I would argue Miles Sanders has a much safer floor than Michael Thomas, but Michael Thomas has the higher ceiling. I would be playing Antonio Brown over Deebo Samuel. I'd probably be playing Jordan Wilkins over Giovanni Bernard too. MT it is. Dean, I'll be thinking about you when we watch MT get every single pass from Taysom Hill this week, man. Start 2, Mostert, Mike Davis, or Eckler. I would be starting Mike Davis over both those guys. Michael Thomas or Devontae Parker, that's a very close one. I'd probably still be going Michael Thomas over him. AB or Tyler Boyd, for sure AB. Guys, you can't trust Tyler Boyd. You can't trust T. Higgins. You can't trust A.J. Green. You can't trust Giovanni Bernard. Joe Burrow is out. That offense is bottom 3 in the NFL now. CMC and Hopkins for Judy and Henry. No. Keep CMC and Hopkins. I love Derrick Henry, but you're giving up 2 top 3 players at their positions. Brian Hill over Mostert and Eckler this week? No, not over either of them, I don't think. Lockett or Beasley? I'd still go Lockett, but Beasley's an intriguing sleeper this week. Are you concerned about Zeke? Yes, I'm so concerned, and I'm so sad about it because Zeke was returning to his excellence, his elite running back 1 status in fantasy football, but the first drive of the game, we see 2 offensive linemen go down, and now we're back to square one with the Dallas Cowboys, where it's the offensive line that's going to hold them back tremendously, and it's bad news for Ezekiel Elliott. Go Pats, man, go Pats. I think we're losing to the Cardinals today. Go Pats. The Pats are now the 3rd best team in the AFC East. Go Pats. If you've been following me from the beginning, you know I'm a pessimistic Pats fan. Now, I think we have enough Super Bowls, that we can't complain, but I am nervous. I'm nervous for the Pats' future. Just got WalterPicks. Thanks, man. It says Robinson over Crowder. Do you agree? Allen Robinson over Crowder, I probably agree, though I think it's close. And personally, due to my emotional ties to Jamison Crowder, I would probably be tossing Jamison Crowder out over him. But I understand why the app is saying Allen Robinson over Crowder, especially with the last couple of weeks we've seen from Jamison Crowder. Flex Myers or Brian Hill? I'd go Myers for sure. Chance the Steelers-Ravens game happens. Yeah, according to all the reports I've seen, there is no indication that game is not going to happen. I believe that game is going to happen. Something to consider, guys. Both the Colts and Steelers chose not to add a running back to their roster yesterday. So it's Wilkins and Hines for Indy, and it's Snell and McFarland for Pittsburgh. That's it. Those are the only 2 running backs in both those teams. Both of them have interesting upside. And apparently, guys, also Jalen Hurts is going to be playing some snaps for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know how that's going to work out for the Eagles. I'm intrigued to watch him play, though. Mostert or Montgomery? I would probably go with Mostert over Montgomery this week. How do you feel about Chris Carson? Yeah, I think you're going to be very confident in Chris Carson as a running back 1 this week. He's off the injury report. Starting Antonio Brown over Evans scares me a little bit. Yeah, but Marcus, what's life without a little bit of feeling scared, And Antonio Brown, to me, is the safer option. He saw 13 targets last week. I like Antonio Brown more. Wow, you love Crowder. Got a lot to think on. Thanks for the tip. Here's a subscribe. Thanks, DJ. Yeah, you got to think on it. Personally, I understand the logic between starting Allen Robinson over Jamison Crowder, but I do like Jamison Elite Crowder. The only 2 games he's played with Sam Darnold, he's gone over 100 yards. The last time he played the Dolphins, he had 13 targets, so I do like him. Wentz or Fitzpatrick? Definitely Fitzpatrick. Definitely Ryan Fitzmagic over Carson Wentz. And yeah, I'm saying Fitzmagic. That's his official legal name now. I do think you cannot be starting Carson Wentz today because – not today. I think they play tomorrow, actually. Right? Or is that wrong? Yeah, the Seahawks, Eagles, Monday night. Yeah, Carson Wentz can't be started, guys, in any fantasy lineups because apparently Jalen Hurts is going to be playing more snaps than he has been. Like I could see Jalen Hurts taking like 20% of the snaps, and Wentz has just been awful. Can you pray for my fantasy team? I need to win. Yeah, let's all take a second. Let's pray for Henry's fantasy team. He needs a win. It's Aguilar. Aguilar. Is that better, man? Yeah, and this is really funny, too, because I say names wrong all the time. And the reason I do is because I do not listen to the broadcasters when I watch football because I don't want them inundating me with their bias and just, like, not accurate takes. They have no statistical analysis in their takes on football. So I don't listen to them. So I say names wrong all the time. Aguilar. Aguilar. Oh, now I'm saying it wrong again, man. Let me scroll back up to Aguilar. Aguilar. Yeah, I got it. I don't know if it's Noah Fant or Noah Font. I'm scared of Hinton, but it's not like I have huge options besides him for flex. Yeah, Jack, then just say screw it. Play Hinton in your flex. You get a quarterback in your flex, you could do worse. Jordan Reed or Tyler Eifert. Walter has them basically a tie. I'd lean Jordan Reed over Eifert. Montgomery or Davis? I would lean towards Mike Davis over Montgomery. I'm a new sub. Rest of the season, do I want Zeke or Gibson? It's Gibson, Matt. It is Gibson. After those 2 injuries on the offensive line for the Cowboys, it's Gibson now. Wentz or Trubisky? Oh, dude, that's disgusting. Go ahead Ryan Fitzmagic instead. If he can't, I'd probably still go Carson Wentz over Trubisky. Trubisky is just brutal. Taysom Hill or Daniel Jones? I'd lean towards Daniel Jones. I can't use the app because of Hinton. You can't use the app because of Hinton. Hinton or AB PPR. I think Hinton is in the app, but I would go AB over Hinton. Mark Andrews or Goddard? Mark Andrews is out. He tested positive for COVID. He's out for at least this week. And honestly, he's in my prayers because he got type 1 diabetes, so I'm hoping for a speedy recovery for Mark Andrews. So that's an easy choice for you now, though, because Mark Andrews is not playing. Mark Andrews is out. Lamar Jackson, out. Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, both out. Please, bro. Rojo or Benny Snell, been asking for a while. Sorry for spamming. Shane, I got you, man. I would be going with Benny Snell over Ronald Jones. Taysom Hill or Ryan Fitzmagic? I'd go Ryan Fitzmagic, but it's close. Should I start Tyler Boyd? Please help. No, you shouldn't start him. That whole offense is bottom 3 in the NFL now. Brian Hill or DJ Moore? I would lean towards DJ Moore over Brian Hill. Goff, Carr, or prey on Lamar? No, Lamar's not playing, so don't prey on him. I'd go Carr. Lamar is not playing. Thoughts on Saints defense? Yeah, I mean, it's probably the best defensive option in fantasy that we've ever seen. They're up against a Denver Broncos offense that is literally starting a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback this week. Something we have never seen. We've never seen something like this in our entire lifetimes. I mean, the Saints defense is just going to, I think we have them projected for 13 points now, which is the most we've had any defensive projected this entire season. Yeah, no. If you guys haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, guys, you got to go do it. I set a goal for myself this morning to pass 150 YouTube subscribers. We're about 300 away now. This is where we started, 1,150 this morning. We're about 300 away now. So we gained about 50. You can help us out a ton. Go hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And we're live on YouTube right now too. And on YouTube, the nice thing about YouTube is the chat is a lot less spammy. I'm doing my best to monitor the chat on YouTube. So it's a little bit nicer if you want to join that live stream, but I'll be answering comments from both. Curtis Samuel or Clyde? I like Samuel's matchup. Yeah, I like Samuel over Clyde too. Robbie Anderson or DJ Moore? I'd go Robbie Anderson this week over DJ Moore. Cup or Eckler? I'd go Cup this week. Wilkins or Hines? I think Hines has a higher upside, but Wilkins is the safer floor. Big game for me this week. 5 starters have COVID. Curtis Samuel or Jacoby Myers? Both of them are pretty good options. I would lean towards Jacoby Myers over Curtis Samuel, though. Parker over Hinton at wide receiver? Yeah, I would. Sorry for the spam. Thanks for apologizing, man. Hey, Sam, how's Florida? It's pretty good, man. It's warm. I'm not leaving the house because I work all day, and I don't want to be going near anyone. So I'm in the house. I'm outside all day in Florida. It's been great. It's been great. I'm liking it here. I'm going to be here for probably the next month or so, so expect some more palm trees in the videos moving forward. Will Julio play today? I don't think he's going to play, no. Pick 2, Henry, Miles Sanders, Eckler. I'd go the first 2. I'm okay starting Miles Sanders over Eckler this week. I'm worried about Pittsburgh versus Ravens being canceled. Is that possible? It is possible, but as of now, it's looking extremely unlikely. The NFL seems very adamant to continue with the trend of just forcing games to happen despite who's out, as we're seeing with the Broncos game this week. Been asking for a while and don't know. A.J. Brown or Devontae Parker? I think Devontae Parker's safer. A.J. Brown is more upside. I'm okay starting Parker over Andrews. Sam, pick 1. Brian Hill, Wayne Gallman, Mike Davis, Kenyon Drake, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson. Tough decision. Yeah, that is a tough one. I'd probably argue Mike Davis has the safest floor out of all of those guys, but A.J. Brown has the highest ceiling. I'd go with one of those 2. And we're not going to spam. We're not going to spam on the YouTube chat. That's one of the nice things about YouTube. Wilkins or Hines? I would go with, I think that Wilkins versus Hines. They're the only 2 running backs for the Colts this week. I think that Wilkins has the safer floor. Hines has the higher ceiling. Hines is the better receiving back against the Tennessee Titans defense that has not been very good at stopping the run this season. I think that Wilkins is going to see at least 15 carries, and Hines is going to see at least 5 targets. And I would argue Hines is the higher ceiling, and Wilkins has the safer floor. Why are you in Florida Thanksgiving? Yep, Thanksgiving. And it's warm here, so that's another reason. Gesicki or Hooper? I'd go Gesicki. Hey, Sam, confused on what I should do with Eckler this week. Do I play James White over him? That's an interesting one. I'd probably still go with Eckler over James White. This is the situation with Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler has been one of the most underrated running backs since he entered the league, led the NFL in yards per touch last season, one of the most efficient running backs in the NFL. But he's going to be on some sort of a snap count today, though Kalen Ballage is also out. So I think we can project Austin Eckler for between 10 and 15 touches of the football today. That'd be rushing attempts and targets. And That's going to put him, in my mind, between 10 and 15 fantasy points. I would argue James White has a lower floor than that, but probably a higher ceiling. With Rex Burkhead out, he could be a guy who sees 5+ targets for the Pats. So again, I'd probably go Austin Eckler over him, but it's a close one. It's definitely a close one. And he's a tough guy to decide on this week. Jacoby Myers or Fulgham? I'd go Myers. Please, Sam, AB, Rojo, or Woods? I'd go AB out of all those guys. Now, I'd go AB over Hinton, guys. I'd definitely go AB over Hinton. Singletary or Henderson? I would be going with Singletary over Henderson this week. Chubb or Hines? Come on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's definitely Chubb. Boyd or Rojo, please help. I would be going with Rojo over Boyd. Guys, I don't trust Boyd. I don't trust AJ Green. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard. This offense is going to struggle. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, man. Do I start Hines, Mike Evans, Fulgham, Aguilar, or Mike Williams? I would probably go with Hines out of all those guys, and then Aguilar probably number 2. Aguilar. I don't think I'm saying it right again. I need someone to send the pronunciation again in the chat. Deontay Johnson or Godwin? I do Godwin for sure. Who should I use for a tight end pickup for Mark Andrews? Yeah, as a tight end pickup. Do I play Hilkins at flex? Yeah, you can play Hilkins at flex. The tight end pickup is Tyler Eifert. He's my deep sleeper of the week, available in almost every single fantasy league. DJ Chark is out, and that could mean more targets for Tyler Eifert this week. Do you think the Steelers actually going to play? Yeah, Scott, I do. I do think they're actually going to play. There's been no indication they're not going to play. It's going to be a weird game. Ag-O-Lore. Thank you, man. Yeah, Ag-O-Lore. I would play him over Lazard this week. Please help, Antonio or Sterling. I would go with Antonio Brown over Sterling Shepard. Hines, Drake, Bernard, I'd go Hines over all of those guys. Do I trust Hurst or Ebron and Eckler or Sanders? I'm saying Sanders over Eckler this week, but moving forward, it's going to be Eckler. How long is Gurley out? Guys, Todd Gurley's toast. He's toast. I mean, the concern about him going into the season is the knee going to hold up? And now it's that same injury. It's the knee injury. And I don't see him bouncing back from this injury. Hopefully he can, but I think he's toast. I don't think you can trust Todd Gurley in fantasy really for the rest of the season. AB or Crowder? Oh, Caden, you're going to make me choose between these two. I'd probably go Antonio Brown over Jameson, elite Crowder, but I love Jameson, elite Crowder this week. Eckler or James Robinson? Again, this week, James Robinson's probably going to have double the amount of touches as Eckler, so I'm okay going James Robinson. I'm okay going A.J. Brown over Eckler as well. Schuster or Corey Davis? I'd go Schuster. Mostert or Gallman? I'd probably go Mostert. And again, guys, you can answer all your start-sit questions on the WalterPicks app, on the iOS App Store. It uses machine learning to give you the most accurate projections possible. We also have a lineup optimizer that's going to help you dominate DFS, DraftKings, and FanDuel. We give away player prop picks each week that have had 68% accuracy, dating back to last year, over 200 picks. You got to go check those out in the WalterPicks app. Start the 3-day free trial today. It's 3 free days. You get all access to everything for the next 3 days, completely free. Hines or Godwin? I would go with Godwin over Hines. I would use the app, but you don't have it for Android. LOL. Yeah, it's coming soon, man. T 25 minutes to the player prop lock. Matt, let's go, man. T minus 25 minutes to the player prop lock. Yeah, we got 25 minutes. And we will be talking about the free player prop pick of the week, which we've got 9 out of 11 on our free player prop picks that we've given away this season. Absolutely insane. Over 80% accuracy on the free prop picks. I give away my most favorite prop pick every single season. Yang Gang. Yeah, I actually got this hat before I saw the Yang Gang hats, but I do like Andrew Yang. Love your hard work. Thanks, man. Chase Edmonds or Benny Snell? I'd probably go Edmonds over Snell. I'd go Robbie Anderson over Allen Robinson. I'd go Fournette over Lazard. I'd go AB over Hilton and Shepard, Ozzy. Pittman, Fulgham, or Hinton. Oh, God. I'd go Pittman. I'd go Pittman over both of them. Herbert or Allen. A-Rob or Deontay. I'd go Herbert, and I'd go Allen Robinson. I'm okay trusting Ebron at tight end. Does the WalterPicks app link to Yahoo? DJ, not yet. It's a feature that we're going to be looking into for next season, but it does not link to Yahoo or ESPN yet. Hey, wondering if the Pats are your favorite team. They are. They are my favorite team, and I think they're going to get destroyed by the Cardinals today. But they are my favorite team. I've been a Pats fan for my whole life. Bernard or Hill? I'd lean Hill. Are you ranking Allen Robinson low this week? Yeah. I mean, you got to rank him somewhat low. He's up against the top corner that he's playing against this week. He's going to be going up against Alexander, but you still can project him for 10 plus targets, so you can't rank him too low. I know from Massachusetts too. Lived here my entire life. Nice, man. Massachusetts, where it's at. Julio or Cooper Kupp? I would lean towards Cooper Kupp. I don't think Julio is playing. Tough spot with COVID. Chenault, Davis, Judy, pick 2. Yeah, you can't start Judy. You just can't start him this week with the quarterback situation, so you got to go Chenault and Davis. Snell or Breida? I'd go Snell. Gaskin versus Chubb. Is Gaskin playing? I thought he wasn't playing. I'd definitely go Chubb either way. Monsters or Pittman? Who's Monsters? I'm assuming you meant Mostert, maybe. If it's Mostert, I'd probably go him over Pittman. Do you think Hinton can actually do well? I've seen crazier things, Ozzy. I've seen crazier things, but this is one of the craziest situations we've seen in the NFL in my lifetime. We're seeing a practice squad wide receiver start at quarterback for the Denver Broncos. That is Kendall Hinton, who played less than a season of quarterback at Wake Forest before transitioning to wide receiver. So probably not going to do very well, would be my prediction. But he does have upside in fantasy because you can start him at your wide receiver spot. Kupp, Aguilar, or Pittman? I would be going with Kupp and Aguilar there. So Chris Carson is healed, but James Conner decided to get COVID-19. Yeah, he decided. I don't think that's quite how it works. And now I have to start Leonard Fournette again. Yep, that's how it goes, man. That's 2020 for you. Mostert or Mike Davis? I would probably be going Mike Davis over Mostert. I feel like people have kind of forgot of the upside that Mike Davis possesses. Mike Davis, guys, still filling in for that Christian McCaffrey role, and Teddy Bridgewater is back. I think Davis is going to be a top 15 running back. Fitzmagic or Big Ben? I'm going Ryan Fitzmagic. Sadly, it comes to these tight ends, Jimmy Graham or Tyler Eifert. Oh, Nick, this is what the tight end position has been, man. I would probably go with Tyler Eifert over Jimmy Graham. Yeah, I do think Fulgham has a chance to bounce back. I definitely think he does. Appreciate it, Walter. Ozzy, my name's actually Sam. The algorithm I built, his name is Walter. Classic mistake, man. No worries. Hopefully your Week 12 bold predictions of Shepard going for 100-plus yards is true. Yeah, I think he has more chance at over 100 yards than people realize. Guys, if you're watching live on TikTok, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is where it is at. My goal this morning was to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We're about halfway towards that goal and about halfway through the stream, so we are on pace to have a chance to do it. Go hit that subscribe button. It's linked in our TikTok, in our link tree, or if you hit that Instagram button on our TikTok account, you can get there in 2 seconds. Go hit that subscribe button. Really helps us out a ton. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that like button. Really do appreciate that. We got 53 people watching live on YouTube. We got 150 people watching live on TikTok. I appreciate every single one of you. Good morning. Happy Week 12 of the NFL. I am pumped for Week 12 of the NFL. I don't know about you guys. This has been one of the craziest 24 hours of news for the NFL this close to games that I've ever experienced. But I'm still very excited to watch some football today. Please, Sam, Robert Woods or Wayne Gallman? I would be going Wayne Gallman over Robert Woods. Will Gaskin be a good fantasy option when he gets off injury? Chancellor, I'm not so sure. I don't know if he's the type of player who's just going to be given his role back. If he is, he was playing really well, then yes, I think he's going to be a running back too. Do you watch on Red Zone? Yeah, I do. The guy I played started Swift. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I do watch Red Zone. I also watch the Pats game at the same time. I always have two monitors going at once. I watch Red Zone and I watch the Pats game both without sound because I can't stand those announcers. Do you trust Miles Sanders this week? Julian, trust would be a strong word. I don't think I would use that word trust, but I do think Miles Sanders still has top 12 workload in the NFL. He still is a top 10 talent running back in the NFL. So yeah, I think you can trust him this week as much as we can trust anyone on the Eagles offense. Jefferson or Woods, full PPR. For sure, Jefferson. Guys, you got to be starting Justin Jefferson this week. Adam Thielen is not playing, and that makes Justin Jefferson, he has got a realistic chance for 10-plus targets. Justin Jefferson, by the way, leading the NFL in yards per target, leading the NFL in yards per route run. Justin Jefferson, we're coming out with our top 10 positional rankings. Hopefully this week. I've been saying it for a while, but I'm hoping to get them out this week. Hopefully I can do some of that this week. In the wide receiver rankings, guys, a little teaser. Justin Jefferson's going to be in our top 10 wide receivers this season. He's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, and that makes him very startable. And Carter, we don't need to spam on YouTube, man. I'll get to your question. I promise. I will get to your question. But it makes it hard for other people to enjoy the YouTube experience when you're spamming. So I appreciate that if you do not. if you do not spam. Pittman, Boyd, or Parker. That's one of the good things about YouTube. Guys, we're live on YouTube and TikTok right now. If you're getting frustrated with the spamming on TikTok, just head over to our YouTube live. We're live there as well. Hit that like button if you're watching live on YouTube. Helps us out a ton. Just 2 seconds. I was the 69th like. Nice. Ryan Fitzpatrick or Taysom Hill? I'd go Fitzmagic over Taysom Hill this week. Fitzmagic to me is one of the best sleeper quarterbacks. Shepard or Harris? I'd go Shepard. CEH or Mike Williams? I'd go Mike Williams. Start 2, James White, Hines, Wilkins, Bernard, Hill, full PPR. I would probably be going, is there a YouTube video today? Julian, no YouTube video yet today, but we're live, man, so hopefully that's enough for you. Hines or Kirk? I'd go with, it's a close one. I'd probably go with Hines over Kirk. Both of them have intriguing upside this week, though. Would you play Beasley over any of these receivers? A.J. Brown, A-Rob, or Lockett? The only one I would consider there is A.J. Brown, but I don't think you can do it. Do you still teach algebra? Yeah, I teach algebra. I teach Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and statistics. That is my full-time job. So I basically work around 90 hours a week because I have two full-time jobs. I don't know how my girlfriend hasn't killed me yet. Eckler or Jacobs? I would go with Josh Jacobs over Austin Eckler this week. Brian Hill or Pittman at flex? I would go with Pittman over Brian Hill. Crowder or Juju? Definitely Crowder, guys. Jameson Elite Crowder is going to have a huge bounce back week. I'm pumped for Jameson Elite Crowder's bounce back week. I don't know about all of you, but Sam Darnold's return is great news for Jameson Crowder. They played 2 games together this season. Jameson Crowder has gone over 100 yards in both of them. The last time Crowder played the Dolphins, he had 13 targets. Pick 2, Ridley, Hinton, D-Hop. Definitely Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. Blam, let's not overthink this. Do not start a practice squad wide receiver over Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. Let's be rational here. Both DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley, regardless of matchup, have top 5 wide receiver upside every single week. That is not something Kendall Hinton possesses. So do not start Hinton over either of those guys. Eckler or Hill? Definitely, I'd go Eckler over Hill. Can't believe it's week 12 already. I know, Zach, the season always flies by, man. What game will be the most exciting this week? It's got to be the Chiefs and the Bucs, man. I hope the Bucs can keep it close. One of my bold predictions of the week is that the Bucs beat the Chiefs, and to me, that's the most exciting game of the week because sneakily, I think it could be a preview of the Super Bowl this season. Wouldn't that be cool? This could be a preview of the Super Bowl, and to me, that's one of the most exciting games of the week. Another game that I think we're all gonna quietly enjoy, but like we probably shouldn't speak it out loud, is the Saints versus the Denver Broncos game. We're seeing a practice squad wide receiver go up against the New Orleans Saints as a starting quarterback. I mean, that game is going to be crazy. Just put 1,000 on the Broncos money line. Did I just lose 1,000, or am I going to have to figure out what new car to get? DJ Ice, man, I hope you're kidding. Or if you really do have that expendable income, man, that's going to be a fun time. 1,000 for those watching at home. If you bet $1,000 on the money line for the Denver Broncos, you would win $8,000. So I'm rooting for you, man. If you're going to get a new car, though, I think you might need a little bit more than $8,000. DJ Moore or Kendall Hinton? I'd go DJ Moore. Jefferson or DJ Moore? Definitely Justin Jefferson, man. Fournette, Harris, Higgins. Pick 2. I'd go the first 2. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust AJ Green. I don't trust Tyler Boyd. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard, given the offensive situation for the Bengals without Joe Burrow. I just can't trust him. And guys, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, you got to go hit that subscribe button. My goal this morning was to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We're about halfway to that goal, about halfway through the stream. I've been going since 9 a.m. I'll be here till 12:55, and I hope that we can pass that goal, man. I hate missing those goals by just a little bit. So if you can help us hit that 1,500 YouTube mark, definitely help us get there. You can find it linked in our TikTok account. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, guys, thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the slightly less spammy YouTube chat. And hit that like button really quickly. It takes 2 seconds. Hit that like button on the YouTube live. Helps us out a ton. Crowder or Parker or Kupp? I would go Jameson Elite Crowder over both those guys. Is Eckler worth a start? Here's the situation with Austin Eckler. One of my favorite players in the NFL, has been one of the most underrated running backs since he entered the league. And Austin Eckler is probably going to see between 10 and 15 touches today. Over 80 on YouTube now. Let's go, DJ. Yeah, we're at 92 likes, 80 people watching live on YouTube. Appreciate every single one of you. And here's the thing with Austin Eckler. He's going to see between 10 and 15 touches. I think that, Ravi, good to see you back, man. I think that Austin Eckler with 10 to 15 touches can get between 10 and 15 fantasy points. That's how efficient Austin Eckler. So yeah, he's worth considering starting. Obviously, there's two sides to every start-sit decision, so you got to think about who you're starting him over. But guys, you can answer all your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. Math teacher, I'm a middle school math teacher. Good for you, and hope you are staying safe. Thanks, man. Anthony, hope you're staying safe as well, and hope you're doing okay in this crazy school year that we're having. Do you think I should start Gaskin or Mostert? Anthony, personally, I honestly don't think Gaskin's playing today. So it's actually a pretty easy one, Anthony. I'd go Mostert. Hopefully Gaskin's back next week. So I'd go Mostert. And I'm excited to see Mostert back this week, man. And again, good luck with your students. Michael Pittman or Mike Evans? I would go Pittman. Oh, why did I say that one so quick? I'm always so down on Mike Evans. I would go Pittman. I imagine our projections say Mike Evans, though. So it's up to you, man. I think Mike Evans has an extremely low floor in this offense, and if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's probably scoring under 6 fantasy points. What are those DFS lineups looking like, Sam? Yeah, Marcus, let me run through my DraftKings strategy today, because I do have a lot of money risked on DraftKings this week. I've been primarily focused on DraftKings over FanDuel, though our DFS lineup optimizer in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store does have the ability to work on FanDuel and DraftKings with our machine learning projections that have been more accurate than any other projections on the planet over the last 2 years. But here's my DraftKings strategy for the week. I think that Ryan Fitzmagic stacked with Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki in DFS, it just makes too much sense at their current price. We passed 100 likes on YouTube. Let's go. At their current prices, you can fit in Dalvin Cook and one of Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt if you're stacking Ryan Fitzmagic, Mike Gesicki, and Devontae Parker against a horrible Jets defense. And the good thing about the Miami Dolphins is we have a very good idea of what their target distribution is going to look like. We can pretty accurately expect Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki to account for over 50% of Ryan Fitzmagic's targets today, and that is a very good thing for DFS. They could all combine. Like, we could see 3 touchdowns between Gesicki and Devontae Parker today. If that happens, I'm going to be absolutely cashing in. Then you can slide in Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb, who to me, both those guys, there's not any 2 running backs this week that have nearly the same amount of upside. I think that the Cleveland Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are without like their top 7 cornerbacks. I think that spread 7.5. I think it should be closer to 10 or 14. I think that Nick Chubb is going to go over 100 yards again. Could have multiple touchdowns. I also love stacking Jamison, Elite Crowder with those Dolphins players because Crowder with Donald back probably going to go over 100 yards. He's gone over 100 yards every single game that Donald has played this season. Pick 2, Fulgham, Evans, or Beasley. That's kind of my logic behind DFS this week. I also think one of the best sleepers of the week on DFS is Andy Isabella. Is your app free? It's not fully free. It's free to download. It's free to test out. We do give a 3-day free trial. But if you want all the premium features, you are going to have to pay. Right now, we got a Black Friday sale going on. It's only $3.33 a month. So come on, hit that premium subscription on the WalterPicks app. Helps us out a ton. And if you subscribe annually, it's gonna include the whole 365 days of the year. So you'll get it for the drafts for next season and all the way up to week 12 of next season if you subscribe for the year. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, but can you please pick between Rojo and Godwin? Yeah, I'd go Godwin, Carter. Hey, Sam, I'd love to meet you one day. You seem like a nice guy. Thanks, man. What's your favorite player prop out of your 4 on the app? Julian, I'm going to be giving away the free player prop pick of the week, and it's going to be one of those 4. So don't spoil it for everyone else. But in 9 minutes, we'll be giving away the free player prop pick of the week, and that's why you see a lot of people tuning in, because we're 9 for 11 with my most confident prop pick of the week, and I'll be sharing that with you all on the week. Yeah, we have 4 exploitable player prop picks identified on the WalterPicks app this week. Thank you so much. You were awesome. Thanks, Carter. Debo or Claypool? Since the Steelers game is in jeopardy, I think the Steelers game is happening. The Steelers game is going to happen. I'm pretty confident that the game is going to happen. Obviously, things are a fluid situation, but the NFL seems very adamant on making that happen. So I do think the game is going to happen, as we're seeing with the Denver Broncos this week. But I do think Claypool over Debo is a good choice. Matt Taz, how's it going, man? Hope you're having a good morning. You too, Matt. Matt, we're live on YouTube now, too, so you got to go check that out. Matt, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, you got to go hit that subscribe button. I set the goal this morning, Matt, at 4:30 in the morning when I woke up, finishing my research, to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers, man. Matt, you remember when I had a podcast and it was getting like 30 views a week? Look where we are now, man. It's amazing what can happen. Hopefully we can hit that goal before the 1 o'clock games. What are you betting on this week? Matt, you're on I think you said 9 for 11 streak on betting right now. Let me know what you're going on today. I'm here from TikTok. Nice, Sebastian. Thanks, man. Hit that like button. If you're here watching live on YouTube, definitely hit that like button. We got 85 people watching live on YouTube, which is fantastic. Hey, Sam. Oh, I like the trading question. CB Fishing, you're an OG follower, man. I appreciate you. Traded Jacobs, Juju, Higgins for Eckler and A.J. Brown. Love it. Start Gesicki or Ingram. I'd start Gesicki over Ingram. Jacoby Myers this week. Love Myers. Hey, Sam, Eckler or Hines? I'd go Hines this week. Eckler moving forward, though. Just subscribe. You're a great content creator. Much respect. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Would you start Brian Hill or Wilkins over Beasley or Antonio Brown? No, wouldn't start either of them over those two guys. Player prop. Yeah, we're coming out. The free player prop pick of the week. It's coming out at 11 o'clock. And you'll see, guys, in the comments, you'll see more and more people asking for the player props because we've got 9 for 11 giving away free player prop picks. It's been a great player prop pick season. We're over 68% accuracy. Our premium subscribers, it's funny. People are complaining that you got to pay $3.33 a month for the WalterPicks app. Meanwhile, we got people winning hundreds of dollars for their player prop accuracy. And guys, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store, you got to go check it out. We've had almost 1,000 5-star reviews on the iOS App Store. Very exciting. Premium sub. Do I start Travis Fulgham? Nope, probably not. Dallas Goedert or Jimmy Graham? It's Goedert. It's not even close. How do you feel about the Dolphins defense? I love them. Thoughts on Gibson rest of season? Yeah, he's a running back 1. Mayfield worth starting? Yeah, the Jaguars are literally without all of their starting cornerbacks. Claypool or Deontay? I go Deontay. Over 25% target share in almost every game that he's played. You're more elite than Jameson Crowder. Oh, come on. Let's not be crazy here. We know Jameson Lee Crowder is the elite one, and we're going to see him bounce back this week, guys. I can't wait for the bounce back of Jameson Lee Crowder game. It's been overdue, and it's been very impressive. Jameson Elite Crowder continuing to be elite in multiple games with Joe Flacco. And Jameson Elite Crowder, let me do my quick. Do you still have a podcast? No, but I will be guesting on a bunch of podcasts coming up soon, so I'm looking forward to doing that. If you ever want me as a guest on your podcast, shoot us an email. You can find the email in the iOS App Store on the WalterPicks app. I'd be happy to guest on your podcast. I don't think I've ever said no to guesting on a podcast. Fun fact. We'll see if that continues. But the fact that Jameson Elite Crowder has continued, I thought the fact that Jameson Elite Crowder has continued to be elite, despite being in such close proximity to Adam Gase, very few players in the history of the NFL have had consistent success in close proximity, like within a 2-mile radius of Adam Gase. It's very hard to be a good NFL player. But Jameson Elite Crowder has persevered, and now he gets Sam Darnold back after a bad week last week. Jameson Elite Crowder is going to be bouncing back. Julian Nichols, I made $150 in your player props on Thursday. Yeah, we went 2 for 2 on Thanksgiving. And people are complaining about $3 a month. Yeah, Julian, that's just how it be, man. That is just how it is. And Keel Harry playing today. Yeah, he is. He is playing today. I'm actually wearing his jersey right now. Hopefully he has a good game, but I do think Jacoby Myers is the best bet in that offense. Fitzmagic or Brady? I'd argue that Brady has more upside. Fitzmagic has the safer floor. Hey, Sam, do you like Fitz or Brady this week? Yeah. Wow, Peter and Blam, you might be managing the same team. Same question, back to back. I would say Brady has more upside. My upset pick of the week is Brady to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And if that happens, I think we're all going to be talking about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks as legit Super Bowl contenders. This could be sneakily a preview of the Super Bowl. That's my bold prediction of the week. But I do think Ryan Fitzmagic is a great option against the Jets as well. So I'd argue Brady has more upside. Fitz is the safer option. And I would go Ebron over Hurst. Crowder or Parker? I'd go Crowder over Parker. First-time viewer, fellow teacher as well. Leslie, good to see you. Yeah, thank you for joining, man. I hope your school year is going okay in this wild school year that we're having. Honestly, in terms of, I'll stop talking about school in 2 seconds because I know it bores most people, Leslie, but the school year has honestly been better than I expected. It has gone better than I expected, and the students have been persevering. You know how hard it is to learn math online. I mean, very impressive what I've seen from my students. What do you think of Cam Newton since you're a Pats fan? Yeah, Zach, Cam Newton, I think has gotten too much. Nice, you too. That makes me happy. The Cam Newton has gotten too much of the brunt of criticism from Pats fans. Honestly, it's a little frustrating. I feel like I disagree with the media a lot on what goes on in terms of what they talk about for the New England Patriots. Cam Newton has not been great. I was hoping he would be better, but he has been willing to run the ball a lot, and that's really what I was hoping for going into the season. The big story for me is just how bad the defense has been for the Patriots, and they obviously had a lot of opt-outs, a bunch of injuries, which has not helped them, but if their defense cannot step it up, they've had a bottom 10 defense in the NFL in terms of points scored, points allowed, yards allowed. I mean, they have not been good. So Cam Newton's he has not looked good passing the ball. I think this is going to be his only season for the Pats. I think the outlook of the future right now for the Pats is bleak. Do I start Claypool or DeAndre Hopkins? Definitely DeAndre Hopkins. His stats have been weak, but if you watch him play, he doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, Matt, he's honestly better than people are talking about him. Guys, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, I've spent over 300 hours. Honestly, I think we passed the 400-hour mark. I've kind of stopped tracking. But 400 hours of my time has gone into building this WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. So definitely go check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. And if you're watching live on TikTok right now, I set a goal for myself this morning to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. You can help us hit that goal. Find our YouTube channel in our TikTok account and go subscribe. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, I appreciate you very much. Hit that like button if you haven't hit that like button yet. Which free agent QB do you put to replace Lamar? Jeff, go see if Ryan Fitzmagic or Derek Carr are available. Both of those are available. Both of those guys are really good options. Dylan, help me. Dylan, what do you need help with, man? Yo, good morning, Sam. Good morning, Kevo. What do you think about Hinton at QB? Yeah, guys, we're going to see a practice squad wide receiver starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos today. To me, if you can start him at wide receiver on every platform except for ESPN, he does have upside. But that being said, he definitely has an extremely low floor. There's a chance the Denver Broncos scores 0 points today. Arjun Baller, I'm so glad I drafted Travis Kelce. Yeah, Kelce's literally been the only consistent tight end this entire season. Sam, I've been waiting a while. Jake, thanks for sticking around, man. Julio, AB, or Deontay Johnson, especially if Julio doesn't play. Yeah, I don't think Julio is going to play, so I would go Antonio Brown there. Antonio Brown saw 13 targets last game. Very encouraging for Antonio Brown. My guy, how's it going, man? I'm a little nervous. Do I start Saints D or Steelers D? Why are you nervous? The Saints defense is the highest projected points that we've had this entire season. And Jake, I know you got it. I know you want to know if you should start Josh Reynolds or Jalen Reagor, but spamming the chat is not the way to get to your answer. Because we have a lot of people watching live, and I don't want the spammers to send people away. And one of the best things about watching live on YouTube is that the chat isn't as spammy. It's one of my favorite things about YouTube. But to help you out, man, I would start Jalen Reagor. Evans or Fulgham? I would go Evans. Reagor, I got you, bro. Yeah, Josh is always helping in the chat. I gave you 5 stars. Will Soley, good to see you. And Will, I just tossed you a follow, Will. Thanks for being one of the OG followers. You're long overdue for a follow. Start Tonyan, Graham, or Font at tight end. Also Brian Hill, Fulgham, or AB. Will Sully, you're in a tough spot, man. I would probably go with Tonyan, and I'd probably go with Antonio Brown. Deontay or Robert Woods, I would go with Deontay Johnson. Pittman or Reagor this week? Pittman, player prop. Yes, it's 11 o'clock, Michael, and it's time for the free player prop pick of the week. What's the weather like in Miami versus Jets? Sam, I haven't seen anything bad about the weather. It's time for the free player prop pick of the week. And I'll be saying it a lot leading up to the 1 o'clock games, but I could not be more excited about the free player prop pick of the week this week. It is one of my favorite players. It's someone we've already talked about a lot, and it's the prop I'm most confident in today. And I was so pumped when I saw Walter spit out this player prop. I don't pick the player props. I use an artificially intelligent algorithm that identifies the most exploitable player props based on what it is projecting. It's had 68% accuracy over the last 2 years and over 200 picks. And and then for the free player prop pick, I just picked the one I'm most confident in. That has been 9 out of 11. $10, it's either Myers or Jefferson. My player prop pick of the week, $10 is that was the incorrect pick. The player prop pick of the week, guys. And I'm pulling it up to see what the updated line is, because I want to give you guys the updated line. Because most of the player prop picks we identified, they do see some line movement. This one has appeared not to move. The free player prop pick of the week, guys. It is Jamison Elite Crowder over 55 receiving yards. They set this line at 55, and he has gone over 100 yards. Jamison Elite Crowder has gone over 100 yards in both the games that Sam Darnold has played. He saw 13 targets last time he played against the Miami Dolphins. Jamison Elite Crowder, for sure, going over 55 receiving yards today. You thought it was going to be, well, Jamison Elite Crowder, guys, that is the free prop pick of the week. He is going over 55 receiving yards. Lock it in. I'm going to be so pumped during the bounce back game for Jamison Elite Crowder. That is the free player prop pick of the week. Let's go. Jamison Elite Crowder is back. I'm pumped for it, guys. Jamison Elite Crowder. Let's go, Sam. Yeah, I'm pumped. I got to get myself a Jamison Elite Crowder jersey today. If he hits his prop, guys, I'm getting the Jamison Crowder jersey. It's long overdue, and he'll be paying for it himself when he hits the prop today. And some, if he hits the prop. I got a lot on Jamison Crowder today. Also, love your app. Should I play Chase Claypool or Cole Beasley? I would probably go with Cole Beasley over Claypool and love your app. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Where does it show the lock on the prob? What? Marcus, you got to be a little bit more clear there. Do I start Austin Eckler or Justin Jefferson? Definitely Justin Jefferson. Jacoby or Brown? I'd go Jacoby. Hinton, AB, or Debo Samuel? Thank you. Enjoy football today, man. Yeah, Crane Dog 3. You too, man. I'd go AB. Start Deontay Johnson. Yes. Hey, Sam, I subscribed. Thanks, man. Michael Pittman or Antonio Brown or Ronald Jones? I'd go Antonio Brown. I bought the yearly subscription for the WalterPicks app. It's been really helpful this year. Thanks. I'm glad it's been helpful for you. Do you think I start Taysom Hill, Cam, or Ryan Fitzpatrick? Yeah. Do something. First of all, thanks for subscribing to the WalterPicks app. If you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store yet, you got to check it out. I've spent over 400 hours building this app. It helps you with all your start-sit decisions. It helps you dominate DraftKings and FanDuel. It gives you exploitable player prop picks. We got 4 today. One of them is Jameson Lee Crowder, over 55 receiving yards. And that's a tough choice. Hill, Cam, or Fitzpatrick. I'd probably lean towards Cam Newton in a game where they're going to have to try to keep up with Kyler Murray, but all 3 of those guys honestly should have a pretty good chance to go over 20 fantasy points. What are your thoughts on Gus Edwards and Benny Snell? Are they flex starts? Yeah, I'd be starting both of them over Jerry Jeudy. I don't think you can start Jerry Jeudy. I don't think you can start Noah Fant this week. LaVisca or the Broncos wide receiver who's supposed to play quarterback? Jordan, this is where we're at, man. Marcus, yeah, my bad. Never mind, stupid question. Don't worry, Marcus. Where do I go for the player prop pick? Leslie, if you want to bet on the prop pick, depending on where you're located, DraftKings, FanDuel, or MGM Sportsbook is a good place to go. LaVisca or Broncos wide receiver, Jordan. This is where we're at. We're thinking about a practice squad wide receiver starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos or Laviska Shenault. And I think that Hinton has more upside than Laviska Shenault, but he probably has a lower floor as well. So if you want to take a risk, man, and you want to enjoy one of the most strange NFL games we will ever witness in our lifetime, then go with him. Then ride with Hinton. I think that's one of those situations where I'm okay with starting Hinton over a guy like Laviska Shenault. I've been waiting a long time. Alan, thanks for sticking around, man. Pick 3, Lockett, Fulgham, Claypool, Aguilar, or Kendall Hinton. I'd go Lockett, Claypool, and Aguilar there. Think I should start Crowder or Robbie Anderson today? Oh, that's a close one. I'd probably still go Robbie Anderson, but again, Jameson Elite Crowder, he's the free player prop pick of the day. He's going over 55 receiving yards, and I don't understand why this line was set. I understand why it was set here, but I think it was a bad move by the sports books today. 55 for Jameson Elite Crowder. He could very easily clear this in the first half. Lore, you got to keep reminding me, man. Thanks. Kyle Rudolph or Noah Fant. I'd go Rudolph. Noah Fant and Jerry Jeudy, they got to be on your bench this week. Myers or Harris at flex. I'd go Myers. Brian Hill or Tyler Boyd at flex. I'd probably go Brian Hill. What do you think of Jarvis Landry against Jags cornerbacks? Yeah, I like him. What's up, homie? Daddy Patty, how's it going, man? Fant or Hurst? I'd probably go Hurst over Fant. I can't trust Fant at all. WalterPicks says Jacoby Myers over Curtis Samuel. Sam, do you agree? Oh, man, that's a close one. We're probably too low on Curtis Samuel in the app if that's the case, but I do like Jacoby Myers this week as well. I would probably go Curtis Samuel, though, over him. I disagree with the app on that one. And again, I have a bad record choosing against the app, so I would probably stick with what the app says if I was you. But personally, I would be starting Curtis Samuel over Jacoby Myers. And we have Curtis Samuel projected for, looks like 12 points in the app. Cup or Crowder? I'd go Jameson Lee Crowder today. Claypool, Fulgham, Boyd, Shepard, Pittman, Tommy, is this the same Tommy that started Kerryon Johnson on Thanksgiving? I would go with Claypool, and I'd probably go with Claypool and Shepard there. I thought the prop was going to be on the one that you posted on Twitter. Shh. Yeah, there's a free. No, just kidding. There's a free player prop pick on Twitter as well. If you go follow our Twitter account at WalterPicks app, you can also follow me on Twitter at WalterPicks CEO. There's always a free player prop pick given away on Twitter as well, different than the Jameson Elite Crowder one. So go check Twitter out if you want to find that. Debo, Crowder, or Myers in DFS. I would be going with Jameson Elite Crowder in DFS, Zach, but I also do like Jacoby Myers a lot. I have both of them in a lot of my DFS lineups. Everyone follow the Twitter. Yeah, go follow our Twitter at WalterPicks app on Twitter at WalterPicks app, or you can follow me on Twitter at WalterPicks CEO. We've been posting some really good content on Twitter recently. Start one premium sub, Fulgham, Pittman, or Snell. Oh, yikes, man. Mike Carp. I appreciate you. You've been a premium sub since I think for a while now, and that's a tough decision. I'd probably lean Pittman out of those three guys, though. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you got to hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds, helps us out a ton. I set a goal for myself this morning to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. Every single one of you can help us do that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All of you can collectively help us do that, and I would really appreciate it. I set that goal 4:30 this morning when I woke up, finishing up my research for the NFL. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and let me know that you did that in the comments. I'll try to get to your questions. Gabriel, don't hate on Jameson and Lee Crowder. Yeah, come on, get that Jameson and Lee Crowder hate out of the comments. Snell, Crowder, or Curtis Samuel. I'd rank them as Crowder, then Samuel, then Snell. How many subs have you gained today? Zach, we started at 1,150, and I believe we passed, I think we're like 300 away-ish now. I think we've gained around 100 today. Thoughts on DK Metcalf? Yeah, Metcalf or Lockett. One of them scoring a touchdown. One of them is going over 100 yards. I think both need to be in your lineups. Just subscribe. Thanks, Daniel. Thoughts on Fulgham for the rest of the year? I think he has a chance to bounce back, but he definitely has more risk than we were hoping for. Debo, Rojo, Jordan Wilkins. Pick one. I'd probably lean towards Jordan Wilkins there. Question number 2, Beasley, Shepard, Pittman. I'd probably go Beasley. Thoughts on Eckler? Yes, Eckler's back, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Austin Eckler, one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. He's been extremely underrated since he entered the league. Led all running backs last year in yards per touch. Yards per touch of the football. Over 6 yards last year for Austin Eckler. I think he's going to see 10 to 15 touches today, which to me does mean he's going to get between 10 and 15 fantasy points, which makes him startable. Hey, Sam, thank you for all the great advice. No problem, man. Appreciate it. And if you aren't subscribed on YouTube yet, hit that sub, man. And Reese Scott, I'm going to get to your question. I would definitely be going Stephon Diggs there, but try not to spam the chat. One of the best parts of the YouTube chat is that it's not so spammy. Just like to stream and subscribe. Thanks, man. Would you rather start Fant or Eifert? Eifert. I don't think you can trust Fant or Jerry Jeudy really at all. Start Dalvin Cook? Yeah, of course. You got to start Dalvin Cook. He's a top 3 running back option this week. Diggs, guys. Get Diggs in your lineups. Get him in your DFS lineups. Get him in your season-long lineups. Without John Brown, Stephon Diggs probably going over 100 yards today. I'm a new sub from last week. Sahil, good to see you, man. AB, Boyd, or Pittman, or even Moss. I'd go AB at flex there. Hey, Sam, Packers or Steelers D? I'm scared the Steelers game getting canceled. No, all signs are pointing towards the Steelers games happening. So I'm okay tossing out the Steelers defense. And they're going to be against a bad offense. RG3 starting at quarterback. Mark Andrews out. Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins out. You should make a Discord, bro. Jadon, we're thinking about it. We'll see. That could be an off-season move. No problem, man. Crowder, Drake, B. Hill, Eckler, Kirk. Pick one. I'd go Jameson and Lee Crowder there, man. By the way, free player prop pick of the week. If you missed it, Jameson and Lee Crowder for sure going over 55 receiving yards today. Do you think I should play the Browns D or Seahawks D? I like Browns D a lot. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. And guys, I'm going to take a 10-second breath. While I'm taking this 10-second breath, if you haven't yet, you got to hit subscribe on YouTube. Hit that like button if you're watching live on YouTube. If you have not downloaded the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, I've spent over 400 hours building this app, over 3+ years building an algorithm that's been more accurate than ESPN and Yahoo and any other projections you use. So go download that app if you haven't yet. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I've been going hard since 9 a.m. We're going to be going till 12:55. Your passion shows, bro. Most DFS guys look like bored drones. Yeah, I do grind Excel and the code as much as those boring drones that you're speaking of. They do some good work too, not to knock anyone, but yeah, I definitely am always very excited on Sundays because Sundays are my favorite day of the week. There's nothing better than just sitting back. I'm working like 80 to 90 hour weeks because I work full time as a teacher. So Sundays are the best. It's like the 6 hours that I'm not working and just get to sit back and watch football. I do work, from 4:30 a.m. till about 1 p.m. But the 6 hours, the 6 to 7 hours that football is on is the best time of the week, man. So I'm pumped to watch. And I'm pumped for some DFS. My Ryan Fitzmagic, Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker stacks, they could win me 6 figures today on DFS. I hope that comes true. I was watching on TikTok and just switched over to YouTube to hit that subscribe button. Thanks, man. Let's get it today, Walter. Yeah, let's go. My name's actually Sam. I built an algorithm named Walter, but that's okay. It's a classic mistake, and I'm okay with it. I named the brand after Walter, who's the artificially intelligent algorithm that has more accurate projections than any other projections on the planet. So I appreciate that. G Money, thank you, man. Williams or Corey Davis? I'd probably go Williams. How do you feel about Hinton. Yeah, let's talk about Hinton again. He's the practice squad wide receiver starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos. To me, we have him ranked around a guy like Laviska Shenault, who I'm willing to start Hinton over a guy like Shenault because Hinton's going to be probably throwing at least 10 passing attempts. That being said, the Denver Broncos have a pretty good chance to score 0 points today, very within the range of outcomes for the Broncos. So he has a really low floor, but he does have an intriguing upside for the sites where you can start him at wide receiver. Sorry. Brian Hill or Jamison Elite Crowder? Definitely Jamison Elite Crowder for sure. And if you missed the free player prop pick of the week, Jamison Elite Crowder, he's going over 55 receiving yards today. Great option in DFS. I'm stacking Crowder in that Dolphins lineup. My core of DraftKings today in tournaments, I'm going with the Ryan Fitzmagic, Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker stack because they have a very consolidated target group there. Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki probably going over 50% of the target share. And then you can stack Jamison Elite Crowder against them at a pretty low price, which gives you enough salary left over to stuff in Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb, who have more upside than anyone on the DFS slate at the running back position this week. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Zach, it's gotta be the mashed potatoes, man. They make everything, the good, nice, buttery, salty mashed potatoes. Johnny Katz, should I trade for Kenny? Thoughts for rest of the year? Yeah, I would be okay trading for Kenny. Deontay Johnson, what about him? Still champs. Deontay Johnson or Robert Woods? I'd go Deontay. Is Eckler not getting a full workload? Jackson, probably not. But all he needs is 10 to 15 touches to get 10 to 15 fantasy points. So you can still start him. But I wouldn't be starting him over guys like A.J. Brown or Deontay Johnson. Sub 43 on YouTube. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's a tough choice. You got a tough choice there. I would probably be going with Jamison Elite Crowder over Deontay Johnson and A.J. Brown. But it's tough, man. And that's also an emotional choice for me, too. I think A.J. Brown has the most upside of all of those guys. I don't think you can shy away too much from A.J. Brown, even against the Colts defense that's already stopped him once this season. Eckler or Gallman? Definitely Eckler. Saints D, definitely. Yeah, Saints D is by far the best defense this week. Hey, Sam, who should I start? Corey Davis, Jacoby Myers, or Wayne Gallman? I'd go Jacoby Myers out of all of those guys. Allen Robinson or MT? I'd go MT. I'd go Ryan Fitzmagic over Taysom Hill, but it's close. I'd go Jamison Elite Crowder, Nico, over Allen Robinson. I would go with Miles Sanders, probably over Deontay Johnson and Raheem. Cam or Taysom is close. I think you could argue Taysom Hill is the safer option there, but I think Cam Newton has a higher ceiling. Very, very bold prediction. Hinton over 200 yards and 3 TDs. Love it. I love it, man. I hope that comes true. That would be what a story that would be. That would be really exciting. Can you imagine Hinton starts his QB career like this? Brian Hill or Bernard? I would probably go with Brian Hill over Bernard. Hey, Sam, pick one. Crowder, Myers, AB. Or Pittman. It's either Crowder or AB for me. I'd probably lean Antonio Brown for the upside, but Crowder's got to be in the conversation. Sam, how confident are you in Eckler today? Landry, not as confident as I will be moving forward. I think Austin Eckler is going to be a top 5 running back in the fantasy football playoffs. This week, though, obviously he's got increased risk, and he's probably going to see 10 to 15 touches. To me, that puts him between 10 and 15 fantasy points. Carr or Fitz, 4-point TD pass. I'd probably go Carr over Fitz. Derek Carr is great, guys. He's going to go over 20 fantasy points against a Falcons defense that has allowed over 20 fantasy points to every quarterback except for one. Yeah, Giants defense over the Packers defense for sure. DJ Moore, AJ Brown. I'd go DJ Moore over AJ Brown this week. It's close, though. It is close. Hines or CEH. I'd go Hines. Sam, my bookie doesn't have the Crowder prop bet. You got to get a better bookie then, man. You got to get a better bookie. We also, though, we did give it a free player prop pick away on Twitter at WalterPicks app. It's a different prop than the Crowder one. So go there. Maybe he has that one available. Jordan Wilkins or Andy Isabella at flex. Yes, Wiley. Someone finally thinking about Andy Isabella, who's my favorite sleeper of the week. He's minimum priced on DraftKings. I have him in a bunch of lineups this week, but I still think that you should probably be playing. Who was it you were deciding between? With Andy. Sorry, I got so excited that when I saw Andy Isabella. That I missed who you were thinking about starting over him. So send that one again, and I'll let you know. Do you teach in high school or college? Zach, I teach high school, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Statistics. I started the season 0-4 on a 7-win streak. A win streak almost clinches me a playoff spot, and you had Gibson on Thursday. Let's go, man. I thought John Elway would come out of retirement. Guys, someone's got to give Trace McSorley a shot. I thought maybe there could be some move there with Trace McSorley. Will Crowder be getting more targets with Sam Darnold back? Yeah, Jackson, he probably will. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday mornings helping us. No problem, man. Sunday mornings, the best time of the week. Only better time of the week is right at 1 o'clock on Sunday when the football starts. But I love these Sunday mornings with all of you. Appreciate every single one of you that's tuned in. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you got to do that. Last thing I want to point you out to is in our link tree on TikTok. If you win using any of our advice, you can submit a video of your reaction to winning, and that could be featured on our TikTok or in our paid advertising. So if you have any content to submit to us about the success you've had with WalterPicks, submit your WalterPicks success story in the link tree on TikTok, and you could be featured on all of our social media channels. Definitely check that out if you've been winning with our advice. What's the free prop? It is Jamison Elite Crowder over 55 receiving yards when that one cashes, which it will. Almost definitely. We're 9 for 11 giving away free player prop picks. Obviously, nothing is 100% guaranteed. Only bet money that you are willing to lose and able to lose. But I do like Jamison Elite Crowder over 55 receiving yards today. And when that hits, you got to submit your success story in our link tree on TikTok about how you dominated with our player prop pick of Jamison Elite Crowder. You already played against Will Fuller and Washington football team defense. Yeah, your week's basically already over, man. Premium sub, DJ Moore or Crowder. I'd go Crowder. James White over David Montgomery. Yeah, I think you could argue James White over David Montgomery for sure, man. Ryan, I would do that one. Hopkins, Jefferson, or Diggs. Oh, man, all three of them are great. I'd probably go Diggs, though. Sam, on my DraftKings app, there isn't an option to bet on yards for Jamison. Another prop? Ooh, that's interesting, Cards. Yeah, Cards, go check our Twitter for another free player prop pick. At WalterPicks app is where you can find us on Twitter. You can also find it right in our link tree on TikTok, and you'll find another free player prop pick. Hopefully they have that one. Hey, Sam, absolute must-win week. Super on the fence about starting Eckler. Yeah, here's the situation with Austin Eckler. He's probably going to see 10 to 15 touches, and I think he's going to see 10 to 15 fantasy points. So make your decision with Austin Eckler. You can expect 10 to 15 fantasy points. Please help. Eckler for Cooper and Sanders. No, keep Austin Eckler. He's got league winning upset. I saw Trace McSorley at the top of the QBs in the app. Yeah, Zach. Chase McSorley, we had him projected for, I think, 60 fantasy points each week. And some people were very confused about that. People that found our app, not through TikTok, and didn't understand the joke were very confused. You think Eckler can get in the end zone today? Yeah, I always think Eckler can get in the end zone. Guys, don't forget to send us your reactions in real time to the WalterPicks Start Sit advice, to our player prop picks bets for a chance to be featured on WalterPicks and to get exclusive prop bets in the future. If you submit your reactions in our link tree on the WalterPicks TikTok, you can get exclusive access to free player prop picks in the future. Use the link in the bio on our TikTok to submit. I think it might even be in our bio on YouTube as well. And if you submit your success story to the WalterPicks app and it's featured on our channels, you could be featured on our channels, and you will get some free player prop picks as well. So definitely check that out if you have had success with our advice. Ooh, it looks like Corey is mad. What's up, Corey? I don't see anything from you before, Corey, so send your question, man. Hey, Sam, should I start Mostert? Yeah, you can start Mostert, but there's two sides to every start-sit decision, so let me know who you're starting him over. Do you think the Bucs defense is viable against the Chiefs? Nope. Or should I go with Carolina against the Vikings? I know. Yikes. Yeah, Peter, I would go with Carolina. You can't be playing a defense against the Kansas City Chiefs. Hunt or Eckler? I'd go Hunt. Cam Newton or Tom Brady? I would argue Tom Brady has more ceiling. Cam Newton has more of a floor. I'm okay with starting Cam Newton over Brady, but to me, Brady, my bold prediction of the week is that Tom Brady in the Bucs beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and for that to happen, Brady's going to have to throw at least 4 touchdowns. I'm about to submit $50 for Jamison Crowder over 58 yards. Is that a lock? Yeah, Fletcher, it's the lock of the week, man. Jamison Elite Crowder, man, lock it in. Free player prop pick of the week over 55 yards. And when that one hits, you got to submit your success story in our link tree on the WalterPicks app to get more free player prop picks in the future. Qwick, no. Fitz or Hill, I would go with. I argue Taysom Hill has a safer floor. Ryan Fitzmagic has a higher ceiling. Eckler, Montgomery, Mostert. I'd go with Mostert out of those 3 guys. LOL, okay, I might bet more. Fletcher, be careful, man. Oh, this is what I say about betting, guys. This is my advice. My number one golden rule about betting is you only can bet money that you are okay to lose. If you lose the money, make sure you'll still be okay financially. Otherwise, have fun, man. And again, Jameson Lee Crowder, he's going over 55 yards today, and it's going to be fun to watch that one hit. What are your plans for the app when the fantasy season ends? Marcus, we're working on a bunch of different things. We'll be announcing that very soon. Taysom Hill or Matt Ryan? I would go with Taysom Hill. What jersey are you wearing? I am wearing an N'Keal Harry jersey because I was overly confident in the Patriots draft pick of N'Keal Harry a couple of years ago. That hasn't turned out very well, but I'm hoping he can still bounce back. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you got to go subscribe. We're trying to hit over 1,500 YouTube subscribers today. I set that goal at 4:30 in the morning. Go hit that subscribe button. If you're watching live right now and you're not subbed on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds. Helps us out a ton. It can get me closer to my goal of the day. 1 hour and 45 minutes till kickoff, guys. I'm very excited as we get closer to the games today. I cannot wait to watch some football. I don't know about all of you. It's been probably the craziest 24 hours of news I've ever experienced this close to football Sunday. Sanders or Crowder? I know Crowder's your guy. I love him too. Yeah, I think I'm okay going Jameson Elite Crowder over Sanders today. Do you wish you guys DK Metcalf instead of N'Keal Harry? Yeah. I wish we got DK Metcalf. I wish we got A.J. Brown. I mean, I wish we got Terry McLaurin. So many good wide receivers in that class. And we got N'Keal Harry. I mean, Hey, Sam, I need a flex since both my other guys are out. So Antonio Brown or Fulgham. I'd go Antonio Brown. Terry or DK still. Would you say Terry or DK still skill-wise? Yeah, agreed. Curtis or Raheem at flex? I would probably go with Curtis. Sam, just subbed. Thanks, man. Rieger, Fulgham, A.J. Brown, Shepard. Wand, I would go with A.J. Brown. Out of all of those guys, he still has upside even in a tough matchup. You say 45 minutes? No, hour and 45 minutes till kickoff. I wish it was 45 minutes. I'm getting very excited for these games today, guys. I cannot wait to be watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. It's going to be oddly entertaining to watch a practice squad wide receiver start at quarterback for the Denver Broncos against the Saints. We're going to watch the Saints annihilate that team. Sanders or Crowder? Yeah, I would probably go Crowder, man. Jared Cook or Tonyan? Close one. Are you working on getting WalterPicks ads on TV? That's in the future. They're really expensive. It's hard to track how well they're performing, but that would be fun if we could do that. Thoughts on James Robinson? I do like James Robinson in really any matchup because he's seeing a top 10 workload in the NFL. He's going to see at least 20 touches of the football today, so I do like him. Ridley or Jefferson? Oh, that's a close one. I'd probably lean Ridley over Jefferson. Both are close. I would definitely be starting Jefferson over Eckler. Jalen Rieger, Jameson Crowder, David Montgomery. I also just subbed. Thanks, Keep Calm 360. I would go Jameson Crowder. I've all those guys for sure. Leslie, you gotta trust Jameson Elite Crowder today, man. You gotta go Jameson Elite Crowder. Curtis Samuel or Mike Evans? I like Curtis Samuel over Mike Evans today. A.J. Brown or Tyler Boyd? For sure, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown still has upside in a tough matchup against the Colts. Guys, Tyler Boyd, you can't trust him. You can't trust T. Higgins. You can't trust A.J. Green. You can't trust Giovanni Bernard in this Bengals offense without Joe Burrow. Godwin or Bernard at flex? Definitely Godwin. Come on. Hey, Sam, pick two. Pittman, Myers, Crowder or AB. I'd probably go Crowder and Antonio Brown there. Eckler or Carson? I'd go Chris Carson this week, but probably Eckler moving forward. Crowder is 57.5. Still take it? Yes, still take it. And it's not surprising we're seeing some line movement because we see a lot of line movement on the exploitable props that Walter identifies. But yes, take Crowder over 57.5. He's probably going to clear 60. Is there any bad weather games today? Nope, not that I've seen. Do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? I actually did love Yu-Gi-Oh back in high school. I haven't played in a while. I still have my deck though. Wilkins I didn't like all the new cards that came out though. I liked the OG game. Jefferson or AJ Brown? I'd go Jefferson. Wilkins or Gore? I'd definitely go Wilkins. Guys, I was doing some digging though into Frank Gore because I saw that his over-under this week to bet on was 50, and I was like, wow, that under 50 yards for Frank Gore is probably a lock. We haven't, by the way, given a single under this season. Those are very much harder to predict accurately. But I do think Frank Gore, guys, he's had over 10 carries in almost every game over the last month. I mean, Frank Gore is an ageless wonder. I mean, we got to appreciate what he's done. He's probably going to go over 50 yards. Everybody drop Mike Evans, has a bye coming up and is averaging 20 points and under. Yeah, Mike Evans has been kind of a letdown this season, even though he's still been a touchdown machine. Thoughts on Kendall Hilton, now QB, who's eligible for wide receiver / flex? Yeah, Tyler, he's got intriguing upside. He's probably going to throw at least 10 passing attempts, but he's got an extremely low floor. There's a chance that Kendall Hinton in the whole Denver Broncos offense scores 0 points today. Who's better, Terry or DK? I would argue that Terry McLaurin is better in terms of skill. Terry McLaurin has been quarterback-proof and matchup-proof his entire career. Definitely Jamison Elite Crowder over Brian Hill. Guys, if you missed the free player prop pick of the week, it is Jamison Elite Crowder going over 55 receiving yards. Lock it in. It's happening. Will Fuller has been a great sleeper pick this year. Yeah, he sure has, man. Thoughts on AB? He saw 13 targets last week. His targets have increased every single week so far this season that he's played. Antonio Brown's got top 10 upside, guys. Mike Evans or Christian Kirk? I'd go Christian Kirk. Jefferson or Davis? I'd go Justin Jefferson. Sam, I love watching your lives. Thanks, man. I hope these have been helpful for you. If Balaj is out, will Eckler get full workload? Balaj is out. Eckler is still not going to get a full workload, but I do think he's going to get at least 10 to 15 touches, and that's going to be at least 10 to 15 fantasy points for Austin Eckler. So he can be in your starting lineups. Antonio Brown or Mike Williams? I would go Antonio Brown. I like Gallman over Giovanni Bernard this week. Guys, we've got about an hour and a half till football. I'm getting excited. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you got to go do that. I set a goal for myself this morning to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers, and we are almost there. I think we're over halfway to that goal. So please, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe. Really do appreciate it. If you're watching live on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Wayne, Evans, Eckler, or Debo? I would probably go Evans out of those guys. And on YouTube, guys, I appreciate you not spamming the chats. One of the best parts of watching live on YouTube is the chat's a little less spammy. Are you doing anything with the NBA season? Caesar, stay tuned, man. We're going to be having some news dropping soon. Diggs or Williams? Definitely Diggs. Justin Jefferson or Deontay Johnson? Definitely Justin Jefferson. Fournette, Hilkins, Agholor. I would probably go Hilkins out of those guys, honestly. Agholor is also a pretty good option. Should I start Kupp, Jefferson, or Deontay? I would probably be starting Jefferson out of those guys. Player prop bet. Yep. Mike, free player prop pick of the week. We've got 9 for 11 giving out free player prop picks this season. And this week, it is Jamison Elite Crowder going over 55 receiving yards against the Miami Dolphins. Crowder has gone over 100 yards in both of Sam Darnold's starts this season, and he saw 13 targets last time he played the Dolphins. Sam, does the stress kill you watching the games and hope Walter doesn't lose everyone money? William, no, the stress does not kill me because everyone is risking at their own decisions. You know, you guys are deciding to follow certain advice, and at the end of the day, the best part about fantasy football is that you make your own decisions. And I built the app in a way that gives you the best possible information, not necessarily telling you exactly what to do. And so, no, I don't feel the stress. And honestly, it hasn't been that stressful because our premium subscribers have been absolutely cashing in. We've had 68% player prop accuracy. We've had great DFS advice. A lot of people dominating with our lineup optimizer. So I feel good that our process is good. I focus more on the process than on the results because focusing on the process is what leads to the better results. So good question, but I don't feel much stress. I enjoy watching the football games. We're going to get a lot wrong, but we're going to get more right than we get wrong. Austin Eckler or James Robinson? This week I'd go Robinson. Rest of the season I'd go Eckler. Jefferson or MT? I'd go Jefferson this week. The Falcons have officially ruled out Julio Jones for today's games. Calvin Ridley has a very, very intriguing upside this week. And Olamide Zacchaeus also is probably now a pretty good sleeper in DFS. Julio Jones has been battling injuries multiple different times this season. Now we got to update Olamide in the WalterPicks app. Just updated him. Hines or Jacoby? I'd lean Jacoby, but they're close. Hinton or Boyd? I play Hinton over Boyd. Guys, I don't trust Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins or A.J. Green or Giovanni Bernard now that Joe Burrow is out. Start Mostert. Yes, you can start Mostert. Your bold prediction was that Brady would beat the Chiefs and throw multiple TDs, so is it wise to start Mike Evans? Yeah, Mike Evans will probably catch one of those touchdowns if that comes true, but I still think Mike Evans is the riskiest wide receiver of those 3 receivers on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Eckler or Brian Hill? I just subbed. Lucas, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I would go Eckler over Brian Hill today. I think Eckler's going to see 10 to 15 touches. Justin Jefferson or DJ Moore this week? Damn Daniel. I would go Justin Jefferson. A.J. Brown or Sanders? I would probably go Sanders over A.J. Brown. Robbie or Antonio Brown? I would lean towards Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie Anderson's going to have a big bounce back week. Sterling Shepard or Antonio Brown? I would go Antonio Brown. Favorite stack this week? DFS. Yes, my favorite stack of the week is Ryan Fitzmagic stacked with Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker. They have a very consolidated target share. We know probably over 50% of the targets for Ryan Fitzpatrick today is going towards Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker, which is great for DFS stacking. Plus, you can stack Jamison and Lee Crowder against them in your lineups, which gives you plenty of salary left over to stuff in Dalvin Cook, guys like Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, who have the most upside at the running back position by far this week. You would put Gesicki in that. Yeah, I would definitely put Gesicki in that stack. Is it time to sell high on Miles Sanders? Are you really selling high, Andrew? If you think you can get a guy like Austin Eckler for him, yeah, I would do it. Jefferson over MT today? Yeah, I would do Jefferson over MT today. Hey, Fulgham or Slayton since Julio is out? I would probably go Slayton over Fulgham. Fournette or Hilkins? I like Hilkins over Fournette today, and I'm probably going to regret that one. But listen, Hilkins is going to see probably 10 passing attempts and 5+ rushing attempts, and that gives him more upside than Leonard Fournette. He has a lower floor than Fournette, though, for sure. Carr or Fitzmagic, I'd lean towards Carr, but both of them are really close in our rankings this week. Pittman or Myers, I would lean towards Myers over Pittman. And guys, if you haven't checked the WalterPicks app yet, on the iOS App Store, I've spent over 400 hours building this app. I've spent over 3 years building the projections that power the app. I named the algorithm Walter, which has had more accurate projections over the last 2 years than ESPN, Yahoo, any other projections you use. You got to check it out. You can answer all your start-sit questions. You can answer all your trade questions. You get player prop picks that have had over 68% accuracy. You get DFS advice and a lineup optimizer that uses linear programming to dominate DFS for you. So check out the app if you haven't checked it out yet. Start the 3-day free trial today. Eckler or Chubb? I would go Chubb for sure this week. Guys, Chubb is a top 5 option at the running back position. He's probably going over 100 yards. Aaron Jones or Miles Sanders? I'd go Aaron Jones. Raheem Mostert or Kalen Ballage? Ballage is out. So Raheem Mostert. Ballage is out this week. At first, I thought your name is Walter. Yeah, it's a classic mistake. I didn't name the brand after myself. I'm not the type of person who would name things after myself. I named it after the algorithm that powers the app, and the algorithm's name is Walter. My name is Sam. Classic mix-up. I'm starting Matt Ryan and Gage. Do I start Gio or go all in on Atlanta with Hill at flex full PPR? Yeah, I'm okay going all in on Atlanta. Sam, thanks for everything you do. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad I can help you on these Sunday mornings. I'm getting very excited for football to start. I don't know about all of you. What do you think about Royce Freeman today? Yeah, I'm not very interested. There was like a short-lived 20 minutes where Royce Freeman was the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. I posted a video about it in that 20 minutes, and then very quickly after it was announced that Hilkins is now the starting a practice squad wide receiver who played quarterback for part of a season at Wake Forest is now going to be the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. So the Royce Freeman quarterback, RIP, from 2020 to 2020, it lasted about 20 minutes. But I do think Hilkins starting at wide receiver on every platform except for ESPN does have intriguing upside. Do I start White or Breida? I would start White. And again, he does have a really low floor. Don't get me wrong. Hilkins is by no means a lock this week. He has a really low floor on a Denver Broncos team that has 0 points well within its range of outcomes this week. I'd be starting AJ Brown and Jamison Crowder over DJ Moore. And we don't need to spam in the YouTube chat. There's no need. Hey, Sam, what DFS lineups are you running this week? Joseph Goldstein, good to see you, man. I am running a lot of Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker, and Ryan Fitzmagic stacks with Jamison, Elite Crowder stacked against them because that gives me enough salary to then include guys like Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb, who to me have by far more upside than all of the running backs today. ESPN is projecting Kendall Hinton for 4.6 points, LOL. Yeah, that's low. Wow, I think we have him projected for like 11, but he has a really low floor. Don't get me wrong. Should I try to trade Ridley with A.J. Brown or keep A.J. Brown since he has an easy schedule? Yeah, keep him. Definitely keep him. Crowder or Godwin? I'd probably lean towards Godwin, but it's very close. Yeah, guys, Austin Eckler is back. Austin Eckler is back, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Austin Eckler, one of the most underrated running backs in the NFL, one of the most underrated players in the NFL. He led all running backs last season in yards per touch. He's probably going to be on somewhat of a limited snap count today, but he is probably going to see 10 to 15 touches in a very good offense, which gives him 10 to 15 points within his range of outcomes. So I'm okay starting him in fantasy. Kyler or Herbert? Daniel, I'd probably go Kyler, but it's really close. Both of them are top 5 options. Hey, Sam, I subscribed, and this is a must-win week. All right, Eris, I got you, man. And this is a must-win week. Please help. Pick 2, Gallman, Shepard, Myers, Curtis Samuel, or Pittman. Yeah, go with Myers and Curtis Samuel. I think those two have the most upside. Eris, those two guys are going to give you the best chance at winning. Myers and Curtis Samuel are great options. And guys, if I don't get to your start-sit question, I'm sorry, I can't possibly get to all of your questions. You can answer all your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. Check it out today. I've spent over 400 hours building this app that can answer all your questions. Joe, player prop pick. Yes, our free player prop pick of the week is Jamison Elite Crowder going over 55 receiving yards. He's got over 100 yards both games that Sam Darnold has played. Last time he played the Dolphins, he had 13 targets. He's going to clear this prop probably within the first half. Guys, and don't forget, guys, send us a video of your reactions in real time to the WalterPicks Start Sit advice that helped you today. If my advice helps you today, you can submit your WalterPicks success story. It's found in our link tree. It says submit your WalterPicks success story here. And if you do, you could be featured on all of our social media channels. You will get exclusive access to Start Sit advice and player prop picks from me. And the link is in the bio to submit. So if my advice helps you out today or it's helped you out in the past, you can submit your success stories in our link tree, and you could be featured on our social media, and you will get access to some cool free content. Do you think I should start any Steelers players? Yeah, I do think you can start Steelers players today. I think the Steelers game's happening. I do think it's going to happen. The NFL seems very adamant of making that game happen. So I do think it's going to happen, even with all of the madness going on in the NFL. Deontay Johnson or Jameson Crowder? I'd go Jameson Elite Crowder. Pick 2, Myers, A.J. Brown, or Pittman. I'd go Myers and A.J. Brown there. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe to YouTube. My goal this morning was to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. And I think we're over 2/3 of the way there. Someone let me know in the YouTube chat. What are we at in terms of YouTube subscribers right now? Myers or Juju? I'd go Myers over Juju this week. 1.3K, we're 200 away, guys. We can do that. We can do this. You've got an hour and 20 minutes to get 200 YouTube subscribers. If you're watching live on TikTok, just go hit that subscribe button really quickly. If you're watching live on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Just download the app, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, guys, checking out the WalterPicks app. Really do appreciate it if you do that. So are we feeling Hinton over Claypool? No, I don't think I'd play. I don't think I'd start Hinton over Claypool. Eckler or Hunt? I'd still go Hunt. Benny Snell or Chase Edmonds? Walter says Snell. Close one. I'd probably say Snell as well. I play James Robinson over Boyd. Guys, I don't trust Tyler Boyd. I don't trust AJ Green. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard without Joe Burrow. Saints defense or Packers D? There has not been a better defense to play all season than the Saints defense this week, guys. They're going against a Denver Broncos team that is playing a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback. I mean, God, I think we have them projected for the most points we've had any defense projected this entire season. Do you play Madden? If you do, you should make a gaming channel called Sam Games or Walter Games, and I'd love to see that. Hewick, I am actually very good at Madden. I haven't played in a while, though, because I work on 80 to 90 hours a week these days, so I don't have much time for video games anymore. New YouTube subscriber, love your TikTok. You starting Steelers or Ravens? Yeah, Marino, I think. Yeah, I am still thinking that game is going to happen just based on what the NFL has shown and said in the last 24 hours. So I do think that game's going to happen. So you can put the guys that have not on the COVID list in your lineups. Jonah, I subscribed to 300. OG YouTube subscriber, really appreciate you. Edmonds, Judy, Antonio Brown, Philip Lindsay, or Jimmy Graham. I'd go Antonio Brown there out of all those guys. Pick one, Ryan, Carr, or Fitz. I would rank those guys as Derek Carr, Ryan Fitzmagic, then Matt Ryan. I think all three, though, have pretty intriguing upside. James White or Giovanni? I would go James White. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard without Joe Burrow. Damian Harris or Curtis Samuel? I'd go Curtis Samuel. Cup or Mostert, half PPR. In a half PPR league, it's really close. I would probably lean towards Raheem Mostert. Josh Allen or Russell Wilson? I like Josh Allen more than Russell Wilson this week, but you can never go wrong with Russell Wilson. I think that Russell Wilson always is going to have number one quarterback overall upside. Do you think Aaron Jones is overrated fantasy-wise after the 40-point game? We know what Aaron Jones is. Aaron Jones is a boom and bust. He's a boom and bust running back, but the boom for Aaron Jones is 40 points. So that is why he's a running back one, and I don't think he's overrated. I think that we know what he is. I would say Eckler over Aaron Jones, though, rest of season. Thoughts on Jefferson this week? Yeah, hoity-toity. I love Justin Jefferson this week without Adam Thielen. Justin Jefferson, to me, we're going to be coming out with our top 10 positional rankings soon on YouTube and on TikTok. And Justin Jefferson is probably going to be the player people are most upset with me about because he's going to be in our top 10 wide receiver rankings. It's just a little spoiler alert. Justin Jefferson leading the NFL in yards per run, leading the NFL in yards per target. He's been the most efficient wide receiver in the NFL. He is a top 10 wide receiver in his rookie season. He's going to be a beast in this league for a long time, and I'm very comfortable starting him in DFS and in season-long leagues today. Sam, I know you're a Pats fan, so Damian Harris or James White? I'm a premium member, and I gave 5 stars. Lucas Drake, thank you so much. I would lean towards James White in a PPR league. If it's not a PPR league, I'd lean towards Damian Harris. Caesar, rate my starters this week. Yeah, I don't like to rate my team questions. I would probably rate your team like a 37 on a scale of 23 to like 134. I hope that helps. Do you think Aaron Jones is overrated? No, I don't think he's overrated. Woods or Jefferson? I'd go Jefferson. Deontay Johnson or Chris Godwin? I would go Chris Godwin. Hey, Sam, hope all is well. You too, Justin. Can you pick up one between AB, Claypool, or Debo for today? Just subscribe. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'd go AB there. Antonio Brown has seen more targets every single week that he's played. My bold prediction of the week is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Kansas City Chiefs today. It's a very bold one. It's definitely not likely. But if that happens, it's going to be a big part to Antonio Brown doing very well. And I think Antonio Brown saw 13 targets last week. If he continues to see 10-plus targets in each game, he's going to have some top 10 weeks. Hey, Sam. Would you go Myers over Debo Samuel? Yes, I would go Myers over Debo Samuel. Deontay Johnson or Antonio Brown? I'd probably go Antonio Brown. Cardinals defense or Ravens defense? I'd go Cardinals defense. Hey, Sam, this is a must-win week. I subscribed 2 weeks ago. Thanks, Zach. Pittman, Beasley, Eckler, or CEH? Pick 2. I'd probably go with those first 2, Pittman and Beasley. Panthers have a much better pass defense than run, so I'm a little nervous about Jefferson because Cook might go crazy. Yeah, that's very possible. And they do have a good pass defense, but Justin Jefferson is nasty, and I think he's still going to perform in this game, even against a good pass defense. But there is always the chance with the Minnesota Vikings, like we saw for a couple weeks stretch, where Kirk Cousins only throws 15 passing attempts, only has like 10 completions because they get a lead, and Dalvin Cook just gets every touch, every single play. Hey, Sam, I just back off a 16-week. And would you start Joe Burrow? What? Or Dak? I don't understand the question. They're both injured. Curtis Samuel or Travis Fulgham? I'd go Curtis Samuel. Hey, Sam, do I start A-Rob, MT, or AB? You got to start MT, guys. MT is over 50% of the targets from Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill strategy, by the way, you got to like the approach from Taysom Hill. But the Taysom Hill passing strategy is just throw it to Michael Thomas every possible chance he gets. Over 50% target share is absolutely insane. And if that continues, Michael Thomas is going to continue to be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. Do you like David Montgomery this week? Yeah, he's up against the Packers defense that is bottom 3 in the NFL in fantasy points per game to running backs this season. Fournette or James White? I would lean towards James White this week. Mike Evans or Mostert? I'd probably go Mike Evans. Hi, Sam. Longtime subscriber. Thanks, Jake. Watch live every week. Appreciate you, man. Myers or Juju? I'd lean Myers this week. I think Jacoby Myers is a great option. I think that the Pats are going to have to sustain some sort of offense in order to keep up with the fastest pace offense in the NFL, Arizona Cardinals today. By the way, I don't really understand. Why is that Arizona Cardinals Pats game a pick 'em? I mean, the Cardinals are a lot better than the Pats. I was surprised to see that that game was a pick 'em if you wanted to bet on it. Is Gus Edwards a solid flex this week? Yeah, he is. Even against a tough Steelers defense, he is. He is a flex this week. Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins, or Brian Hill, half PPR. I would lean towards Deontay Johnson out of those guys. I'm playing Sam Darnold over Kendall Hinton for sure. The only reason I would be starting Kendall Hinton is if you're starting him over like a low-end flex option, like a guy like Laviska Shenault, for example. I'd be willing to start Hinton over a guy like that. But otherwise, Hinton's floor is just so low. There's a chance that the Denver Broncos score 0 points this week. T. Higgins or Brian Hill, I'd go Brian Hill. Again, I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust A.J. Green. I don't trust Tyler Boyd. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard at all. Guys, today is one of the biggest days in Kendall Hinton's life. I'm cheering for him. I'm absolutely cheering for Kendall Hinton. You got to be cheering for the man. I mean, literally 1 week ago, Kendall Hinton was just a practice squad wide receiver, probably never going to play a snap in the NFL, and now he's the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. I mean, what a change in this man's life. I'm rooting for him. What a good story it would be if he played well. And guys, if you're watching live on TikTok, you got to go subscribe to us on YouTube. Download the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store if you haven't downloaded it yet. I set a goal this morning to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We're close to hitting that goal. I think we need 200 more. You can be part of that 200 that helps me hit my goal before 1 o'clock. Go subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button. I'm cheering for him too, but I need to win this week. What are the odds he gets over 100 passing yards? Pretty low. I'd say it's pretty low. Thoughts on Aaron Jones for playoffs? We'll have more big games. Yeah, he's got league winning upside for sure. Sam, my guy, how you doing, bro? Tommy, I'm doing well, man. Kerryon Johnson, Tommy, did well for you on Thanksgiving. Hey, Walter, do I drop Connor or Gibson this week? Do I drop Connor or Gibson next week because I have Swift, Eckler, and Mostert? Yeah, you should probably not be dropping Antonio Gibson. Kendall Hinton going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. Wouldn't that be a story? That would be the Tom Brady story. Saints D. Yeah, William. Saints D is projected for the most points we've projected a single defense this entire year. Hey, did all I need, man. Happy about that. Yeah, I was happy for you too, Tommy. Sam, big fan. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Pittman or Fulgham? I'd go Pittman. Corey Davis or Pittman? I'd probably go Pittman over Corey Davis as well. And guys, you can answer all your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. Uses machine learning projections more accurate than any projections out there to help you answer your start-sit questions. It also helps you with your trades and helps you dominate DFS with our lineup optimizer and gives you exploitable player prop picks each week over 68% accuracy over the last 2 years. The free player prop pick of the week, by the way, is Jamison and Lee Crowder going over 55 receiving yards today. Been sub since 100. Thanks, man. Should I start Kyle Rudolph or Goddard? I'd go Goddard for sure. And Taysom Hill or Aaron Rodgers? Keep up the good work, man. Thanks. I would probably go Taysom Hill over Aaron Rodgers, but it's very close. Hey, Sam, Newton or Brady? I would argue that Cam Newton has a safer floor. Tom Brady has a higher ceiling. So personally, I go for the guys with higher ceilings. I'd probably go with Tom Brady, but it's close. And Cam Newton definitely has the safer floor because he's leading all quarterbacks in red zone carries per game. He's the highest probability for a rushing touchdown every single week at the quarterback position. Hey, man, just subscribe. Thanks, Nikhil. Which two for PPR? Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Jefferson, A.J. Brown, and Curtis Samuel. I think you should go Justin Jefferson and Curtis Samuel. I like both those guys. Sam, please pick one. Carson, Boyd, Hines. I'd go Carson. Chris Carson's a great option, guys. I'd go Chubb over Michael Thomas. Guys, Nick Chubb, top 3 running back option this week. I think that the Cleveland Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. That spread 7.5. I think it should be closer to 10. Yo, Sam, Jordan Reed or Higbee? Ben, how's it going? Walter says Reed, but they both have Q's. Just realized I had font in, LOL. I would probably go with Jordan Reed, Ben, over Higbee. Jordan Reed, to me, has more upside than Higbee. Good luck making that choice, though. It's close. Robbie Anderson or Travis Fulgham? I would probably go Robbie Anderson over Fulgham. And by the way, Ben, thanks for using the WalterPicks app before asking me, because the WalterPicks app does give you all the information you need to answer your start-sit question. It gives you the most accurate median projection, gives you boom and bust probability based on 10,000 simulations of the week, and gives you how good their matchup is. Sam, important. Do you watch anime? Also, energy way different from 9. Yeah, I told you. Yash, I start this live stream at 9 a.m., and as we get closer and closer to 1, my energy picks up as I get more and more excited to watch football. And that's how it goes every week. And I have actually gotten more into anime over the last 2 years. Just the movies. I haven't watched the shows. I got to get more into it, but really good storytelling, honestly, from anime. I think most people overlook it in the United States. What do you think about Amari Cooper rest of season? I think Amari Cooper has much more upside with Andy Dalton. Hunt or Mostert PPR, I'd definitely go Kareem Hunt. Ridley, Pittman, or Jefferson? I'd rank those guys as Ridley, then Jefferson, then Pittman. Sam, do I risk it and go with Deontay or go with Curtis Samuel? It's a really close, Tommy. Either one should do well. I'm okay starting Steelers players, though. I do think that game is going to happen. And guys, if you're watching live on TikTok, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed yet. It's linked in our TikTok account. My goal this morning was to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We are almost at the goal. We got about an hour left to hit that goal. You can help me hit it. Go subscribe on YouTube. Would appreciate it very much. We're live on YouTube right now, and there's actually a less spammy chat on YouTube if you want to join that live stream. Julio's out, so I'm not confident in starting Matt Ryan. Any streamer advice? Yeah, Noah, go find Ryan Fitzmagic on the waiver wire. Go find Derek Carr. Both those guys are better than Matt Ryan this week. Hey, Sam, so I should drop Connor over Gibson. Yeah, you should. YouTube chat greater than TikTok chat. Yeah, I agree. Mostert, Shepard, or Curtis Samuel? I'd probably go Curtis Samuel there. Robbie Anderson or Devontae Parker? I would go Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie Anderson's going to have a big bounce back week. What do you think between Gronk and Hooper? I would probably go with Gronk. Just realized I did not hit the bell. Need to change that. Yeah, you got to hit that bell on YouTube to get notified when we post a video, to get notified when we're going live. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this live stream, and then also hit that bell so you're notified about when we're posting video on YouTube. Subscribe. Thanks, man. You're helping reach a goal. I really reached my goal of 1,500 YouTube subscribers today, so really do appreciate that. Pick one. Mostert, Beasley, Hines, Gallman. I would go with Beasley out of all those guys. Beasley has really good upside today without John Brown in the option. Can't play Eckler instead of Aaron Jones today, right? No, Stone, you can't. But moving forward after this week, you probably can. Love your content. Thanks, man. DJ Moore or Devontae Parker? I would probably lean towards Devontae Parker this week. White or Gallman? Fulgham, Hinton, are the leftover RBs? Yeah, I think that you can go with James White over Wayne Gallman this week, especially if it's a PPR league. KCM, I'm from TikTok. Thanks, man. Myers, White, or Crowder? Jameson Elite Crowder is an absolute lock this week, guys. You got to go with Jameson Elite Crowder. He's going to go over 55 receiving yards today. In the 2 games with Sam Darnold this season, Jameson Elite Crowder has gone over 100 yards. And the last time he played the Dolphins, he had 13 targets. So there's a lot to love about Jameson Elite Crowder. Let's go. You were right about Eckler. I know. I'm pumped to see Austin Eckler back. I'm so excited to have him. I made 5 accounts and subbed. Thanks, man. You're going to blow up, bro. You're going to be a legend. I had to let you know that. Thanks, Tom. I hope so. Thoughts on Hinton starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos? And I saw someone ask Hinton or Sammy Watkins. I'm okay starting Hinton over Sammy Watkins this week. There's very few wide receivers I'd be willing to start Hinton over, but Laviska Shenault, Sammy Watkins are just a couple examples of guys I would start Kendall Hinton over today. Starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, he is a practice squad wide receiver. Starting at quarterback, he played less than 1 season of quarterback at Wake Forest before transitioning to wide receiver, and I'm rooting for him big time. Probably the biggest day of his life so far, but he's got a really low floor. He's got an interesting upside because he's probably going to throw at least 10 passing attempts, but he does have a really good ceiling as well at the wide receiver position over guys like Laviska Shenault and Sammy Watkins. I'm okay starting him, but he definitely has a risk. Can't wait till you have more than 1 million subs, and I can say I've been here since before 1,000. Also, I'm Yarshma. Yeah, I can't wait for that as well, man. 1 million's a pretty lofty goal, but the OG original 1,000 YouTube subscribers, I will never forget any of you as we continue to grow. How many yards do you think Justin Jefferson's getting today? I bet he goes over 70 yards, even against a good secondary and a good cornerback. Herbert or Brady? I'd probably go Herbert, though I do think my bold prediction of the week is Brady and the Bucs beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And if that happens, Brady's probably going to be a very good option in fantasy. What's your YouTube account? It's WalterPicks. Bobby, it's linked in our YouTube. It's linked in our TikTok account. So just click on our TikTok username and you'll find a link to the YouTube in our link tree. Or if you click on that Instagram button on TikTok, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. My goal is to hit 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We're almost there. So you can help us out, Bobby. I would appreciate that. Yeah, you can flex Jacoby Myers. I think he's going to do well. Antonio Brown breakout game tonight. Yeah, I do think Antonio Brown could have a big breakout game. He saw 13 targets last week. He's had more targets each week so far this season. Antonio Brown, guys, he's got top 10 upside every week. WalterPicks said start Zach Moss over Brian Hill. Who should I start? I would probably start Brian Hill over Zach Moss. Does Curtis Samuel go off? Yeah, he definitely has upside. Who are you stacking with Baker and DFS? I think if you're playing Baker, you got to stack Jarvis Landry and Austin Hooper. But I honestly like the Nick Chubb / Kareem Hunt stack with the Browns defense more than the Baker stack. I think the Browns could steamroll the Jaguars and they could end up throwing like less than 15 passing attempts. Ravi, you're back again. Good to see you. Guys, we are about an hour away from football. I cannot wait to watch some Week 12 football. This has been a crazy 24 hours of news in the NFL. Not only does Sam Darnold return for the Jets today, but head coach Adam Gase is expected to resume his duties as primary play caller. The two, Darnold and Gase, have their futures tied together right now. I think they got to get Jameson and Lee Crowder involved. I'm excited for him to go over 55 receiving yards today. Thoughts on Derek Carr? Should I start him over Brady? I think he's got a higher floor than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady absolutely is the higher ceiling, and that's why I would go Tom Brady. What's up, Sam? Good morning. Good morning, Liam. Good morning. I've been up since 4:30, so it doesn't feel much like morning. It's actually almost afternoon where I am now, but good morning to you. We got an hour till football. Very exciting. Claypool or Hines at flex? I would go Hines. I would probably go Agholor over Claypool as well. Hey, man, Brian Hill, Damian Harris, or James White? I like James White out of all three of those guys, especially if it's a PPR league. DJ Moore or Raheem Mostert? I'm okay going Raheem Mostert over DJ Moore. Definitely. Guys, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, you got to go check it out. I've spent over 400 hours building that up. How do you feel about Dolphins D? I love Dolphins D. Apparently, Adam Gase is calling plays again for the Jets, which is great news for a Dolphins defense. But Jameson and Lee Crowder still probably going over 70 yards today. Sam, Kev here again. Good to see you, Kev. Subscriber number 138. Do you have any thoughts on James Robinson? Yeah, he's seeing top 10 volume at the running back position, which makes him a top 15 option in fantasy football. Thanks for all the help. I'm going to head out, bro. Pranav, have a good one, man. Sup, Sam? I've been loving the content recently. Eckler or Sanders? I would go Sanders over Eckler this week, but moving forward, it's going to be Eckler. Myers or Agholor? I would go Myers. Who is the best for flex pick on FanDuel? My favorite sleeper of the week on FanDuel and DraftKings, I think he's cheaper on DraftKings though, is Andy Isabella. For the Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald's out today. Andy Isabella is probably going to slide into the primary slot role for the Cardinals. I like Andy Isabella as a sleeper. I also like Jameson and Lee Crowder on both sites today. Daniel, subscriber number 169. Good to see you again. Thanks, Sam. Just use your app. Nice. Love to hear it, man. Hope it helped. Will Steelers game happen in Hines or Eckler? Premium sub. I do think Steelers game is going to happen. It's going to be an ugly game for sure, but I do think it's going to happen. And I would probably be playing Hines over Eckler, but moving forward, it's for sure going to be Eckler. I think Eckler is going to get between 10 and 15 points, but to me, Hines has more of an upside than Eckler this week because Hines has the chance to play more than Eckler does this week. Mostert or AB? I'd definitely go Antonio Brown. Rudolph or Tonian? Yeah, Tommy, I'm nervous about that one too. I'd go Rudolph. Brian Hill or Bernard? Love the app. Dominic, thanks, man. I would go Brian Hill over Bernard. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard. I don't trust AJ Green. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust Tyler Boyd without Joe Burrow. Colby Parkinson, tight end. Seattle breakout, 6'7", 260 pounds. Wow, let me look up this guy real quick. Colby Parkinson. I think Will Dissly is an interesting sleeper this week, but let me look up this guy. Colby Parkinson, 6'7". That guy needs to get in the NBA, not the NFL. Let's pull up some stats on this guy really quickly. Colby Parkinson, 6'7", 252 pounds out of Stanford. He was a fourth-round pick. I think he's a rookie, 22 years old. Looks like he has not played a snap this season, so we'll see if he can get in the end zone. But I'm excited to see that man on a football field. Do you like Fulgham this week? Yeah, he could have a bounce-back week, but he's definitely got a low floor. Rudolph or Tony, and I'd go Rudolph. Slayton or Myers? I would go Myers over Slayton. Gallman or Mostert? I would probably go Mostert. Who are some sleeper tight end streamers this week? Yeah, it's Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert is the big streamer this week. With DJ Chark out, we can see Eifert see an increased target share this week. He's going to need to fall into the end zone to be worth it, like most tight end streamers, right? The tight end position is an absolute dumpster fire, but I do think Tyler Eifert's an interesting available tight end this week. J-Rob or Chubb? Gotta be Chubb. Guys, Chubb's a top 3 option. Chubb over Aaron Jones as well. Really, the only player I'm not starting Chubb over is Dalvin Cook. Like, those two guys gotta be in your lineups. Myers or Shepard? Definitely Myers. Hines or Samuel? I'd go Hines, man. I think Keelan Cole is going to go off today. Definitely possible. Pick 2, Mostert, Montgomery, Snell, Brian Hill, Chubb, Wilkins. Please, Sam. Caden, you got to go with Nick Chubb for sure. And then after that, I'd probably go Mostert. These other fantasy YouTubers got nothing on WalterPicks. Yeah, there's a bunch of others that we're competing with. I appreciate that. Favorite DFS plays today? Yes. My favorite stack of the day on DFS is the Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker stack, because it's a cheap enough stack. There's a very consolidated target share there where we know probably over 50% of the targets from Ryan Fitzpatrick are going to go towards Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker today. And that is an intriguing cheap stack in DFS against a bad Jets defense. Then we can stack Jameis and Elite Crowder against those guys. And that's a cheap enough core that we can then put in Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb, who have far more upside than any other running backs this week. So that's kind of my core philosophy on DraftKings and FanDuel this week. Should I start A.J. Brown or Curtis Samuel? I think you could make the argument for Curtis Samuel there, but I'd probably go A.J. Brown. Are you not feeling Gallman today? I don't love him. I think he has a pretty good chance at a touchdown. I don't think his ceiling is that high in the offense, but he's a running back too, back-end running back too. Same with Brian Hill, same with Jordan Wilkins, same with Nyheim Hines. All those guys are back-end running back twos. Some of them will pop, making them interesting in DFS. But yeah, I do play DFS Creets, and I have built a lineup optimizer in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store that has helped me dominate DFS over the last month. Any New York Giant can lay an egg any week. Exactly, Matt. That's exactly true. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet and you're watching live on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on this live stream. That also helps us find more people on YouTube. And if you're watching live on TikTok, you got to go check out our YouTube. My goal this morning was to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We're getting kind of close. I think we're under 200 away from 1,500 YouTube subscribers. You can help us do that. If every single person watching live on TikTok right now goes subscribes to YouTube, we'll hit our goal of the day of passing 1,500 YouTube subscribers. So go to our TikTok account, go to our bio, hit that Instagram button or hit our link tree, head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will appreciate you very much. Hey, Sam, still on Andy Isabella? Yeah, Zach, I'm getting more and more excited as we're getting closer to the 1 o'clock games. I've been talking about Andy Isabella since 9 a.m. this morning, and no one can stop me. Andy Isabella is my favorite sleeper of the week. He played at UMass, too. It's a homecoming for him, playing against the New England Patriots. I was hoping the Pats would pick him. He has 100th percentile speed. There's very few players with the speed that Andy Isabella possesses, and that gives him upside. He could take any catch to the house. So I like Andy Isabella as a sleeper this week, minimum priced on DraftKings. Hey, Sam, Breida, Bernard, or White? I'd go James White there. Hey, Sam, thanks for telling me to go Deontay Johnson. No problem, man. Bench 1. Kareem, Godwin, Deontay, Eckler. I think you can bench Eckler this week. And moving forward, Alexander, you're probably going to want Eckler in the lineups. I've been a sub on YouTube. Thanks, man. Lucas Drake, good to see you, man. Antonio Brown or James White? I'd go Antonio Brown, Lucas. Thanks for being an OG YouTube subscriber, man. Fitz or Wentz at QB? I'd go Fitz. Guys, you can't trust Carson Wentz in fantasy at all. At all. There's reports coming out that Jalen Hurts is going to get increased snaps. I mean, it's the writing's on the wall for Carson Wentz. And one of the more surprising busts of the season for me this year is Carson Wentz, who threw over for 4,000 yards last year with no receivers. Greg Ward was his top receiver last season. They improve a lot of their receiving core. Everyone's coming back, and Jalen Reagor is drafted, and now Carson Wentz having his worst season as a pro. The offensive line certainly has not helped, but I don't think you can trust Carson Wentz in fantasy. I'm absolutely trusting Ryan Fitzmagic over Carson Wentz this week. Hey, Sam, Antonio Brown or Pittman? Big fan. Thanks, man. I would go Antonio Brown. And if you're a big fan, you got to make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers today. You can find that link in our YouTube bio, in our TikTok bio as well. Someone in the YouTube chat, you can let me know what we're at in terms of our subscriber count. We'll see if we're realistically within that 1,500 range for YouTube subscribers. Not going to hit all the goals we set, but that's why we set goals, right? It's because we will hit some of them. That's the whole point of setting goals. What's the player prop pick this week? What's the player prop pick this week, Sam? We are going with Jamison Lee Crowder over 55 receiving yards today. We're at 1,330 subscribers right now, so we're 170 away. And we got 170 people watching live on TikTok right now that can go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's linked in our TikTok bio. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get past 1,500 YouTube subscribers. That would be much, much appreciated. What are your thoughts on Denzel Mims in a Dynasty League? Love him. Absolutely love him. I think Denzel Mims is a very good wide receiver. He's had a lot of air yards in each game he's played. It'll be really telling to see how much Sam Darnold goes to Denzel Mims today as he's evolved in that offense. I like him in Dynasty a lot. 169 now because I just subscribed. Let's go, Jerkio, Sammy. Thank you. Favorite DFS defense today? It's got to be the New Orleans Saints, who are the highest projected defense we've had this season, going against the Denver Broncos team that's starting a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback today. So the Saints are going to be one of the highest owned defenses, though. I like the Browns as the number 2 defense this week, stacked with Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. I think they're going to steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars today. Start 2, Miles Sanders, Ridley, or Austin Eckler. I would go with Sanders and Ridley this week, and then hopefully Eckler, we see him go back to the insane efficiency that we're used to. He led all running backs last season in yards per touch. So this week, it's okay to bench Eckler. He's probably going to see slight snap count, even though Kalen Balaj is out. So I'm okay going with those other 2. I would go Robbie Anderson over Deontay Johnson. It says Mostert is still questionable. Yeah, but Mostert is playing. Yo, King Me, what's up, man? How's it going? We're getting close to the 1 o'clock games. I'm getting excited. Jameson Elite Crowder is going to go over 55 receiving yards today. He's got over 100 yards every single game Sam Darnold has played this season. He saw 13 targets last time he played the Dolphins. I hope everyone's as excited as me to watch Jameson Elite Crowder go off. Marino, sit 1, please help. I'd probably, out of those guys, sit Allen Robinson or DJ Moore. You got to choose between one of those guys. And to help with your start-sit decisions, guys, go download the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store, because that can give you all the info you need to make your start-sit decisions. Boom probability, bust probability, based on 10,000 simulations of the week, and machine learning projections more accurate than any other projections out there. Is Taylor missing 1 or 2 games? We're not sure, Noah. At least 1, though. It could be up to 2. They're so close on the app. Oh, Marino, yeah, there's a lot of players that are close. And this is why fantasy football is hard, right? This is why fantasy football is hard. Marino, what were the 2 you were deciding between again? Let me see if I can. Let me scroll up here, Marino. I would probably go Allen Robinson over DJ Moore. I think he's going to get more targets. It's really close, though, Marino. Mostert, week 15 against Dallas. Yep, that's going to be a good one. Thoughts on Monty? He's got a great matchup this week. Finally back from injury. He's going to play probably over 90% of the snaps again, like he was before for the Chicago Bears. He's got an interesting floor and upside. Could Carr be a top 5 QB this week? Andre, absolutely he could be. He's up against the Falcons defense that's allowed over 20 fantasy points in almost every single game this season. The only game they didn't allow over 20 fantasy points to their opposing quarterback was Teddy Bridgewater in a windy and rainy game. Derek Carr is almost definitely going over 20 points, and he's got the upside for more. He's coming off his best game of the season against a good Chiefs secondary. Thoughts on Nyheim Hines? Yeah, he's got interesting upside. I'm okay starting him in some tournaments this week. Should I trade Herbert because Eckler is coming back? No, Andrew, that's backwards logic. Eckler coming back helps Justin Herbert. Eckler is a top 3 efficient receiving back in the NFL. Eckler returning is only good news for Justin Herbert. Gallman or Eckler, flex, I'd lean Eckler, even though he's probably going to be on a snap count. 10 to 15 touches for Eckler is going to be 10 to 15 fantasy points. Sam, is Kyler and Julio for Josh Allen and Keenan Allen good? Yeah, it's a fair trade, especially with the Julio injury. Damian Harris or Leonard Fournette? I would lean towards Fournette there. Jared Goff or Taysom Hill? I would lean towards Taysom Hill over Jared Goff. Taysom Hill's going to have another 10 rushing attempts at least. Thoughts on DK this week? I like him. I like DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett to go over 100 yards and a touchdown. One of them is going to go off every week, and so you got to put both of those guys in your starting lineup. CEH or Hunt? Absolutely Kareem Hunt. What do you think about Mostert? He's gotten over 20 fantasy points in both his first 2 games. First time we've seen him really since week 2, I think. I'm excited to see him back out there, and I hope he can go back to his 20 points a game. And he has a chance to be a running back 1 in fantasy. Yeah, Raheem Mostert. WalterPicks says Matt Ryan over Fitzpatrick this week. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick has a very real chance to outscore Matt Ryan this week with Julio Jones out. That will not surprise me at all. Though you can understand why the app is saying Matt Ryan over Fitzpatrick based on what the app does. It looks at millions of historical game logs and it looks at past recent performances from those quarterbacks to project them. And so it makes sense that Matt Ryan is projected for more than Ryan Fitzmagic, but I'm still okay starting Ryan Fitzmagic over Matt Ryan this week. How do you feel about Gallman? I think he's got a good chance for a touchdown again this week, but he does have some risk because he plays for the New York Giants. Jefferson or Robinson? I'd go Jefferson. Saints D over every other defense this week, guys. They're up against a Denver Broncos offense that's starting a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback. I mean, the Saints defense is projected for more points than we had any defense projected this entire season. Eckler or Carson? I'd go Carson this week, but probably Eckler moving forward. Carr or Fitzmagic? I would rank Carr ahead of Fitzmagic, but it's very close. Yes, Mostert is playing. Royce Freeman is not startable. He was short-lived, the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, but he is not startable because he's still behind Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay. Should I drop Judy for Jamison Elite Crowder? Yes, Tyler, you should. Is this week a Lockett bust week? Andrew, very possible. Definitely very possible, Andrew. I'd go Hunt over Lockett. Jamison Elite Crowder or Robbie Anderson? I'd probably go Robbie Anderson, but it's very close. And you all know I love Jamison Elite Crowder this week. He is our free player prop pick of the week. He's going over 55 receiving yards. Drake or Brian Hill? I'd go Drake. Curtis Samuel over it. I'm okay with starting Curtis Samuel over Allen Robinson. Sam, I'm thinking of starting Fitzmagic over Kyler. No, Caden. Don't overthink Kyler. He's with the rushing volume for Kyler makes him an automatic start. Jamison Elite Crowder or Robbie Anderson. I'd lean Robbie Anderson, but it's very close. Kupp or Mike Davis. I'd probably go Mike Davis over Cooper Kupp. Cardinals upset? I don't think so. And it's not even an upset. Surprisingly, it's a pick-em on Vegas. There's no spread in this game. The spread is 0. They're saying this is an even game between the Arizona Cardinals and the New England Patriots. I think the Cardinals are better than them. I think the Cardinals will win this game. Miami or Cleveland? I would go Cleveland. David Montgomery or Nyheim Hines? I like Nyheim Hines more than David Montgomery, but they're both – I'd say David Montgomery is the safer floor against a bad Packers run defense. He's going to probably play over 90% of the snaps. Meanwhile, Nyheim Hines is going to play between 30 and 50% of the snaps for the Colts, but he's the better receiver, and that gives him more upside to me. So if you're going for floor, if you're going for just a 10-point floor, go with David Montgomery. If you're going for upside over 20 points, that's got to be Nyheim Hines. Gallman or James White or AB? I'd probably go AB. Hey, Sam, where can we bet on your player prop picks? Christopher, DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM Sportsbook are a good few places to start. BetOnline.ag, also an interesting place to look. Hey, Sam, do you think I should start Pittman or Crowder over Lockett or Thomas? No, I don't think you can. Even though I'd like Jamison Elite Crowder. Wilkins or Gus? I'd go Wilkins. Jonnu or Hurst? I'd go Jonnu. Should I start Melvin or Matt Breida? I'd go Melvin Gordon. Even though Melvin Gordon is up against a historically good Saints run defense, Melvin Gordon's probably going to get 20 touches today. Hey, Sam, I really need help. Who do I start, Crowder, Reynolds, or Russell Gage? Charlie, don't you disrespect Jamison Elite Crowder like that. Jamison Elite Crowder is in a whole nother tier of Josh Reynolds and Russell Gage. Definitely Jamison Elite Crowder. Wanting to play Hinton in my flex. Should I sit Montgomery, Aaron Jones, or Robinson? Montgomery or Robinson if you're going to sit someone. Definitely not Aaron Jones. Per a source from Ian Rappaport, there are people in the Denver Broncos building who have never even met Kendall Hinton. Now he's the starting QB. Absolutely crazy. Guys, we got a Black Friday sale going on in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store right now. Only $3.33 a month for player prop picks with over 68% accuracy. A DFS lineup optimizer to help you dominate DraftKings and FanDuel. Alex, I've been doing great, man, and we're getting closer to 1 o'clock, so I'm getting excited. You also get access to unlimited start, sit, and trade advice using machine learning projections. Only $3.33 a month. You're going to make your money back on the subscription. Hey, Sam, would you start Aguilar or Mike Williams? I'm seriously considering it. It's a close one. It's a very close one. I would probably go Aguilar against this Falcons defense. He's a pretty good chance for a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins or Jerry Rice? I'd still go Jerry Rice, but there's a chance at the end of the day we could say Hopkins. Why Wilkins over Gus? Gus will be the bell cow, yeah, but he's also against a good run defense for the Steelers. That's why I would go Wilkins over Gus. I do like Gus Edwards, but I think that Wilkins is the more intriguing option for me. Do you think Aaron Jones is going to do good this week? Yep, Gamester Boy, I do. Hunt or Robinson? Guys, you can't be benching Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb this week. I think they're going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. And guys, we are getting close to our goal that I set this morning. We only got 45 minutes left to hit the goal, which was over 1,500 YouTube subscribers today at 1 o'clock. We are, I think, 130 away. We got more people than that watching live on TikTok right now. Go to our bio in TikTok, find our YouTube, and go subscribe to YouTube. Helps us out a ton. I really would appreciate it. Do you think the Ravens game will happen? I do think the Ravens-Steelers game is going to happen. I started Cooks over Deontay Johnson, and you told me to start Deontay Johnson. I told you yeah, I was right about that one. I think. I don't know if you're talking about this week or not. Does the Steelers game count for this week? Yes, it does. It does count for this week. Eckler or Mike Davis? I'd go Mike Davis this week, but Eckler for the rest of the season. And if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, we got a Black Friday sale going on. It's free to download. We give away a 3-day free trial as well, so you can test out all the premium features completely free. So go check it out. Curtis Samuel or Chris Godwin? I'd go Curtis Samuel. No bad weather that I have seen today to be worried about. Mike Williams or Christian Kirk? I would go with Christian Kirk, guys. Larry Fitzgerald is out. Weather update for today, Sam. Yeah, I love all the people coming back for the weather reports because I was basically a weather reporter 2 weeks ago. We had a lot of crazy weather, and I auditioned as a weather reporter. No news stations have reached out to me, pretty surprisingly. I thought I did a pretty good job with my weather reporting, but there's no weather to be concerned about today. In the research I have done, the only thing that has a statistically significant impact on passing and offense is winds over 25 miles an hour. Wind over 25 miles an hour. There's none of that today, so I'm not nervous about any of the weather. Snow, cold, rain, wind under 25 miles an hour, none of that has a statistically significant impact, so it doesn't concern me. Is Hines a good start? Yes, he is. He's got upside. Hey, Sam, Allen Robinson or Robert Woods? I'd go Allen Robinson. Walter, Josh Jacobs or Deontay Johnson at flex? I would go with Josh Jacobs. And my name's actually Sam. I built an artificially intelligent algorithm to project fantasy points. His name is Walter. Classic mix-up, man. Don't worry about it. You can get access to his projections, Walter's artificially intelligent projections, in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. No need to apologize. It's a classic mistake. Is Snell worth a pickup? Yeah, he definitely is. Hey, Sam, AB or Harris? I'd go Antonio Brown, man. Ridley or Aaron Jones? I like Ridley. How was your Thanksgiving, Sam? Caden, thanks for asking. It was a great Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, obviously, not the same like anything in 2020, but I still got to enjoy some time with family. I still got to watch some football. We had 2 for 2 on our player prop picks, which was awesome. And there was amazing food. 3 great things. Austin Eckler or Kenyon Drake? I would go with Austin Eckler this week, even though I can't wait to watch Eckler and Crowder this week. Jackson, me too, man. I cannot wait to watch both of them. Austin Eckler is going to be on somewhat of a snap count, but he's probably still going to see between 10 and 15 touches, and that's going to produce 10 to 15 fantasy points. So I'm okay putting him in your lineup still. I traded Robbie Anderson and Claypool for Devontae Adams. Did I win? Yes, you absolutely won. Chubb, Aaron Jones, Eckler, or Derrick Henry? Well, definitely Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb, and Aaron Jones as well. Eckler could probably be started over Aaron Jones in the future weeks, but this week I'd go with those 3. Hope that helps, Jerkio. And again, you can answer all your start-sit questions on the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store as well. Please answer me. Sad face. Carr, Fitz, or Brady? Mark, I would rank those guys probably in the reverse order. In terms of upside, in terms of floor, I would say it's Carr, Fitz, then Brady. So, Mark, if you're going for upside, which I usually shoot for upside, then you got to go with Tom Brady, who to me, he's playing in a game with the highest over-under of the week. He's going to have to keep up with that Chiefs offense. I'm going with Tom Brady there. How much money do you play in for your leagues? Yeah, good question. If you've been following me from the beginning, you know I'm in 8 fantasy leagues. 6 of them are high-stakes fantasy leagues, over thousands of dollars in those leagues. So I got a lot of money risked this season. I do have a shot at the championship in a couple. I'm also battling to get out of last place in a couple leagues with some scary last place punishments. So I'm on both ends of the spectrum. It's been a tough fantasy season, guys. This is probably the hardest fantasy season of all time. So I'm pumped I still have a chance at a couple championships, but I never celebrate too soon. One thing you learn when playing sports, I was a college athlete for 4 years, you cannot celebrate too soon, guys. And so I'm not going to celebrate on my really good fantasy team until they win the championship. And you should be doing the same. Stay focused 1 week at a time. Hey, Sam, Russell Wilson or Josh Allen? I see this one every week. This week I'd probably go with Russell Wilson, but it's very close. I just got into 8th place and I have the second most points in the league. It's tough out here. Yeah, that's classic fantasy football. That's classic. If you have the second most points in the league, you got the second best team, and it's tough to see. Tom Brady or Josh Allen? I'd go Josh Allen. Yo, Sam, Hines or A.J. Brown? I'd probably go Hines. Hey, Sam, how's it going? Nelson Aguilar or Godwin or Williams? I'd go Godwin. Parlay, Chiefs -3.5. Cardinals money line, Seahawks money line. Do you like it? The only thing I don't like is the Chiefs. Though -3.5 for the Chiefs is honestly very intriguing. My bold prediction is the Bucs to beat the Chiefs, but I think Chiefs -3.5 is pretty intriguing. I think the Cardinals are a lot better than the Pats, so I don't mind it. Lore, you gotta keep reminding me, man. Oh God, Hunt or Sanders? I like Hunt. You planning on watching the Packers-Bears game? Can't wait to see what Trubisky has. Although my hopes aren't high. Yeah, of course I'm planning to watch that game. My hopes are not high for Mitch Trubisky either. At least he gets another chance. I hope he takes advantage of it. I'm going Montgomery over Edwards, by the way. Have we passed 1.4K on YouTube yet? Are we close? I think we're going to fall maybe slightly short of our 1,500 YouTube subscriber goal. Yes, do the people in your league use Walter? Matt, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, a lot of them do use Walter. And in fact, I'm in a league with a lot of I'm in a family league, and 4 out of the 10 people in the league are using Walter, and all of them are beating me, which is very, very annoying. But yeah, a lot of them do use Walter. I feel bad for Chicago's defense. Me too, Andrew. I feel bad for Chicago's offense too. 1.3K on YouTube. Yeah, it looks like we're very close to the 1,500 mark on YouTube. If you're watching live on TikTok or live on YouTube right now and you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, you can go do that. It's linked in our TikTok profile. Go subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. My goal is to pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers today. We're getting close. Looks like we're going to fall a little short at the pace we're at, so you can help us out. Help me out, hit my goal that I set at 4:30 this morning when I started finishing my fantasy research. I will subscribe if you answer. Luke, is that a blackmail? I would Breida or Snell. I'd probably go Breida over Snell this week. And one of the best parts about watching live on YouTube is the chat is a lot less spammy. And Walter and Sam, we trust. And Walter, we trust, man. Nelson Aguilar, I think I did it right that time. Or who was the other person? I would go Robbie Anderson. Free player prop pick of the week, guys. It was Jamison Elite Crowder going over 55 receiving yards. We're 9 out of 11 giving away free player prop picks on this live stream. We're going to go 10 for 12 this week, which would be a pretty incredible mark to hit 5 out of 6. I mean, that's a very over 80% on our free player prop picks. Says to start Fournette over Gallman. How do you feel? I'd probably start Gallman over Fournette, Johnny. Tucker or Blankership? Kicker questions. I love Blankership. I'd probably go him. Is Jefferson a good start? Yes, he is. Great job, Sam. Thank you. Wayne, thanks, man. Brian Hill or Fulgham? I'd probably go Brian Hill. Just subbed. Thanks, man. Cooper Kupp or Deontay Johnson? I would go with Cooper Kupp over Deontay Johnson this week, but it's very close. Crowder or Hinton? Definitely Jamison Elite Crowder. And guys, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching on TikTok. We're close to hitting my 1,500 YouTube subscriber goal. And if you're watching live on YouTube and you haven't hit that like button yet, you got to hit that like button because that can also help us get some more subscribers. Pick 2, Eckler, Godwin, Bernard. I would go with the first 2 there, Eckler and Godwin. By the way, those 2 guys, they can definitely help you win your fantasy league. Is the Steelers game going to happen? I do think the Steelers game. Yes, this is an N'Keal Harry jersey. I was very confident in the N'Keal Harry pick by the Pats, and that's looking like a bust so far. I'm still hopeful he can bounce back, though. We're at 1,350 subscribers on YouTube. We are only 150 away. And look how many people we have watching live on TikTok. Over 150. You guys just go to the TikTok bio. Hit subscribe on YouTube. And then I can hit my goal of 1,500. Here's the deal. If we can hit 1,500 YouTube subscribers, I will give away a second free player prop pick. That's the deal I'm making with all of you. If we can hit 1,500 YouTube subscribers, we'll get a second free player prop pick. The first one was Jamison Lee Crowder over 55 receiving yards. This is N'Keal Harry's jersey, by the way. Isabella, Deontay Johnson, AB, Sterling Shepard. I'd probably go Deontay Johnson and AB there. Andy Isabella is my sleeper of the week, though. AB or Parker or Hines? I would probably go with Antonio Brown there. He saw 13 targets last week, guys. He's got really high upside. Any updates on weather during games today we should worry about? Nope, Matty Drip, and I love people coming back with the weather updates. That means I did something right when I was a weather reporter a couple of weeks ago. But no winds over 25 miles an hour today, so nothing to be concerned about. Which Pat's wide receiver? I like Jacoby Myers a lot today. I'm wearing N'Keal Harry's jersey, but I do like Jacoby Myers. Sam, is James Robinson worth starting? Yes, he's going to see another 20 touches today, so he is worth starting. Just subscribe. Thanks, man. Which two do I pick? DK, Woods, or Mike Davis? I'd go DK and Mike Davis there. CH or Mostert? I'd probably go Mostert. And again, guys, you can answer all your start sit questions in the WalterPicks app. And the free player prop pick of the week was Jamison Elite Crowder. He's going over 55 receiving yards. And if we can get past 1,500 YouTube subscribers, I'll be giving away a second free player prop pick. So go subscribe to the YouTube. It's linked in our TikTok account. Brian Hill or Chris Carson? For sure, Chris Carson. Hooper or Gronk this week? Close one. I'd probably lean towards Hooper, but it's very close. Hayden Hurst or Evan Ingram? I'd go Evan Ingram. Thoughts on Kenyon Drake this week? Yeah, he's probably going to play over 55% of the snaps again for the Cardinals, giving him a pretty good floor. But his ceiling is also increased because he saw the most targets he's seen all season last week. First game over 2 targets. He had 5 last week. That gives Kenyon Drake a pretty intriguing floor-ceiling combo. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes on this YouTube live stream as well. That'd be amazing. Snell or Pittman? I would go with Pittman over Snell. Hines or Davis? I'd go Davis for sure. And again, the free player prop pick of the week, Jamison Elite Crowder, is going over 55 receiving yards. Sam, what happens if the game on Tuesday gets canceled? Do my players get 0 points? Yes, that's exactly what will happen. But I do think we can operate as if that game is happening. Based on what we've seen from the NFL, it does appear like that game is going to happen. Jonnu Smith or Eric Ebron? I would probably go Jonnu Smith. Sam Darnold, Cam Newton, or Derek Carr? I'd probably say Derek Carr has the highest ceiling, and Cam Newton has the highest floor. He's still seeing the most rushing attempts in the red zone per game at the quarterback position. Sorry I'm late. It's okay, man. Is Eckler playing today? Yes, and he is worth starting over Clyde. I do think he is. Crowder or Myers? I'd go Jamison Elite Crowder there. Just saw the tweet you tweeted. Yeah, happy Andy Isabella week, guys. It's happening. He's the sleeper of the week. I love Andy Isabella this week. He was a UMass alum. He set a record for receiving yards at UMass. He has 100th percentile speed. He's going to be playing the primary slot role for the Arizona Cardinals today with Larry Fitzgerald out. Hey, Sam, Beasley or Godwin PPR? And if you just saw the tweet, give it a like, man. I just saw, yeah, Eckler is playing, but I would still start Jefferson over Austin Eckler. Brian Hill or James White? I'd probably go James White. I'd play Myers over Agholor. Just subbed. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're almost at the 1,500 YouTube subscriber limit. And when we hit that mark, I'll be giving another free player prop pick. The first one was Jamison Elite Crowder over 55 receiving yards. I do like him over Brandon Cooks rest of season, by the way, with Sam Darnold back. Mahomes dropping 30? Yeah, probably, Tommy. Herbert or Watson rest of season? I'd go Herbert. But yeah, you could change them depending on matchups throughout the season. Ridley, Jefferson, MT, pick 2. I'd probably go with those first 2. I'd probably bench MT for those 2 guys. Fournette or Rojo? I always say Fournette. I've been half right. Flip a coin, man. Fournette or Ronald Jones? I think Fournette is the better receiver. So to me, in the PPR leagues, I like Fournette more than Ronald Jones. I'm okay starting Montgomery over Ronald Jones as well. Hey, Sam, Beasley or Godwin? Definitely Godwin. Kenyon Drake or Wayne Gallman? Close. I would probably go with Kenyon Drake. Deontay or MT? You have MT at 8% bust and 24% boom. That's bold. Caden, I don't have him at that. That's what our 10,000 simulations have him at. And the big reason for that, Caden, is he saw over 50% of the targets for the Saints last week. That is an insane number of a target share. So that's why he has such a low bust rate. If he continues to see every single one of the targets, over half of the targets from Taysom Hill, he's going to have a very low bust rate every single week. Button Walter and Sam, we trust. Yeah, I do think Michael Thomas is a pretty safe option. Hooper or Fant? I'd go Hooper. You can't trust Noah Fant. You can't trust Jerry Jeudy. With the Denver Broncos situation, they're starting a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback this week. Kupp or Crowder? I would go with Jamison Elite Crowder over Cooper Kupp this week. Someone give us an update. What are we at in terms of YouTube subscribers? Because once we pass 1,500, we're like 100-ish away. Everyone watching on TikTok, if you go subscribe to YouTube really quickly, we'll get another free player prop pick of the week, and we'll pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers, which would be super exciting. Just subscribe on YouTube. Thanks, man. James White or Hinton? I'd go James White. I'm rooting for Hinton big time, though. If you're not rooting for Hinton, I mean, come on. 1.38K, guys. We're 120 away from passing 1,500 YouTube subscribers. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that like button. That can also help us gain some more exposure. Remember me when you blow up, Sam Caden, of course. Premium sub, and I was first 700 subs on YouTube, and I post on every platform. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I will remember you. Brady or Carr for today? I think Brady has more upside. Carr definitely has the safer floor. To me, Tom Brady, guys, my bold prediction of the week is that Tom Brady and the Bucs beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we start talking to them about them for real as Super Bowl contenders. That's my bold prediction of the week, and that's why I think Tom Brady has really high upside. But Derek Carr is going to go over 20 fantasy points because Derek Carr is up against a Falcons defense that's allowed over 20 fantasy points against every single quarterback they've played this season, except for one game against Teddy Bridgewater that was rainy and windy. So again, Derek Carr is probably going over 20 fantasy points. He's safer than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady to me has more upside. Kamara or Henry? I'd probably go Kamara, but it's very close. And I'll try to get to as many questions as I can before kickoff, guys. We're less than 30 minutes away from kickoff. We are close to 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We got 76 people watching live on YouTube. We got 140 watching live on TikTok. If all of you quickly hit that subscribe button on YouTube, we can pass the 1,500 YouTube mark and get another free player prop pick of the week. Deontay or Hines? I would go with Deontay Johnson over Hines. It's close, though. It's very close. Just subbed. Thanks, man. Juju, Beasley, or Mike Williams? I would rank those guys probably that reverse order. Mike Williams, Beasley, then Juju this week. Newton or Carr? Carr to me has more upside than Newton. Newton has a very safe floor. I'd probably go Carr, though. Hey, Sam, just subbed on YouTube. Thanks, man. And you're a premium subscriber. Maddie, thanks, man. Matt Breida or Benny Snell? I'd probably go with Matt Breida over Benny Snell, but it's close. I think Benny Snell has a safer floor. There's only 2 running backs on the roster for the Steelers this week. So Benny Snell is going to touch the ball more than Matt Breida. I think Matt Breida is the better receiver. Matt, if you're going for floor, which you might be, given the 2 players you're choosing between, you go Benny Snell. Though if you're shooting for upside, you got to go with Matt Breida there. At flex, Clyde Evans or Jamison Elite Crowder? It's got to be Jamison Elite Crowder, guys. His middle name officially, by the way, he did change it to Elite. That is something that he did. So Jamison Elite Crowder, I'd play it flex there. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that like button really quickly. Helps us out more than you realize. It takes 2 seconds to hit that like button. If you're watching live on TikTok, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube. When we pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers, I'm going to be giving away another free player prop pick. It's linked in our TikTok profile. Jacoby Myers or Claypool or Crowder? I'd probably go Jamison Lee Crowder there. Deontay Johnson or Mike Evans? Close one. I'd probably go Deontay Johnson. Antonio Brown or Shepard? I'd go Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has seen his targets increase each of the last 3 weeks. 13 targets last week for Antonio Brown. Subscribed and liked. Thanks, man. Flex, play Fulgham or Brian Hill? I'd probably play Brian Hill. And if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, I've spent over 400 hours building this app. I've spent over 3 years building the projections that power the app, and they can answer all your start-sit questions, all your trade questions. You can subscribe with our premium subscription. Black Friday sale, only $3 a month for DFS advice that's been dominating. Player prop picks, over 68% accuracy. Trade analyzer, start-sit tool. You get access to all of that for 365 days. You'll get all the way up to week 12 of next season till you are charged again. And you get a 3-day free trial. Try out all the premium features of the app for 3 free days. Hines or Montgomery? I'd probably lean Hines for ceiling, Montgomery for floor. Guys, we're almost at 200 likes on our live YouTube. 4 more people. Hit that like button, and we're almost there. That's very exciting. Sam, you the GOAT. Thanks, man. And one of the best parts about watching live on YouTube is that the chat is a little less spammy. So I do appreciate everyone not spamming the chat on YouTube. Newton or Fitz? I would probably go Cam Newton, but it's very close. Just like, would you start Woods or Hinton? I would probably start Robert Woods over Hinton. Guys, Hinton, a practice squad wide receiver, starting at quarterback for the Denver Broncos against the Saints, who are starting a tight end at quarterback in Taysom Hill. I mean, what a week. Week 12, we got Hinton versus Taysom Hill. The Denver Broncos are probably going to get absolutely demolished in that game. It's going to be entertaining to watch for sure, but you can't be starting Jerry Jeudy. You can't be starting Noah Fant. Hinton is an interesting option if you can start him at wide receiver, but I'm starting him over guys like Laviska Shenault or guys like Sammy Watkins, but not over really any solid wide receiver 2s. I would not be willing to start Hinton over a guy like Robert Woods. Shepard or Pittman? I would probably start Pittman over Shepard, but it's close. And one of my bold predictions of the week is Sterling Shepard going over 100 receiving yards. Deontay Johnson or Justin Jefferson? Definitely Justin Jefferson, man. Definitely Justin Jefferson. Guys, Nick Chubb, you got to start him literally over any player that's not Dalvin Cook. We passed 200 likes. Let's go. I'm a premium sub. What's your favorite prop pick? Yeah, the free prop pick of the week, Jack, is Jamison Elite Crowder going over 55 receiving yards. That is the free prop pick of the week. And if we pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers, I'm going to give out another free player prop pick. Someone let me know. Are we at 1.4K yet? We might only be 100 away. Everyone watching on TikTok, help everyone out that's watching right now. We got over 300 people tuned in right now, and you can all get a free player prop pick from the WalterPicks app. Over 68% accuracy in our prop picks, 9 out of 11 giving away free player prop picks this season. If we get past 1,500 YouTube subscribers, we can hit that mark. What's up, Sam? Robbie or AB? I'm sick of no touchdowns from Robbie Anderson. Yeah, I understand, but I still think Robbie Anderson is a very good play this week, and he's due for some touchdown regression. Benjamin, good to see you, man. Eckler or Kareem Hunt? Please respond. I don't think you can bench Kareem Hunt. I think the Browns are going to absolutely steamroll the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's great news for Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Would you drop Jalen Reagor for Jamison Crowder? Absolutely, I would do that. Are the Steelers definitely playing? I don't know if I'm comfortable starting Deontay or not. Definitely is not a word we can use very often in this year of 2020. I'd say most likely, though, that game does look like it's happening. It does look like the Steelers and Ravens, the NFL is going to force that game to happen. It's going to be an ugly game, but I am operating of the mindset of that game is happening. Based on they're making the Broncos play with a practice squad wide receiver at quarterback today. So I think they're going to make the Ravens and Steelers play as well if they think that game is safe to happen, which it seems like they are. So not definitely, but probably. You got to assess the risk there. Eckler or Metcalf at flex? You got to go Metcalf there. Myers or Agholor? I would go Myers. Antonio Brown or Godwin? I always rank those receivers as Godwin, number 1, Antonio Brown, number 2, Mike Evans, number 3. Pittman or Boyd? I would go Pittman. I don't trust Tyler Boyd. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust A.J. Green. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard. I don't trust Jerry Jeudy. I don't trust Noah Fant. All of those guys, given their quarterback situation, have an extremely low floor. You can't trust any of them in fantasy. You got to find better options. You're at 1.3K. Guys, we're only a couple hundred away from getting 1,500 YouTube subscribers, which would be a free player prop pick. Keep up the good work, Sam. I'm heading out. See you, Alex. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Koo is scoring 20 plus. Jackson, I hope so, man. Christian Kirk or Eckler? That's a tough one. I would probably lean Christian Kirk. I think Christian Kirk and Andy Isabella, really good sleeper options this week against the Patriots with Larry Fitzgerald out. Shepard or Myers? I'd lean Myers. You're at 1.3K, getting close. Owen Duffy, good to see you, man. I would say Agholor is the better option versus the Falcons than Breida versus the Jets. Sam, keep up on the hard work. I'm hoping you become successful. Thanks, man. Me too. Extremely humble and resourceful. Thanks. I appreciate it. Should I start DK or DeAndre Hopkins? Hopkins. I would start DeAndre Hopkins over DK. Ronald Jones or Perriman? I'd probably go Perriman, man. You're at 1.38K, guys. We're 120 YouTube subscribers away from another free player prop pick and hitting our goal of 1,500 YouTube subscribers. If you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button. It's 2 seconds away. And hit that like button. That can help us get exposure to more people as well. Really do appreciate that. Hey, Sam, love the app. 5 stars. Thanks, man. Do I start Edmonds or Brian Hill? I'd start Edmonds probably over Brian Hill. Clyde or Samuel? I'd start Samuel over Clyde. Sam Darnold is back, Liam. Sam Darnold is back, and that is great news for Jamison Elite Crowder, who's going over 55 receiving yards today. Myers or Pittman? I would go Myers over Pittman. Mike Davis, Eckler, or Mostert? I'd probably go Mike Davis, but don't be surprised if those other 2 guys take over the starting role for your fantasy team after this week. And again, guys, you can answer all your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app. We're at 1.39K. Guys, go find a friend. Tell them to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got 100 people. We got 150 people watching live on TikTok right now. We got 74 people watching live on YouTube right now. If we collectively all go hit that subscribe button on YouTube, it's linked in our TikTok profile, we will be past 1,500 YouTube subscribers, and we will pass the mark to give another free player prop pick away. We gave away one already today. Jamison Elite Crowder is going over 55 receiving yards. Lock that one in. Shepard or Parker? Shepard or Pittman? I would probably lean Shepard over Pittman. Ridley or Tyreek? I'd go Tyreek. Hey, Sam, Hayden Hurst or Evan Ingram? I would lean Evan Ingram. Aaron Jones or Eckler? I would lean Aaron Jones, but probably following this week, it's going to be Austin Eckler. Godwin or Kupp? I would lean towards Godwin. Hey, 1.4K. Guys, we're less than 100 subscribers away from hitting our goal. We got 20 minutes to do it. 20 minutes to get 100 people to subscribe. We can do it. We can definitely do it. Pittman, Claypool, Johnson, or Montgomery? Pick one, please. Yeah, I'd probably go with David Montgomery there, honestly. David Montgomery's in a good matchup this week against the Packers, allowing top 5 fantasy points per game to running backs this season. He's got a pretty good floor. Do I start Taysom Hill and Higgins or Hunter Henry and David Montgomery? I would start Taysom Hill and Hunter Henry there. Hope that helps, Bush. Jonnu or Hurst? I'd go Jonnu. Do you run the WalterPicks Twitter account? I help run the account, yes. What's up with the Steelers game? I think the game is going to happen. It's going to be a complete. It's going to be a tough game to watch with what the Ravens are going to be throwing out there on offense. But I do think the game is going to happen. The NFL seems very adamant on making that game happen. Reed, Hooper, or Graham? I do like Jordan Reed out of those 3 guys. I like Hooper a lot too. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I think, are going to get absolutely steamrolled, guys, by the Cleveland Browns. I think Nick Chubb is a top 3 option this week. And again, guys, my DraftKings philosophy this week, stacking the Miami Dolphins. They have a very consolidated target share. Over 50% of Ryan Fitzpatrick's passes today are probably going in the direction of Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker. That is great news for DFS stacks. Plus, we then can stack Jamison Elite Crowder against them, which gives us enough salary left over to get in Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook. Yeah, less than 20 minutes, guys. Let's go. I'm getting excited to watch some football. I hope you guys are all getting excited as well. Hines or Eckler? I would go. Oh, it's a close one. Austin Eckler is going to be in a snap count, which makes me want to lead towards Nyheim Hines today. But moving forward, it's definitely going to be Austin Eckler. I think Hines has very intriguing upside. Hines is going to touch the ball more than Eckler is. Rieger or Hinton? Please answer. I'd go Hinton in that situation. I'm okay going Hinton over Jalen Rieger at the wide receiver slot. Carr or Fitzpatrick? I would probably go Derek Carr, but it's close. Gallman or Hines? I would go Hines over Gallman. I think Hines has a higher ceiling. A-Rob, Godwin, or Deontay all have tough matchups. Yeah, I would go Godwin out of those 3 guys. I think Godwin's the safest player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's got still very high upside. I think that my bold prediction of the week, guys, is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then Tom Brady and the Bucs upset the Kansas City Chiefs. And then we start talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as legit Super Bowl contenders. That's my bold prediction. And that means one of Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, or Mike Evans is going to go off if that happens. Pick one. Hopkins, Diggs, MT Ridley. I'd go Diggs. Diggs is in a great spot today. No John Brown. He's probably going to go over 100 receiving yards. A.J. Brown or Curtis Samuel? Oh, this is a close one. I want to say A.J. Brown. I really do. But he's in a tough matchup, and so I'm okay starting Curtis Samuel over A.J. Brown. Eckler or Deontay? I'd probably go with Eckler there. Brian Hill or Mostert? I'm okay with starting Mostert over Brian Hill. Yeah, you can start Mostert, guys. He's back. He's gone over 20 points in each game that he's played this season. He's only played twice. Shepard or Boyd? Love the content. Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'd go Shepard over Boyd. I don't trust Tyler Boyd. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust A.J. Green. I do not trust Giovanni Bernard. I do not trust Jerry Jeudy. I do not trust Noah Fant. Given the quarterback situations, guys, the quarterback of a team has a huge trickle-down effect to everyone else in the offense. So I don't trust them. We're less than 100 YouTube subscribers away. We started this morning over 400 away. We're less than 100 YouTube subscribers away to pass that 1,500 mark. And if we pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers, we got over 300 people listening live right now. So if 1/3 of you go subscribes to our YouTube channel that you aren't subscribed yet, it's linked in our TikTok bio. It's linked in our Twitter bio as well. You can get another free player prop pick. The free player prop pick this week, it's Jamison Elite Crowder going over 55 receiving yards. Sam, the GOAT, how's the new Dynasty team looking? Jack, it is looking fantastic. I'm looking forward this week to posting about the Dynasty League I joined with a bunch of other TikTok fantasy football creators. I think I have the best team in the league. I got sniped. I really wanted Justin Jefferson, and he went 1 pick before me. But subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, Ben, you got to subscribe, man. Join the hype. Jordan Reed or Jonnu Smith? I would go with Jonnu Smith over Jordan Reed. I've been there since 10. Please answer me. Hey, thanks for sticking around, Joe. Pittman or Eckler? I'd go Eckler over Pittman. Do you trust Mostert? Yes, I do trust Mostert. What is the YouTube channel name? It's WalterPicks. It's also linked in our TikTok bio, but the YouTube channel name is WalterPicks. Crowder or Godwin? I'd probably go Godwin over Crowder, but it's close. Top DFS receivers and flexes. Yeah, Joe, my sleeper of the week is Andy Isabella, minimum priced on DraftKings, only $3,000. Going to be the primary slot receiver for the Cardinals today. He has 100th percentile speed. So I do like Andy Isabella as a sleeper. I obviously love Jameson Elite Crowder as a flex option as well. He's going to go over 55 receiving yards. He's gotten over 100 yards in both the games that Sam Darnold has played this season. And last time he played the Dolphins, he had 13 targets. A.J. Brown or Michael Thomas, I'd go Michael Thomas for sure. MT or Robbie Anderson. I would probably lean towards Robbie Anderson. Is the WalterPicks app 333 for the rest of the year or just this month? It's if you subscribe to the 333, it is charged annually. So 333 times 12 is what you'll be charged, and you'll have access, Caesar, to the app for 365 days, so all the way up to week 12 of next NFL season. It's a no-brainer, to be honest. And you get a 3-day free trial. So you get access to the premium tools. You get to see what it's like before you officially pay. Please answer me, Godwin or Mostert? Evan, I would go Godwin. Love the app, broski. Thanks, Rob. Gio or Boyd or Keelan Cole? Oh, I'd probably go Keelan Cole. Again, I don't trust Boyd. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust A.J. Green. James White, Jacoby Myers, or Sterling Shepard. Full PPR. I'd go Jacoby Myers there. Hooper or Reed? I'd probably lean Hooper. Hey, Sam, Boyd or Hinton? Oh, God, Jackson. See, that's the situation where I'm okay tossing out Hinton, who's a quarterback. He has some upside. He has a low floor, but so does Tyler Boyd, so I'm okay going Hinton. Hey, Sam, should I pick up Eckler for Sanders or Chris Carson? Yeah, for Sanders. I'd pick up Eckler. I like Sanders. I like Eckler more than Sanders rest of season. Gallman or Eckler? I'd probably go Eckler. Hooper or Reed? Again, Jackson. I'd probably go Hooper there over Reed. Sam, I love your content, man. Thanks. Pittman or Boyd? I'd go Pittman. Jeffrey, I don't trust Boyd. I don't trust T. Higgins. I don't trust A.J. Green. I don't trust Giovanni Bernard. I think you got to get all of them out of your lineups. I'm okay going James Robinson over Nyheim Hines, even though he has a tough matchup. Gallman or Eckler? I'm going Eckler over Gallman. Dolphins or Saints defense? You cannot go wrong with Saints defense. We have the Saints defense projected for more points than any defense this entire season. They're up against a practice squad wide receiver starting at quarterback. So you got to like the Saints defense this week. Mike Williams or Michael Pittman? I'd go Mike Williams. Thoughts on Kamara? Yeah, his ceiling has been lowered with Taysom Hill. He had his first game without a reception in over 3 years. Hey, man, I don't know if you answered me earlier. Who would you do, Jacoby Myers or Keelan Cole? I'd go Jacoby Myers. Hey, Sam, if I have Jacobs, do I start Carr too? Yeah, that's fine. Edwards or Montgomery? I'd go Montgomery. Antonio Brown or Claypool? I'd probably go Antonio Brown. Beasley or A.J. Brown? Tanner, you want to start Beasley, but I think you still got to start A.J. Brown. Christian Kirk or Gus Edwards? I'd probably go Christian Kirk over Gus Edwards. Goff or Fitzpatrick? I love Ryan Fitzmagic this week. I'm okay going Ryan Fitzmagic. Guys, we got 10 minutes till football. You think Curtis Samuel or Claypool? Walter says Claypool, but Curtis Samuel has had the hot hand recently. I need a win this week, LOL, or I'm out. I'm okay, Ben, tossing with the hot hand of Curtis Samuel over Chase Claypool. I'm okay disagreeing with the app from time to time. The app gives us a consistent process to evaluate players on a consistent basis, but you gotta make your own decisions. The most fun part of fantasy football is you decide, Ben, and I'm okay starting Curtis Samuel over Chase Claypool, especially with the uncertainty around the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Chargers and Bills over 51. Hoity-toity, I like it. I can easily see that over smashing. Cam or Brady, DFS. In DFS, I like both of them. I think make a lineup, Zach, with both of them. I like Cam Newton's floor and ceiling combination if the Cardinals put up points, but I think Tom Brady has a chance to go 4+ touchdowns today. Lock him in. Hey, Sam, I just wanted to thank you for all you've done, man. Good luck moving forward. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Sub to YouTube if you haven't yet, guys. We're almost at 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We were at 0 literally 3 weeks ago. So very cool that we've hit this number so fast. And if we get to 1,500 YouTube subscribers in the next 5 minutes, you'll get another free player prop pick. We have over 250 people tuned in right now. So if 1/3 of you go subscribes on YouTube, we will pass 1,500 YouTube subscribers. WalterPicks on YouTube. And it's linked in our TikTok bio as well. Do the Jets win? Finn, this is probably the best chance they have a win all season. But I don't see it happening. I think they're going to be a winless season for them. Their over-under this season was over-under 7 wins. What an easy – they gave away free money. Mike Davis or David Montgomery? I would probably go Mike Davis. Yeah, the game starts soon. We are 9 minutes away from kickoff. I'm getting very excited. For those of you that have been here since 9 a.m. when I started this live stream, as I told you, I get more and more energetic and excited as we get closer to the 1 o'clock games. At 9 a.m., I'm sitting here like waking up, drinking my coffee, and now we're getting closer to 1 o'clock. I'm very excited. A.J. Brown or Eckler? I would probably go Eckler. These are some close ones. Would you start Hinton or AB? Definitely Antonio Brown. Browns and Jaguars under 48, very possible. What games are you watching at 1? I'm watching all of them. I'll be watching Red Zone. I'll definitely be watching the Pats. I think that game is at 4, though, if I'm correct there. Let's see. I'd go Austin Hooper over Kyle Rudolph. Eckler or Drake? I do like Austin Eckler over Kenyon Drake this week. I think Kenyon Drake definitely has the safer floor, but Austin Eckler does have ceiling. Even if he sees 10 to 15 touches, I think he's going to go 10 to 15 fantasy points. And Brian, first-time watcher, I'm sold. Nice job, man. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm live for the couple hours leading up to football every single week. Sunday, I'm live from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Mondays, I'm live the hour before Monday Night Football. On Thursdays, I'm live the hour before Thursday Night Football. Yeah, and the Pats do play at 1, so I'll be watching Red Zone and the Patriots at the same time. How do you think Diggs plays against the Chargers secondary? I think he's going to play very well. I think Stephon Diggs is going over 100 yards. Pat's game is at 1. Thanks, man. Taysom Hill or Fitzmagic? I like Taysom Hill's floor, but I love Ryan Fitzmagic's ceiling against a bad Jets defense. Mike Evans or Ronald Jones? I'd go Mike Evans over Ronald Jones. 5 days ago, I traded Judy and Landry for Fuller. Good deal on my part. Amazing deal. Are you kidding? You already won your week this week because of Will Fuller. I was your 86th YouTube subscriber. Thanks, man. Yeah, I will not forget our OG original YouTube subscribers. Look at us now. We're almost at 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We were at 0 2 weeks ago. Wait, so the $3 charged every month or 36 annually? Caesar, it's 36 annually. 36 annually, which comes out to $3 a month. I hope that makes sense. And thank you so much for being a premium subscriber in the WalterPicks app. Our premium subscribers in the WalterPicks app are what keep us going, guys, so I appreciate that so much. And Caesar, you will get a 3-day free trial before you're officially charged. I was on one of your first 700 subs. Alex, thanks, man. Cup or Deontay? I'd probably go Cooper Kupp. Do I start Roethlisberger? Yeah, you still can start Roethlisberger. Godwin or Hines? I'd go Godwin there. Robbie or DJ Moore? I would go Robbie Anderson over DJ Moore. Snell or Wilkins? I'd like both of them. I'd probably go Wilkins over Snell, but they're very similar options this week. I'm a premium sub. Is it worth risking Steelers players this week? Tanner, I think the Steelers game is going to happen. I do think it's worth the risk depending on who you're starting them over. There's definitely not 100% chance the game happens. It's 2020. Who knows what's going to happen? So there is an increased risk there, but I do still think the Steelers game's happening. Evans, Crowder. I'm starting Jamison Elite Crowder over Evans and Christian Kirk, Nate Dogg. Jamison Elite Crowder over Evans and Christian Kirk. Guys, we're only 80 people away from hitting 1,500 YouTube subscribers. Looks like we came a little short, but that's okay. 6 minutes till games time. Let's go. If you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, we're 80 people away from hitting my goal of 1,500 YouTube subscribers. We got 4 times that listening right now. So hit that subscribe button. We're almost there. Sorry if I'm spanning. I just got to make a decision in the next 5 minutes. I know this is a stressful time. James White, Tyler Boyd, or Chase Claypool? I would go James White. Hey, Sam, Evans, AB, Pittman, or Fulgham? I would go AB over Evans and over Pittman and over Fulgham. He saw 13 targets last week. It's Antonio Brown. He's got a very high upside. I'll tell all my friends and family to subscribe. Thanks, Yarishma. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ben. Have you ever thought about making a fantasy app where you can play? You mean like DraftKings and FanDuel? Yeah, I've thought about it. Thank you. Enjoy the games. Yeah, guys, everyone enjoy the games. Have a great week 12. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, you got to subscribe. If you haven't tried out the WalterPicks app, you got to try it out. Start Jamison Elite Crowder today. He's going over 55 receiving yards. I'm looking forward to the bounce back game from him. Have a great week 12, everyone. And as always, I'll stick around on YouTube for a couple extra minutes, try to get to all the YouTube comments. I'm off of TikTok now. Sam's still going strong, Jordan. Yeah, I've been going since 9 a.m. We got 120 more seconds. Upset City, Pats over Cardinals. Yeah, win. Surprisingly, it's a pick'em on it's a pick'em on the spreads. But yeah, it does feel like the Pats should be underdogs. For some reason, they're not big underdogs. Go Giants. Good luck to the Giants today. YouTube is better. Yeah, there's less spam on YouTube. I do think it's a little better. Should I start A-Rob for the Broncos QB? It's a must win. I would start Allen Robinson over the Broncos QB. Antonio or Deontay? I'd go Antonio. Take care, Sam. I'll be back in tomorrow's live. Thanks, man. Yeah, have a great week 12, everyone. Thanks for helping us gain some YouTube subscribers. Let's go Fitzmagic, Zach. I got a lot of money riding on Fitzmagic today, too. 9 to 11:55 stream. Respect the grind. Yeah, man. Make sure Gallman or Eckler. I would go Eckler over Gallman. Matt, have a good one, man. Yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being OG YouTube live. Tuner ins. You can tell I've been going for a long time, guys. Have a great Sunday. Let's go, Jameson, Elite Crowder. Have a good one, and we'll talk tomorrow night.